The four of them walked on until they reached a dense forest ahead where the path vanished. Wukong, I am hungry. Go find us something to eat, Tang Sang said, sprawling casually onto a rock. I am busy. Can you not go look for food yourself? It is not as though you lack legs, Sun Wukong said, leaning on his staff. Busy? Busy with what? Do you not find this evening glow beautiful? Sun Wukong replied, his eyes still fixed on the distant horizon. Only by gazing at it can I endure walking west day after day. You can watch and search at the same time so long as you do not crash into a tree. When I watch the sunset I do nothing else. Sun Wukong, you cannot behave like this, you cannot bully a bald head this way. If you starve him to death we will never find the western heaven, and if we never reach it the curse upon us will never be lifted. Zhu Bajie spoke. Bah! Since when is it your turn to talk, pighead? What did you say? Who are you calling a pig? Not a pig, a pighead. Humph! Sun Wukong sneered through clenched teeth. Say that again if you dare. Zhu Bajie raised his rake and charged forward. What are you shouting about? I am trying to sleep. If you must fight, roll farther away. Sha Sang bellowed. The three ruffians glared at one another, eyes blazing. Fight then fight. The fewer of you alive the better. Tang Sang rose to his feet. You are all grand lords, I will go find food for you, will that satisfy you? Best if a demon eats me. Then you will weep. Go on then, there is a female demon waiting for you over there, Sun Wukong shouted. Ha! The three monsters all let out cold laughs. Do not think I cannot live without you. Tang Sang shook his fist toward them, patted the dust from his robe, straightened his long cassock and started toward the forest. He had barely taken a step when his long robe tore with a loud rip. The three companions burst into raucous laughter and forgot their fight entirely. He entered a forest of deep violet where strange plants grew everywhere and a pale green mist floated, never dispersing. The farther he went the wetter the ground underfoot, the darker the canopy overhead, until the leaves completely occluded the sky and Tang Sang was utterly lost. Wonderful, so much vitality, so many different forms of life. Tang Sang exclaimed in delight. Thank you, a voice answered him. Tang Sang turned and saw a tree that could speak, a trunk of dark violet black with two blinking eyes set into it. How astonishing, I have met a demon. I adore things that transcend common reason. Life truly is a wondrous affair. Let me touch you, spirit of the earth, Tang Sang said. Tang Sang stretched out his hand and caressed the trunk in delight. The bark oozed purple sap, slick and wet to the touch. The tree luxuriated in the contact, its tens of thousands of drooping branches swayed in pleasure. Ah, it has been tens of thousands of years since anyone touched me. Long ago, several thousand years perhaps, a troop of monkeys played upon me and then they vanished, I know not where, the tree said. At that time I had no eyes, I could only sense many living creatures around me talking and singing. I could not see and I could not move, yet I was happy. Now I have finally grown eyes. Yet they are gone beyond my knowing. They are dead, Tang Sang, dead. What is death? Death is to see nothing, hear nothing, feel nothing, think nothing, just as you were before you were born, Tang Sang replied. No, I do not wish to die nor to live in solitude. You may yet live for a very long time. You have no hands and no legs now, but they will grow in time, Tang Sang said. It took me 100,000 years to grow eyes. I cannot endure such interminable waiting again. Right now I long to reach out and touch my kin, to touch you. The scent of you intoxicates me, the tree said. I have not bathed in a long time. Ah, you have no mouth, how do you speak? Tang Sang asked. With this the strange tree replied, shaking a branch before him. On that branch hung a human mouth. This is not yours, Tang Sang said. Indeed, it is something I picked up. 300 years ago a man was eaten here. This was left behind, the tree explained. I soaked it in my sap, which can nourish all things, so it would not rot, and then spent decades growing a branch to lift it up. This is not good. You are taking advantage of chance. What is not yours ought to be returned to its source, Tang Sang said. Do you not wish to know why that man was eaten, the tree asked. Was it because he saw you? Tang Sang asked. Yes, the tree replied. Suddenly Tang Sang realized that vines had twined around his feet without his noticing. A low growling sounded behind him and Tang Sang smelled a rank stench breathing against his neck, yet he was unable to turn his head. Leave his hands to me. I like those hands, the tree said. The tree said. You even want what others leave behind. If I were a demon like you I would smash my own head to death out of shame, Tang Sang replied. If I had a head I would consider it, the tree said. A pair of claws settled upon Tang Sang's shoulders. The strange tree said, wait. I wish to speak one last sentence with him. Since I gained this mouth he is the first human who can converse with me. I am very interested in studying what a person's mental state is like when being eaten, the tree continued. You babble too much. The sooner I die the sooner I am reborn. I am not afraid at all, Tang Sang said. You truly wish to hear my last words? Tang Sang asked. The tree's branches swayed up and down. Very well, Tang Sang drew a deep breath and suddenly cried out, save me. Master is calling for help again, Zhu Bajie said. Zhu Bajie spoke. Ignore him. He is always like this, never tires of the game, Sun Wukong said. He finished watching the sunset, then drew a leg from his bosom and began to eat. Zhu Bajie stared at him. What are you eating? Pig's leg, Sun Wukong replied. I will slaughter you. Zhu Bajie roared, charging forward and wrapping his arms around the monkey. Tang Sang turned over in his sleep. Hack him to death. He muttered, then fell deep asleep again. You have shouted 17 times, the strange tree fixed its gaze on Tang Sang. I allowed you only one. Why are you leaking water, the tree asked. Grandfather Tree, I truly am very afraid, Tang Sang said. I am still young, only about 20 years old, he said. You have lived 20 years and already have 4 limbs and 5 senses. I have lived hundreds of thousands of years and only just gained a pair of eyes. Why is that, the tree demanded. To be born human requires hundreds of cycles of rebirth. I have waited no less time than you. Let me live a few hundred years more, Tang Sang said. If I let you go, you will leave me and I will be alone again. That will not do, the tree said. I will not leave. In the name of my senior disciple Sun Wukong, I swear to remain here with you all my life until your death. And you behind me, please stop licking me, will you? I am very dirty, Tang Sang said. Sun Wukong. That name sounds familiar. I cannot recall so much. You have disciples, the tree asked. Indeed. My second disciple Zhu Bajie is very fat, Tang Sang said. Then you should shout a few more times, the tree said. Master has already shouted the 134th time, Zhu Bajie said. Are you still not going to stop his mouth? Call me grandpa first, Sun Wukong said. In your dreams. Ah. If you have any courage, take your foot off my back and then we will fight. Zhu Bajie shouted. You still refuse to yield after being beaten like this. Little whelp, I cannot believe I still cannot handle you. Sun Wukong snarled. Blows and thuds resounded. Cough, may I have a sip of water before I shout again? Tang Sang asked. Tang Sang asked. Forget it. They have probably run off, someone said. Wait, I think I hear the sound of slaughtering a pig, the beast behind Tang Sang remarked. Yes, that must be my 2 disciples fighting again, Tang Sang said. No matter. I will eat you first, then go find them, the creature said. No, you must not. How can you do this? Would it not be better for us to sit down together and discuss philosophy? Or I could pose you a riddle, Tang Sang said. What is the lotus before it is born, he asked. Suddenly the strange tree and the monster screamed, their bodies hissing as they dissolved into a white mist. Eh? Tang Sang said. What happened to you? Forgive me, perhaps my question was a bit too difficult. Before the lotus is born it is still the lotus, a girl's voice suddenly answered. Tang Sang turned and saw a girl in green standing there smiling merrily. Her long hair flowed freely and the clothes on her body were woven from the finest silver grass shimmering with light. Lady Benefactor, you are very beautiful, Tang Sang said. So you are a lustful monk, she replied. No, it is only that a man of the cloth must not lie, Tang Sang said. If you were not bald, girls would surely find you quite charming, she said. Does my bald head not look handsome? Tang Sang asked. With such a slick tongue, how will you ever attain true fruition, she said. My cultivation is not like others. They practice the lesser vehicle, I practice the great vehicle. They cultivate emptiness, I seek perfection, Tang Sang said. The great vehicle, she giggled. I have never heard of it. Because I have not yet thought it through, Tang Sang said. I only heard that a monk called Jinshanzi once questioned the lesser vehicle and sought his own enlightenment, she said. In the end he fell into inner demon and was trapped in endless calamities, she said. He was foolish, Tang Sang replied. The girl's expression suddenly changed. What right have you to judge him? With a single finger he could pierce the heavens while you are but a mortal who begs like a dog before demons. I wish to live. I cannot conceal the desires of my heart. Just as I cherish your beauty within, how could I pretend with my mouth that all is emptiness? Tang Sang said. With mortal eyes you cannot know the workings of creation, appearances are all illusion, she said. Even a sow may be more or less comely, why should you feel ashamed? Tang Sang replied. You violate the precept against anger your tongue runs on and falsehoods your mind is scattered. Why did you ever become a monk, she demanded. Heaven and earth bear witness, I hardly chose this fortune of being born in a monastery, Tang Sang said. You are unworthy to discourse on Buddha. Hearing you pose a riddle I thought you possessed some cultivation, so I intervened to save you. I did not expect to save a fool. Be off with you, she said. Ah girl, your words are mistaken. If I were a high saint of great attainment, would the Buddha not protect me, sparing you the trouble? Tang Sang replied. Bah! Bald head. You infuriate me, the girl spat. Suddenly she spun around and her lovely face twisted into a mask of horror and ferocity. Since you are a mere vulgar thing I may as well eat you, she snarled. Tang Sang let out a long sigh. Why must demons always spout so many useless words before eating me, he murmured. Even as he spoke, a figure flashed through the air. Of course it was Sun Wukong. The moment the girl's hand was seized, she felt an overwhelming force surge through her body, a will irresistible, turning every part of her flesh traitor to her command. She gave a soft cry and surrendered, all resistance collapsing to the ground. Sun Wukong regarded the female demon. Baldhead, it seems you truly possess an extraordinary attraction for demonesses. Using you as bait was not the slightest mistake. At this rate my tally of merit points will soon be complete. Why are the demonesses who chase you uglier each time? You test even the patience of Amitabha. Such a beautiful girl and you call her ugly. Tang Sanzang said. Beautiful, beautiful. Sun Wukong blurted. Look at her, she is almost as handsome as old Sun. So you favor this type? Ah, illusions without end, the true mirror lies within the heart. With monkey eyes how can you discern beauty from ugliness? Tang Sanzang said. Bah. Old Sun may have a touch of glaucoma and astigmatism, tears in the wind and an aversion to the sun, but that is only because I lingered too long under the ground and degenerated. How can you mock my physical defects? Sun Wukong snapped. If you provoke my temper, one blow of my staff will leave you limping. I will finish off your little beauty right now. Sun Wukong cried. He raised the Rui Jingu Bang. At that moment the girl woke. She looked up and saw the staff lifted to strike. Sun Wukong. You are Sun Wukong, she cried. The girl flung her arms around his legs. Is it you? Truly you? Am I not dreaming? She lifted her ugly face, gazing up at Sun Wukong with boundless tenderness, tears sliding from her eyes. Sun Wukong felt his whole body tremble as though his organs had all leapt once. He thought, this is bad. What strange magic is this? He sensed strength of 1,000 weights in him, yet at this moment he could not use a trace. The girl continued, you are here, then that is wonderful. Is this yet another dream? But I am already content. I have lived here for so many years for the sake of imagining that one day you would stand before me. Are you free? Have you finally been freed, she asked. I knew this day would come. No one can keep you bound. Never ever, it is wonderful, so wonderful. Her words dissolved into sobs. Sun Wukong gathered his inner force. With a shout of rise he flung the girl straight into the air. She slammed into a great tree thick enough for two people to encircle and broke it clean in half. Ha! I will beat you, this unkillable demon. Did you think such tricks work on old Sun? Crying. Tears are useless. I have killed without blinking all my life, he said. The girl crashed to the ground, blood spilling from her mouth, yet forced herself to raise her head and look at Sun Wukong. You do not recognize me. Of course I have turned into this, how could you know me? I have suffered the Jade Emperor's curse and can never return to my former form. I am. She began. Suddenly she screamed, vomiting a mouthful of blood, and writhed on the ground in agony. Tang Sanzang sighed. Ah, perhaps you too are under a curse and cannot speak your own name, he said. The girl's hand clenched the earth tightly, her suffering was plain to see. Baldhead, do not believe her. I have seen countless demons and they can use any trick. Step aside and let me finish her, Sun Wukong said. I am not standing in your way. Strike if you wish. Why do you hesitate? Tang Sanzang asked. If you tell me to strike, must I strike immediately? I will wait a bit and kill her later, Sun Wukong replied. You weary even Amitabha. After enduring myriad sins one forges an undying heart, Tang Sanzang said. He straightened his tattered robe once more and strolled toward the edge of the forest. Chat as long as you please. I will not intrude. I am going for a walk in this beautiful forest, hoping to meet a demon like a fallen star and solitary flower, he said. He paused to gaze at the shattered remains of the ancient tree and sighed softly. Do not die and do not live in solitude. Were hundreds of thousands of years for this single day, he murmured. Tang Sanzang departed. Sun Wukong leapt into a tree. While the girl rolled on the ground in anguish, he swung himself back and forth as if on a swing, entirely at ease. After a long while the girl's agony gradually subsided. It is not that I pity you, Sun Wukong said. It is simply that old Sun does not kill anyone without the strength to strike back. Are you steady now? Show your move. He still sat on the vine-wrapped bough with his legs propped up, rocking idly as though this were not the prelude to battle but merely the minutes before a nap. The girl's face was still pale, yet at the sight of Sun Wukong her eyes shone again, a faint smile appearing at the blood-stained corners of her mouth. You are still the same, she said. Once, you were like this. Do you remember the first time we met? Then, you were also lying in a tree like that. It was the peach tree of immortals, she said. Nonsense. Today I have met a deranged demon. Auntie, I have never seen you nor any peach tree of immortals. Be honest, display any technique you like, then let me kill you in one blow and be done. Do not waste everyone's time, Sun Wukong replied. You truly do not remember who I am. Have you forgotten everything from before, she asked. Old lady, spare me your past tales. You have mistaken me for someone else. Old Sun was released from the dungeon under Five Peaks Mountain just 5 years ago. My only aim is to slay more demons, rack up merit points, and have heaven erase my former crimes, maybe even grant me a petty land or mountain godship. Who has ever seen you? Sun Wukong said. What are you saying? 5 Peaks Mountain. It is 5 Elements Mountain, she said. Erase former crimes. You remember what you did, how could killing a few demons make the celestial court forgive you? What are you saying? Sun Wukong shot back. I was but a demon monkey of Huagua Mountain. For showing disrespect to the Heavenly Emperor I was condemned to the 5 Peaks and imprisoned for 500 years. Later the Jade Emperor took pity on me and said that if I could accomplish 3 tasks my previous sins would be redeemed. I remember everything clearly. Where do you come into it, and why am I even discussing this with you? Sun Wukong said. A look of shock and doubt crossed the girl's face. How can this be? Could it be that? The 3 tasks they set you, what are they, she asked. You are truly annoying. Fine, I will let you die informed. First I must escort that bald head to the western heaven. Second I must slay 4 demon kings, Sun Wukong said. 4 demon kings? She exclaimed. Exactly. The Flat Heaven Great Sage Bull Demon King of West Hineo Continent, the Chaos Heaven Great Sage Peng Demon King of North Julu Continent, the Through Heaven Great Sage Macaque King of South Shanbu Continent, and one more, the Equal Heaven Great Sage Handsome Monkey King of East Changshan Continent, Sun Wukong said. Ha! Handsome. Handsome Monkey King. She gasped. What, you know him? The 3rd task will be revealed by heaven only after I complete the first 2. Why are you crying again? Sun Wukong asked. The girl lowered her head and murmured so. He remembers nothing. He remembers nothing of you. Her tears fell into the soil. Ah, Sun Wukong dropped from the tree. Seeing you in such torment I will do a good deed and help you escape. In your next life become a flower or grass by the shore swaying with the wind, would that not be better than living too long and becoming a demon with tangled memories, he said. The girl raised her head despite the pain. I am not mistaken. I remember everything and will always remember. I did not expect that after waiting 500 years I would die by your hand. After all, we cannot escape his grasp, she said. Sun Wukong lifted his staff. Before I die I wish to ask you one thing, the woman beneath the staff said, raising her head. If one forgets everything, is it truly the case that there is no more pain? Sun Wukong held the staff in the air silent. Then he suddenly swept the rod sideways into the surrounding trees, clearing a fan-shaped swath dozens of zhang across. A deranged demon killing you would bring no satisfaction, he muttered to himself. He turned and strode toward the forest's edge without looking back. He did not see the woman behind him stretching a hand toward him, unable to voice her pain, her eyes filled with silent sorrow. As he walked he faintly heard the sound of waves. He lifted his head yet saw only endless forest. 500 years ago. He thought, where was I? The thought brought a stab of pain to his head. He shook his head violently. His mind emptied and his body felt easier. How strange, he said. Why have I suddenly lost the desire to kill? Tang Sanzang and 2 of his other disciples were sitting before the campfire eating fruit. Sun Wukong slowly emerged from the forest. Tang Sanzang lifted his head. Oh, you've come. Sit down. Without a word Sun Wukong sat and stared fixedly at the fire. What's wrong with the monkey today? Zhu said. He looks as if someone beat him stupid. He laughed so hard that tears were about to spill from his eyes, yet suddenly realized no one else was laughing. Something's wrong, Sha Monk said. What's wrong? Zhu Bajie asked. I don't know, I just suddenly feel nervous for no reason, Sha said. No, everything is right. What should come will come on its own, Tang Sanzang said. He fixed his gaze on Sun Wukong. Tell me, isn't that so, monkey? Sun Wukong's face was overcast. I didn't kill her, he said. Such a pretty young girl, I knew you couldn't bring yourself to kill her, Tang Sanzang said. Ah, so there was a beauty involved. No wonder you monkey stayed in there so long. And you Baldy, what exactly did you 2 do in there? Zhu Bajie said. Sha Monk kicked Zhu Bajie. Why kick me? You think there's something wrong with them. So what? What's that to me? When have we ever been normal anyway? Zhu shouted. She told me everything, Sun Wukong said. Oh. Tang Sanzang replied. She told me who I am and she told me who each one of us is. Oh. Tang Sanzang said. Oh. Zhu Bajie echoed. Did she tell you that I'm actually not a pig at all, ha ha ha? Sun Wukong suddenly sprang to his feet while Zhu Bajie was still rolling on the ground laughing. Sun Wukong pointed his staff at Tang Sanzang. Now that I know who you are I cannot not kill you. Oh, Tang Sanzang said. And who am I? Before you kill me can you at least tell me first? Sun Wukong suddenly sprang high into the air bringing his staff down upon Tang Sanzang's head. Blood sprayed instantly and Tang Sanzang collapsed. Sun Wukong burst into wild laughter. Sun Wukong, you violated another heavenly law. He threw back his head and shouted at the sky, I've killed him, so what? If you've got the guts, come kill me. Suddenly a bolt of lightning split straight down from the heavens with a deafening crash and the entire forest burst into flames. Sun Wukong laughed wildly. Haha, you missed. Aim here and strike. He pointed at his own forehead. Come on, strike. Strike. Don't dare. No guts. In the firelight his face looked hideously twisted. Thunder rolled darkly across the sky but no more lightning appeared. The rumbling sounded like the helpless panting of a giant beast before a far stronger foe gradually fading into silence. The sky grew calm again. Sun Wukong suddenly seemed to sense something. With a single bound he shot up and disappeared into the heavens. Shamunk looked up at the sky, then down at the ground where Tang Sanzang's corpse lay already catching fire. Zhu Bajie was still laughing on and on by himself. Stop laughing. Master is dead. Good that he's dead, good that he's dead, we can all split the luggage, ha ha ha. Zhu Bajie laughed as tears streamed down his face. Long before on the first day the moon began to rise into the sky, Tianping had already been watching all of this. He watched as she gathered countless motes of dust between heaven and earth, carefully selecting from them grain after grain of silver particles, those that appeared only once in 500 billion trillion grains. Patiently, meticulously she picked them out one by one while Tianping watched silently at her side. She forbade him to speak while she worked, afraid their breath would blow the sand away, so Tianping kept quiet. When hurried travelers between the stars howled past, Tianping would spread his broad wings to shield her from wind and stray dust. She worked like that for 800,000 years, and Tianping silently kept vigil at her side for those 800,000 years. In all that time they did not exchange a single word. She did not even lift her head to look at him, focused only on her mound of sand. Yet Tianping still felt deeply content. There was someone he could watch over in silence, someone who needed his help even if only once every several thousand years. Compared with his former solitary life wandering alone through the lightless river of heaven, this was immeasurably better. In this way she selected 10 billion trillion grains of silver dust until one day she lifted her hand and all those grains soared into the sky. In the eternally dark firmament countless silver motes suddenly scattered and shimmered everywhere. It's so beautiful. Tianping couldn't help crying out. She gently covered his mouth with her hand. Don't frighten them, she whispered, her eyes lingering with boundless tenderness. Tianping felt intoxicated. Though her gaze was not on him but on those silver sprites, he was drunk on the very existence of such love in the world, drunk on such a creation. To have something in this world that one could love, he thought, was such a blessing. She raised her hand a second time and the silver dust across the sky began to rotate, circling the spot where she and Tianping stood. The faster it spun until it became an unimaginably vast silver halo. Tianping was almost faint with delighted astonishment at the wondrous sight. His steps faltered and he leaned against her ever so slightly. She did not push him away, instead she gently took Tianping's arm. Careful, she said softly. Those two syllables were the most beautiful music Tianping had heard in 800,000 years. She lifted her hand a third time. The halo began to draw inward toward its center. The sand flowed into the core in billions of silver streams, and at the heart of the ring a small silver nucleus grew ever more distinct. What is drawing them in? Tianping asked. I am, she said. We are, she added with a smile, lightly tapping Tianping with her fingertip. Tianping felt as though that silver river at the touch of her finger had followed his blood and coursed through his entire body. He could no longer restrain himself and swept her into his arms. He kissed her deeply. The 800,000 years of waiting had fermented this kiss into something incomparably rich. When the long kiss finally ended, she slipped from his arms, glanced at the sky and suddenly cried out, oh no. During the kiss her magic had dissipated, the silver nucleus had already formed, yet billions of grains still lay scattered throughout the river of heaven. She covered her face and began to weep. I worked for so long, for such a long time, and still I failed. Tianping gently put his arm around her shoulders. Don't cry. Nothing created in this world is ever perfect. Sometimes a flaw is even more beautiful. Lift your head and look, he said. She raised her head and saw that on every side of the river of heaven silver stars were shining. Once the river of heaven was a field of darkness. Now you've turned it silver. Let's give it a new name and call it the Milky River, the Silver River. As for that silver nucleus, let's call it. Use my name, she said. Call it the moon. Moon. Then may I say, under the moonlight there is a pair of lovers reflected there. In the moonlight a pair of lovers held each other tightly. Zhu Bajie, your drool is dripping so far, could you reel it in? It's almost at my feet, the little white dragon said. Stupid horse, what are you shouting for? You woke me from my dream, Zhu Bajie snapped. Hey. Your tears are drooling along with your saliva. Don't tell me you know how to cry too. Nonsense, me cry. Bah. Baldy's dead, he went to the western heaven on his own and I don't have to suffer anymore. I'm delighted, more than delighted. I was just dreaming about my lovely wife from Gao Laozhuang. You're always saying you've got a wife in some Gao Laozhuang, but no one's ever heard of that village. Besides, who'd fancy a pig? Unless, she herself is also. Don't you dare spout nonsense. You can call me a pig but you're not allowed to say a single bad word about her. But you really are a pig. Can't you at least lie to me a little? A shadow walked up beside them. Zhu Bajie looked up. A monkey, why are you back again? Weren't you fleeing to escape punishment? Cold-faced Shah has already gone to report to the authorities, ha ha ha. Sun Wukong still wore that same cold expression. Where is master? You want to check if he's really dead? He's over there. I'm planning to give him a sky burial tomorrow according to Buddhist rites, ha ha ha. I'm getting more and more humorous, aren't I? Dead. Who did it? How could this happen? Who did it? Don't tell me you've got amnesia. You can't fake illness to evade the Tang laws, ha ha ha. Maybe I really have forgotten something, Sun Wukong said. Yeah, I don't remember anything either, ha ha ha, please stop making me laugh. Sun Wukong suddenly lunged forward and pinched Zhu's mouth shut. Try giggling one more time. Zhu Bajie's eyes bulged, his mouth puffed round, and with a gulp he swallowed his laughter. A minute later. So that's it, someone impersonated me and killed the bald one. Who would dare? I absolutely believe someone disguised himself as you, just as long as you don't kill me to silence me, ahem. He killed the monk to clearly stop me from reaching the western heaven and attaining true fruition. Worst of all, he even took my form. I'd actually prefer he took my form. Then again, maybe I'm so handsome he'd find it hard to imitate, haha. Still laughing. Only the monk can open the gate to the western heaven, that's what Guanyin said, right? Now look, he's dead and the curse on us can never be lifted. If it can't be lifted, so be it. What's wrong with being a pig or a god? Maybe pigs are even happier, ha ha ha. I can't accept that. As long as this tightening band on my head remains, I will never feel free. Freedom. Wow, did I just hear that? There's a monkey here talking about freedom, everyone come look. Get lost. Sun Wukong kicked at him, but Zhu Bajie flipped backward through the air laughing as he dodged. You really think you can hit me, monkey? You really think you're some great hero who can save all living beings? Guanyin and the Jade Emperor are treating you like a performing monkey. Oh, sorry, you are a monkey, ha ha ha. Pig. Monkey. Swine. Monkey brain. Pig intestines. Monkey butt. As Zhu Bajie hurled insults, he suddenly threw back his head and roared, why? Why is all this happening? He began to sob uncontrollably. Up in the sky hung a moon so very blue. The Milky Way stretched across the sky, its light quietly bathing the body of a weeping pig. I am like a performer, weeping and laughing at times, and over time I no longer know whether this joy and sorrow belong to me or if it is merely an act. Many are watching me applauding, yet I feel profoundly lonely living within my own fantasies. I imagine myself in a world that is both simple and complex, where only gods and demons exist, devoid of humanity and its trivialities, yet filled with everything unimaginable. But in truth, living there I am still lonely because I am alone. Perhaps it is Tang Sanzang, Sun Wukong, Zhu Bajie, Sha Hashang, or the female demon Schweiner in the tree who all think this way, for they are all human despite not appearing human at all. This may very well be the root of their suffering. The background. The sky was filled with white clouds enveloping the entire world, yet it was nowhere. Like the sunlight, all light and color in the universe emanated from it, yet it remained white. She still loved the moments of sunrise and sunset as the four fire dragons sang, harmonizing with the long mellow horn blown from the bell tower, pulling the golden divine chariot across the sky in a beautiful arc. The fairy Zixia would quietly raise her silk sleeves at this time, draping a purple veil over the golden crown of the Star Lord of the Rooster, shielding it from dust. But where would the heavenly realm find dust? The Star Lord certainly knew her mischievous intentions, and as a result the clouds were cast in purple. Thus he always cheerfully accepted it. This secret spread, and later the chariot of the Rooster Star Lord was always adorned with various silk scarves, even tying them around the neck of the divine dragon, turning the evening glow into a constantly shifting spectacle. Every day the Rooster Star Lord would receive numerous silk scarves which he would tie to the Fusang tree where he resided. If you looked east you would see a giant tree reaching up to the sky, its multicolored leaves dancing in the wind. As the chariot and crown of the Rooster Star Lord faded away, the bell of the tower rang 3 times. Thus the guardian of the heavenly river Tianping opened the great gate of the Milky Way. What flew out was not water but billions of silver sands, so light that they floated between the halls of the gods, while the immortals wandered through the silver stars, and Tianping waited at the entrance of the heavenly river, knowing full well he was waiting for someone, until a silver ship appeared on the horizon. The moon goddess in front of Tianping looked like a mischievous little girl wanting him to hold her hand. The two shared countless words as they drifted westward. Ah, Yao, are you watching again, envious of others? What are you talking about? What do you mean? Why is your face as red as the evening glow, said the fairy Zhu. You. Alright, the Queen Mother has announced that the peach banquet is about to start, and we are to go to the peach garden to select divine peaches. Another peach banquet. Hasn't it just been held? 9,000 years have passed already, how fast time flies. Where are you going? Zixia asked. To the peach garden. Yes, Zixia, do you want to come along? The fairies chattered. No, I still want to stay here for a while. I know. You do nothing but gaze at the evening glow. The fairies laughed as they walked away. Have you heard? The peach garden has a new guardian. I know it's Tai Fong. What? Tai Fong was changed 3,000 years ago. The one after is called Wu something. No, it seems the new one isn't that name. Who cares what their name is? Well, just pick peaches and leave. When have we ever even seen the guardian? They arrived at the peach garden. Hey, we are not in season. These peaches haven't grown yet. Yes, it seems they haven't grown at all. There are only a few small green ones on the tree. Could it be that the Queen Mother miscalculated the timing? Don't talk nonsense. How could the Queen Mother be wrong? Last time she said the plum blossoms bloom in summer, but the plum blossom fairy insisted they bloom in winter. What was the outcome? Oh, don't say that, it's too scary. I can't even bear to think about it. Aya wandered a few circles in the forest, finally spotting a large peach within reach. I found a big one, she laughed as she reached out her hand. A nightmare lasting tens of thousands of years began from that moment. Aya still clearly remembers the scene. A monkey appeared in the peach tree leaning against a branch, legs crossed, gazing at her smugly. Little girl, I am not delicious. This was his first sentence to her. Now Aya sits on the tree that Sun Wukong once sat on in the eternally dark forest of 10,000 spirits. As soon as she closes her eyes, everything flashes before her. Little girl, I am not delicious. Old lady, don't bring up your past, you've mistaken the person. Aya tightly closed her eyes, tears sliding down her face reminiscent of old tree bark. On the other side of the forest, Sun Wukong, do you really think you can achieve the fruit of your labor? Zhu Bajie asked. Absolutely. I, old son, have been a freak since birth, growing up to be a demon monkey. No one has ever looked at me properly. I must show them what I am capable of. What are you laughing at? Can I not laugh? No laughing, no laughing. Just now you cried and I, old son, couldn't take it anymore. Now seeing you laugh, help. You are afraid of laughter. No, 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 no. Who said that? I, old son, am afraid of no one. I have never been afraid. You are afraid of Guanyin, you are afraid of the Jade Emperor. Shut up. I am not afraid. You are afraid of the Tathagata, you are afraid of Erlangshan, you are afraid of big wolves. I am not afraid. You are afraid of death, you are afraid of being ignored, you are afraid of laughter, you are afraid of not looking human, you are afraid of what others say you are afraid of. You shut up. I am not afraid, I am not afraid, I am not afraid. Sun Wukong jumped high, striking the large stone. Boom, a violent explosion erupted, dust settled, revealing a deep and wide pit on the ground. In the center of the pit, Sun Wukong, covered in dust, gasping for breath, was still muttering, I am not afraid, I am not afraid, not afraid. Look at how scared you are. You should talk. Suddenly both fell silent. Because they heard something. In the quiet night, a faint wailing sound emerged, desolate and heart-wrenching. What is that? It sounds like a beast's cry, Sun Wukong said. I think it's a cry, Zhu Bajie replied. Then it is also a beast crying. Like a bear just lost its father. You have no father yourself, so you wish everyone else didn't have one either. If I don't beat you, I don't carry the surname Sun. They were about to brawl again when Zhu Bajie suddenly said, Shu. This time the sound was clear and elongated and was unmistakably calling a name. Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong. Wu, could it be that the king of hell has sent a ghost to take me? Sun Wukong exclaimed. Why are you trembling? And your face is so pale, looking like a corpse. Sun Wukong looked around while firmly pinching Zhu Bajie's neck. Cough. Even if you are scared. You. Cough. Don't need to be so rough on me. Old Sun will grab a cushion even in death. It must be the master's ghost coming to trouble you. Ghost. That's right. Sun Wukong flung Zhu Bajie far away. I will just make a trip to the underworld, bring back the bald ghost, and then I can go fetch scriptures again. Sigh. Ha ha. You are laughing again. What have all these hardships been for to redeem lives from past lives? Why do you also act like a bald head enjoying composing doggerel? The master's body has been burnt, leaving only half of it. Make do with it. If it doesn't work, find something else to replace it. You watch over the luggage and the corpse here. I will be back in 10 years or 5 at most. Sun Wukong leaped, disappearing. But Shah Hashan has already left. Zhu Bajie grumbled, could it be that I am to carry the burden? Just right. The white dragon spoke. She only talked in front of Zhu Bajie and only he knew her secret. I want to take a leave to go home too. Let's go, let's go. If Sun Wukong can bring back Tang Sanzang's soul, I will change my surname to his. The white dragon left and Zhu Bajie set off alone towards the direction of the strange sounds in the dense forest. Ah Yao, are you alright? He called into the darkness of the forest. After a while someone replied, who are you? How do you know my former name? Me. Zhu Bajie said, I am someone who like you refuses to forget the past life and would rather endure the pain. The underworld. Here only endless darkness prevails and transparent souls continuously seep down from above, drawn into an opening. Sun Wukong attempted to take a deep breath but found there was no air to inhale. There was no hunger, no cold, no pain here, there were no sensations at all. Yet Sun Wukong could still feel something penetrating his entire being, and it was not coldness. Looking again at the souls drifting above and around him, they resembled jellyfish with many small grotesque creatures colliding within their transparent soft bodies. What is this? We are desires, the little creatures cried out, let us go. Don't let us be destroyed. Sun Wukong shuddered again, realizing that something within him was also colliding. He quickly looked down at his own body, relieved to find it had not yet turned transparent. Upon entering the opening, he could finally feel solid ground beneath his feet. Before him a gigantic creature with countless legs was stretching its tentacles into the multitude of souls, pulling out those little creatures and tossing them into a sea of lava beside it. No, don't save me, thousands of tragic cries echoed endlessly. Various shapes and colors of desires fell like snowflakes. A long tentacle approached Sun Wukong and an eye blinked on it. Sun Wukong was so frightened that he quickly jumped away. He heard a thin voice calling, save me, please save me. Looking closer, he saw a pink-winged little creature desperately flapping its wings and crying for help. Sun Wukong thought, what good would it do to save you? Yet he could not help but fly over and pick up the little creature. Thank you, thank you. How can I repay you? What are you saying? You're so small, what can you do? Sometimes I am small, sometimes I am large, sometimes I am fragile, yet I can overcome everything. Who are you? My name is. Someone is coming, let me hide inside you for a moment. In a flash the little creature entered Sun Wukong's body. Heavens! Who do I see? Someone screamed. Sun Wukong looked up and saw a person resembling an official's attire. No, it was a ghost fallen over there. Sun Wukong walked over. Old brother, what happened? The ghost jumped up again. I am so scared, I am so scared. You! The being showed a look of astonishment. Ghosts are hollow, they fear all tangible things, even a ray of light, let alone you are. Chi Tian. I am not Chi Tian, I am Sun Wukong, here to find someone, not a ghost. Ghosts are hollow, they fear all tangible things, even a ray of light, let alone you are. Chi Tian. I am not Chi Tian, I am Sun Wukong. The ghost led Sun Wukong through countless miles of dark paths, arriving at the depths of the underworld. Ahead, however, there was no road, just an endless cliff, and beyond it lay an infinite void. He brought Sun Wukong to the edge of the cliff. Regarding matters of life and death, there is nothing the king of hell does not know, you may ask him. Where is he? I can't see anything here. Do you know where this is? It seems to be the end of the earth. Exactly, there is no land ahead. Once mortals reach here, they cannot take another step forward, only fall into the bottomless void. This place is called the Void Entrapping Mountain. Interesting. If you want to see the king of hell, then you must go from here. Where to? Naturally you must jump down. Whether you reach the bottom depends on your cultivation. Go. Are you trying to play tricks on me? Even if there is a bottom, I might die after falling for 100 or 80 years. Let me first throw a stone down. What the hell, there isn't even a speck of dirt here. This tests your Tao skill. If you are someone who understands the Tao, you can reach the other shore directly, then falling down would mean ascending, and a patch of darkness would be infinite light. Oh. There is such a mystery. You try it first. Sun Wukong suddenly turned behind the ghost and kicked out with one foot. Ah. Save me. The ghost plummeted down. Sun Wukong leaned over the cliff's edge. Did you ascend? Did you see the light? Dying monkey, remember me. The voice grew fainter until it could no longer be heard. Poof. Do you think I am a fool to jump off a cliff? Sun Wukong turned around but found himself alone in the boundless darkness. Is there no direction here? Who says there isn't? A voice spoke from the darkness. Who are you? Please don't keep interrupting suddenly. There are only two directions here, up and down. Are you saying that to find the king of hell I can only jump down? Sun Wukong looked around but saw nothing. Not necessarily. If there is no understanding, traveling thousands of miles would be in vain. If you understand, then the spiritual mountain is right beneath your feet. Ah, how profound. Saying that is like saying nothing, it's like farting. You have the heart to seek understanding, but your heart is not sincere. How can I enlighten you? Enlighten me. Who do you think you are? Show yourself. Am I not right in front of you? Where? Are you a black cow in the night? How can I see you? At least shine a tooth to let me see you. Suddenly Sun Wukong felt a light in front of him. Two large patches of white appeared in the darkness behind the cliff, each spanning several dozen miles, with black within white and shadows within black, and upon seeing the shadow it was Sun Wukong himself. Sun Wukong stared for a long time. Oh, so there is nothing but two eyes. Do you know who I am? He. I don't know. Where is your face? Why are you staring at me with those big eyes? Is being big so impressive? Big yet soulless, like dead fish eyes. Ah, you don't know my divine ability can fill the heavens and earth. Ah, I am. I don't want to listen. What concern do I have with which bird you are? I insist on saying I am. Don't listen, don't listen, don't listen. Humph, you infuriate me. You mischievous monkey. Are you angry now? With your temperament you think you can enlighten me. Shut up, I am the king of the underworld. Hoof. Why aren't you speaking? You want to find your master, right? I am willing to guide you, yet you dare to speak insolently. To be honest with you, your master's soul has not come here at all. There are only two possibilities. One is that he has attained the Tao and ascended to the heavenly realm, and the other is that he has too many attachments and lingers in the mortal world, becoming a wandering ghost. Sun Wukong said nothing and turned to leave. Where are you going? I will not stay here, I will search elsewhere. Are you just leaving like this? Thanks. Sun Wukong said without looking back. What did you say? Say it again. Thanks, thanks. How many more times do I need to say it? Did you hear that? He said thank you. Sun Wukong actually said thank you. He actually said thank you to me. Ha 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 ha. How satisfying. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly countless laughs erupted from the darkness, and Sun Wukong discovered that amidst the surrounding darkness were millions of ghosts, and he was actually surrounded at the center, yet he thought there was nothing around him. Ha ha ha, is this Sun Wukong? He is behaving so well now, isn't he? Look at his silly look, what is he looking at? Ha 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 ha. Suddenly Sun Wukong felt something was wrong. Despite the situation, he found himself surprisingly calm. In fact, he wanted to get angry but felt an emptiness in his heart as if nothing could rise within him. Thus he could only walk slowly amidst the uproarious laughter. Why are they all laughing? What should I do now, he pondered as he gradually immersed into the distant darkness. The king of the underworld let out a sigh. Heavens, he finally left. The state of readiness is lifted. Immediately countless ghost soldiers emerged from every corner of the underworld, densely packed, overwhelming like a massive swarm of ants pouring out from a hole, all wielding weapons. Hee, my lord, you are truly heroic. You managed to scare the Qi Tian de Sheng into a daze. The ghost who was pushed off the cliff by Sun Wukong appeared, not knowing when. Judge, I was also quite scared at that time. If he got angry I wouldn't know where to hide. The king of the underworld transformed back into his original human form, revealing a rather stout figure. It seems that Guan Yin's idea really worked. Yeah, he now acts like a tamed dog. Apart from barking a few times, he can't stir up any waves. Ha 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 ha. Ha 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 ha. Cough. They laughed halfway when they suddenly choked, mouths wide open, forgetting to close them. Their eyes were all fixed on one spot. Millions of ghost soldiers also looked toward that place. In the darkness a figure was slowly walking out. He walked slowly, but with each step it seemed to cause the underworld to tremble subtly. Sun Wukong. Yama's children, we meet again. Sun Wukong said, you laughed so much, why aren't you laughing now? Laugh. Every ghost soldier tightly covered their mouths, afraid to make a sound. Who laughed the loudest just now? Millions of ghosts pointed at the king of the underworld. Him. The king of the underworld's face turned pale and he glanced to see the judge was also pointing at him. Seeing the king of the underworld glaring at him, the judge hurriedly withdrew his hand. Come here, let me hit you 200 times. Ah. Great sage, spare me. I was just playing a little joke with you. A little joke of 200 hits. A big joke is having your head cracked. Sun Wukong's expression changed. You all laughed too much. He moved in before the king of the underworld could react. His wrist was already seized. Get lost. With a forceful throw, Sun Wukong sent the king of the underworld flying like a large bundle, soaring over the heads of the ghost soldiers, crashing against the void entrapping mountain. Go. Go. The judge shouted in a panic. Millions of ghost soldiers howled as they surged forward from all directions. Let me kill them to my heart's content. Sun Wukong let out a wild roar and leaped into the fray. Instantly countless ghost soldiers were tossed like chaff in a whirlwind. The little white dragon of the East Sea Dragon Palace stealthily entered the palace, seeing the Dragon King Aobuang dozing in his seat with no one around. She tiptoed over and gently embraced the Dragon King. A tear fell onto the Dragon King's face. The Dragon King opened his eyes and exclaimed, "Child, is it really you?" He pulled the little white dragon into his arms, tears streaming down his face. "Have you finally returned?" "Father, he is dead, killed by Sun Wukong." The little white dragon cried. "I watched him fall with my own eyes, helpless to do anything." "Child, why must you suffer like this? Is it really harder to endure being a consort in the heavenly court than to carry a monk across vast distances?" "Father, you wouldn't understand, you will never understand. No matter what, this time you have returned, I will not let you go. Father, you cannot stop me. I believe he is still somewhere in the three realms. I must go find him. Father, I may have to travel a longer road in the future, please take care of yourself while I am away." "Silly girl, my heart is with you. Whatever suffering you endure, my heart feels it all the more keenly. Father, I am sorry, but I believe in him and his ideals. He will definitely achieve them, nothing can stop him. Father, you must believe me." He. "Alas, you still wish to leave. Why did you even come back?" "Father, I want to borrow your calming pearl to preserve his body until I find his soul." "Alas, what can I deny you? But the heavenly court has issued a decree that no one may assist those four." "Father, who are they? What grievances do they have with the heavenly court from their past lives? I do not know who that Tang Sanzang is, but he managed to make you so obsessed. However, that Sun Wukong, Zhu Bajie and Sha Wujing, they are all from the heavenly realm. I cannot say. I do not know who that Tang Sanzang is, but he managed to make you so obsessed. However, that Sun Wukong, Zhu Bajie and Sha Wujing, they are all from the I understand, I am always being careful. A water tribe member outside said report. There is a monkey asking to see his surname is Sun. The Dragon King hurriedly said to the little white dragon child, you should leave first. The calming pearl is here, take it. Be very careful. Father, I take my leave. The little white dragon exited the hall with tears. Sun Wukong was waiting impatiently outside the door, jumping into the palace, and suddenly saw a woman in white coming toward him. She glanced at him and hurriedly lowered her head, walking past quickly. Why does she seem familiar? Sun Wukong thought. In the serene back hall of the Dragon Palace, only the Dragon King and Sun Wukong remained. The rest of the water tribe had been sent away for meeting with Sun Wukong might alert the heavens to trouble. What brings the great sage here? The Dragon King asked. Nothing much, just wanted to borrow the old Dragon King's calming pearl for a bit. Ah. I assure you, I will return it. Do you not trust me? Indeed, I have experienced the great sage's credibility. Is that golden cudgel still effective? Eh? How do you know I have it? It seems this thing has been in my ears since I was born. You really do not remember anything from the past. The Dragon King smiled bitterly. Alas, a once great hero has come to such a state. What do you mean, old Dragon King? Nothing. Why did that Tang Sanzang die? You know. It's infuriating. I don't know which monkey disguised itself as me and killed Tang Bald Head, preventing me from reaching the west. But I believe that Bald Head is still somewhere in the three realms. I must find him. Who knows how many pairs of shoes I will wear out in the process. Alas, they are all unfortunate souls. Do not pity me, I am fated to run errands. How about the calming pearl? Well. Actually. I lost it. Lost it? If you aren't going to lend it, just say so. Do you think I would eat you? That is not certain. The old Dragon King is so stingy. If you want, lend it, let that bald head rot. After all, Zhu Bajie is living just fine in his pig form, and Tang Sanzang can too. Sun Wukong leaped away. Guang watched Sun Wukong leave and murmured, he just left like that. He shook his head, turned around and suddenly shouted. Behind him stood Sun Wukong. Old mudloach, you gave the pearl to your daughter but not to me. I will deal with her once I return. Sun Wukong roared fiercely. Do not, great sage. The old Dragon King grabbed Sun Wukong's sleeve. She returned to save your master. You can do whatever you want to me, but do not harm my daughter. She also has her heart set on protecting the scripture seeker. A heart set on it. Hoof. What I hate most are those who are foolishly devoted, not knowing how many lives have been lost because of it, wanting to wake them all up. Great sage, please do not. I beg you. The Dragon King suddenly knelt down, holding onto Wukong's clothes tightly. Let go. Great sage, promise not to harm my daughter. Ha! How laughable. When has Sun Wukong ever been merciful to anyone? Sun Wukong waved his hand, throwing the Dragon King aside, revealing the golden cudgel in his hand. I have not forgotten your things. I will use this to deal with you, so I will owe you nothing anymore. Smack. With a loud sound, several strands of blood mist began to disperse in the seawater. The previously blue and boundless sea. Boundless blue sea. Why is it always the sea? Is there nothing else? The little dragon girl pouted. I want to see what is beyond the sea. The little dragon girl was determined to do what she had always wanted to do. So she transformed into a golden carp and left the palace. Of course she didn't tell her father. She was grown up now and wanted to sneak out. Swim, swim, swim. 3 days had passed, yet still just a sea of blue. So annoying. She caught a fish by the roadside. Hey, how much longer until we reach the shore? How dare you speak to me like that? The fish said. I am a shark. I have always spoken this way. What can you do? Will you bite me? You wouldn't dare. Why can't I bite you? Because I am me. She laughed and swam away, leaving the shark puzzled. Why can't I bite her? She is just a carp. She swam for another 3 days. So tired. But I should be close to the shore now. The shore. Ha! Not even close. There are still tens of thousands of miles to the shore. At this speed you might as well swim until you die. An arrow fish swam past her. How disheartening. I will kill you, kill you, kill you. You silly carp, why would you want to hit me when you can't even reach me? I am ignoring you. You will definitely never get married. The arrow fish swam away. Poof. Infuriating. I have no choice. I will transform. The water around her began to stir and golden waves rippled outward. Suddenly the seawater violently split apart, forming a shimmering golden vacuum illuminating the surrounding deep sea. Oh no! The sun has fallen into the sea, the fish exclaimed. A column of water shot out from the surface, scattering droplets in the air, spreading across the sky, each reflecting the golden sunlight. At first glance from sky to sea, a myriad of golden stars sparkled. Amidst this golden radiance, the figure of the little white dragon emerged. Her body was as pure as jade, her form as ethereal as clouds. So beautiful, the fish in the sea marveled. Seeing a dragon makes this lifetime worthwhile. The sea anemones and seaweeds joyfully exclaimed, "Help! Help! We have acrophobia." Those fish carried by the waves to the sky cried out. The little white dragon smiled lightly, gently swaying her body as some droplets floated over, wrapping the airborne fish and gently dropping them back towards the sea. "Wow! We are flying," the fish exclaimed in delight. "I want to fly too. I want to fly." A little fish in the sea bounced, only to be scolded by her mother. "You are a fish and fish can never fly." The little white dragon smiled. Yes, how wonderful it is to be a dragon, to swim freely between the sea and sky. It was strange that she had never realized this before. Only by seeing these fish did she understand the preciousness of transcending boundaries. Soon she saw the continent beneath the clouds. Of course she could not just descend like this. So she returned to the sea, transforming back into a carp. She chose a direction and swam away. Is it true that choosing any direction will lead to the same destiny? She saw the world above the water, a marvelous realm where beings known as humans walked to and fro. What were they doing? They wore different garments and displayed various expressions, some joyful, others sorrowful. She truly wished to know what those people were thinking. Indeed, she suddenly felt a strong desire to understand a person, to explore his heart. Thus she swam along the riverbank, observing each person on the shore. At that moment she saw him. The first time she laid eyes on him, she was captivated by this individual. Why? She did not know. Perhaps it was because of his handsome features. Or was it his distinctively bald head? Yes, it was his eyes. He was gazing at the scenery by the river, looking at everything around him with a gaze unlike that of anyone else. That gaze was like the sun, warm and pleasant, as if appreciating and praising everything, whether it was a blade of grass, the willow trees on the riverbank, or the hurried people on the street. That monk. What are you staring at the young girls for? Perverted. How annoying, a woman shouted. Monk. They called him a monk. Why were they scolding him? Wasn't it nice to be looked at with such gentle eyes? Why be angry? Yet the monk remained unperturbed, smiling gently. "I am not looking at you, I am admiring the flowers. The flowers reflected in the water are merely colors devoid of substance." The people all mocked him. The little white dragon found it hard to comprehend humanity. She looked at the people on the shore. The butcher was glaring at the one selecting pig heads, while the pig heads stared back at him. A scholar walked by sighing heavily. A woman upstairs was casting flirtatious glances, and in the tavern patrons and waiters argued over a fly in a bowl. Two heroes nearby had drawn blades over who bumped into whom first. If they all had the monk's perspective on the world, they would realize how absurd everything was. The little white dragon eagerly wanted to swim to the shore to let the monk see her. Wouldn't his eyes light up with surprise? After all, she had transformed into a rare golden carp. Surely the monk would praise her. She swam over. Suddenly she felt a tightness around her body. Something had entangled her, and with a splash she was pulled out of the water. "Everyone come and see. What have I caught? A golden carp. Pure gold," a boatman shouted. The little white dragon felt both humiliated and angry, having been captured by a mundane creature. And displayed publicly. She wanted to transform, but without water she lost her powers. Everyone turned to look at her. The little white dragon wished to close her eyes, only to realize that fish have no eyelids. Her heart was in chaos, yet she involuntarily glanced toward the monk. How infuriating. Everyone was looking at her except he remained lost in thought, gazing at the river. "I want to buy it for 10 coins, someone in the crowd shouted. "This is a rare creature. You might not see another one in your lifetime." "I'll offer 11 coins, someone raised the bid. 12 coins. The little white dragon struggled in the net, furious and wanting to bite through it. Fools. Humans are all fools. Is this how they treat the treasures of the world? At that moment a voice said, "But that fish is not to be eaten." "Ha! Monk, why are you meddling?" the boatman said. "Is it him?" The little white dragon stopped squirming. The monk was still smiling. "This is not a carp, this is." Could he recognize my true form? The little white dragon felt somewhat nervous. "This is a shellless turtle," the monk declared. The little white dragon nearly fainted from anger. "Ha ha ha. What did you say? You said this is." "Ha ha ha, fool," the boatman laughed. The crowd erupted in laughter. It's true. The monk said solemnly, "I guarantee with my monk's face that it has 4 legs. 4 legs. Ha ha ha. Where? How come I didn't see it? Ha ha ha." It's true, I've seen this kind of fish. It indeed has 4 legs, but they usually don't extend. If you bring it to me, you'll show you. Right there. Over there. The boatman was skeptical. Is there such a thing? He passed the golden carp over. The monk snatched the fish, tucked it into his embrace and turned to run. Ah! The boatman suddenly realized the monk is stealing the fish. Someone catch that monk. The monk ran away, swiftly disappearing from the city. Ha ha ha, this is the story of Tang Sanzang's youth and the golden carp. Please continue reading. The little white dragon nestled in the monk's arms could see nothing, only hearing the monk panting as he ran. She caught a whiff of the masculine scent on him and felt strangely intoxicated. The monk finally stopped, and with a splash the little white dragon was thrown back into the water. She turned around and discovered she was in a water tank. The monk sat beside her, breathing heavily. The monk is a good person, the little white dragon thought, wagging her tail. At that moment the monk got up again to look at her by the tank, murmuring, steamed or braised. Ah! The little white dragon nearly fell to the bottom of the tank. After all this time he still wanted to eat her. Ha ha ha, look how scared you are. The monk laughed, reaching out to tease her. I knew you weren't that kind of person, the little white dragon thought. When his hand lightly touched her body she felt a tingling sensation and quickly dodged away. Does the monk know that I can understand human speech? No, he doesn't know. He has started talking to the flowers beside the house again. Were you all good while I was away? Did any ants bully you? I negotiated with them yesterday, so there shouldn't be any trouble. Next time you see them, don't spit at them anymore. What an interesting and quirky monk, the little white dragon thought. He looks to be around 18 or 19, yet he still behaves like a 3 or 4-year-old child. Xuanzang. Master Tianyang of Hangzhou Yumen Temple and Master Faming are discussing the Dharma in the main hall. Hurry and take a look. Understood. The one called Xuanzang wanted to leave but turned back to say to her, you play here slowly, I will come back to let you return home. Be careful not to let Xianxer and his cat see you. Got it, thought the little white dragon. As soon as you leave I will leave as well. The monk dashed out. A golden light flew out of the water tank, splashing everywhere. The little white dragon stood in the room with so little water she couldn't transform into a dragon and had to take on a human form. She became a stunning beauty in white clothing. In fact, the little white dragon had always been in this human form, and the palace dragons are born with human forms, and this was her true appearance. She quietly poked her head out of the house. This was a vast temple in the mountains. The faint sound of chanting could be heard coming from the main hall, and it seemed that everyone was there with silence surrounding her. A playful smile appeared on her face. She was about to begin secretly observing the life of the human Tang Xuanzang. She transformed into a pure white lark and flew to the window of the main hall. There were mostly mountain sparrows here, but how could she transform into such common birds? Inside the hall there were monks sitting all over the floor, with 2 elderly ones in the middle. One held a meditation staff, and beside him was a bundle, as if he had traveled here from afar. The other was obviously the abbot of this temple. Elder Faming, I have long heard that the Buddhist teachings of Jinshan Temple are flourishing, and I have come to seek your guidance, said the old monk with the staff. Master Tianyang, I dare not. What do you mean you dare not? Master Tianyang suddenly said sternly, are you afraid to speak? Elder Faming was taken aback, then realized that the discussion had begun, and he smiled, replying, I dare to respond but do not dare to let go. Let go? I am empty-handed, what should I let go of? Then why are you still holding on? There is a spiritual connection. The two engaged in a fierce exchange while the surrounding monks murmured among themselves. Did you understand that? No, I didn't. Ah, too profound. Truly a mystery. The little white dragon only searched for Xuanzang and saw him looking at her from among the crowd. The little white dragon's heart skipped a beat, feeling her face flush. She suddenly realized she was a bird and he couldn't see her blush. She saw Xuanzang smile at her. Could this person recognize me? The little white dragon thought. Impossible, he is just an ordinary person. Meanwhile the discussion was reaching a critical moment, and both old monks had wisps of white smoke rising from their heads. Tianyang, what is Zen? Faming, it is. Tianyang, what is the true eye of the Dharma? Faming, it is not. Tianyang, what is emptiness? Faming asked. Tianyang, is it? Faming, is it not? Tianyang, is it? Faming, this. Ha ha ha. Tianyang laughed, so that's all you've got? This. Faming's face turned red. The surrounding monks were in an uproar. Tianyang said, Jinshan Temple has a hollow reputation. I wander the seas, yet I do not see a true person. How lamentable. Ha ha ha. Suddenly someone in the crowd laughed. Everyone turned around, and the one laughing was Xuanzang. Tianyang glared at Xuanzang. Young master, do you have something to laugh at? Ah. Xuanzang said, no, I was just laughing because I saw 2 rabbits fighting in the tree outside. Nonsense, how could rabbits be in a tree? Tianyang said. Then what was in the tree? Xuanzang asked. This. Tianyang was at a loss for words. He looked at Xuanzang again. I truly cannot see it. At such a young age you possess such ability. Ah, said one of the monks nearby. He is the laziest among us, never paying attention to the teachings. Don't say too much. Fa Ming admonished the monk and said to Xuanzang, Xuanzang, if you have something to say feel free to share it with us. Actually there is nothing much to say. Xuanzang smiled. I really saw the rabbits and I also saw a white lark that can blush. Ah. The little white dragon was so scared she almost fell out of the window. Poof. The little monk is just playing tricks. If you don't say I will have to ask you. Tianyang said. Please ask. What is Buddha? Xuanzang looked up at his head, then down at his feet and then out the door. Did you lose something? Think fast. Fa Ming urged. What to think? He already answered. Buddha is everywhere. Young master, you are truly impressive. Tianyang said. Xuanzang smiled. I will ask another one, still the same one that Fa Ming could not answer. What is emptiness? Broken. Xuanzang replied without a second thought. Is it? No. Is it not? Tianyang said, glaring. Fight. Is it not? Xuanzang shouted back. You deserve a beating. The two stared at each other fiercely. The surrounding monks were stunned. After a long time Tianyang sighed. What you said is indeed true. I have lost. Xuanzang became famous in one battle. After Tianyang left, Xuanzang was immediately surrounded by all the monks in the temple wanting him to explain. How were you able to withstand Tianyang's last attack, which came at you ferociously? What does your phrase you deserve a beating truly mean? Xuanzang touched his bald head and smiled. It's nothing. He said that if I answered incorrectly he would hit me. I said so. What if I answered incorrectly? If you dare to hit me, I'll hit you back. He saw that I was young and realized he couldn't win, so he conceded. Ah. The temple erupted in chaos. Xuanzang, you are exceptionally wise. From now on stay by my side and I will impart all that I have learned to you, Fa Ming said. Xuanzang touched his bald head and said, actually, I think it's still better to be in the affairs hall as before, where I can have time to tend to flowers and gaze at the sky. I can't memorize those Buddhist scriptures. If you do not strive to learn, how can you inherit my teachings? The surrounding monks felt their eyes redden. This was equivalent to passing on the position of abbot. But Xuanzang said something. Actually, what I want to learn you cannot teach me. The monks gasped in shock and Fa Ming couldn't help but sway slightly, barely managing to stand firm. What do you want to learn? Fa Ming asked, calming himself. Xuanzang raised his head, gazing at the ever-changing white clouds in the sky, and said, I want the sky to no longer obscure my eyes, this earth to no longer bury my heart, and all living beings to understand my intentions. I want all Buddhas to vanish like smoke in clouds. As soon as these words were spoken, it was like a thunderclap in clear skies. The Western Infinite World Buddha suddenly opened his eyes in alarm. Not good. Guanyin hurriedly approached, asking, why is ancestor master like this? The Buddha replied, it is him. He has returned. Tang Xuanzang returned to the small room. The fish was still in the tank. Why is the floor so wet? It must be you being mischievous again. Xuanzang said with a smile to the little white dragon. The little white dragon wagged her tail and smiled. She found that she was willing to be a fish as long as she could stay by his side. Ever since Xuanzang battled Tianyang and refused to accept Fa Ming's teachings, he seemed to grow increasingly lonely in the temple. Every monk he encountered would smile awkwardly at him, and Fa Ming no longer paid him any attention, with no one calling him to preach. While everyone else recited scriptures in the main hall, Xuanzang swept fallen leaves alone in the empty square, placing each dried leaf back by the roots of the tree. Sometimes he would lie on the ground and others would think he was sleeping, but the little white dragon knew he was gazing at the sky, and he could stare for over an hour. At night he returned to a cluttered, dilapidated room where he lived alone, lighting a faint oil lamp to write something. He became increasingly silent, speaking less to the little white dragon and the flowers and grass. The bright smile that once illuminated his face gradually faded, and as time flowed by, a weight began to settle between his brows. He no longer swept the fallen leaves or gazed at the sky, he simply sat there all day lost in thought. The little white dragon felt troubled. She was sure he had something on his mind, but she did not know what he was thinking. Despite being together for so long, she found it increasingly hard to understand his inner feelings. What exactly resides in the human heart? The little white dragon vowed to uncover the truth. Sometimes when he wrote under the lamp, she would jump around in the water tank. Xuanzang used to smile at her, but now he ignored her. He no longer mentioned taking her home, and she did not wish for him to bring it up. One day several monks sat under a tree discussing. One named Xian Shang said, I see the Buddha as a great tree in the courtyard with countless branches and leaves never leaving its roots. I have a comparison as well. Another named Xian Shi said, I see the Buddha as an ancient well in the courtyard, reflecting the light, allowing me to introspect my heart. The surrounding monks all remarked, what the two brothers have expressed is truly profound, revealing the essence of Buddhist teachings. The two felt quite pleased, but noticed Xuanzang sitting alone, indifferent to them. Xian Shi called out, Xuanzang, what do you think of our words? Xuanzang did not turn his head and replied with a laugh, if it were me I would chop down that tree and fill it well, extinguishing your hearts. Xian Shang and Xian Shi both jumped up saying, what a cruel monk. Can you not bear to see us grasp the profound truths? Xuanzang laughed heartily. If you truly grasp the profound truths, what need is there for trees and wells? Hoof. Then what do you say the Buddha is? Is there a Buddha? Where is he? Show me one. Xuanzang said. Worldly things. The Buddha is in the heart, how can one grasp it? If the Buddha is in the heart, what is the point of speaking of it? It is no better than farting. Xian Shi angrily cursed, you beast. You speak nonsense and defile Buddha's teachings. No wonder the Buddha made you drift along the river with no name and no parents. As soon as these words were spoken, Xuanzang's expression changed dramatically, turning as pale as paper. Xian Shi realized he had misspoken and everyone else scattered. The square was left with only Xuanzang. The wind blew a few dry leaves to his feet and a solitary wild goose cried mournfully in the sky, startling the blood-red sunset in the west. Who gave me life? Xuanzang murmured, why did they bring me here yet not show me the way? Why? He raised his head and shouted to the heavens, but the vast sky remained silent, only a tear sliding down to his lips. Xuanzang returned to the small room where the little white dragon was secretly rummaging through his scrolls. Upon seeing him, she quickly turned and transformed into a carp in the tank. Xuanzang stood in the room for a while in a daze, then suddenly began packing his things. The little white dragon watched as he bundled up a package and then came to the edge of the tank. Let's go, I will send you home, Xuanzang said. As he was about to leave the temple, Fa Ming could not stop him, only sighing, you are born to be lonely in the future, keep the Buddha close to your heart and seek his blessings always. Master, I've been thinking. All things in the world come from emptiness, but where does the attachment of all beings come from? All things ultimately return to emptiness, so what is the purpose of humans drifting in this world? Actually, I will speak plainly to you. If it could be explained clearly, I wouldn't need to endure this hard cultivation for so many years. Master, I take my leave, I must embark on a long journey. Fa Ming said, I understand your thoughts, take care of yourself. Then he chanted a verse, the Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao, the heart that can be questioned has nothing to ask. The enlightened become the heavens and the earth, and the emptiness resides freely within. I will remember it well. Xuanzang bowed 3 times to Elder Fa Ming, then stood up holding the bowl containing the golden carp and turned to leave. At that time the world was solemn and countless leaves fell. The sounds of the wind rustling grass and trees, the waves and birds filled the air as if countless voices were speaking, yet upon closer listening there was nothing. A great journey was thus set in motion. By the river Xuanzang held the bowl and said, I came from here long ago. All things are sacred in their creation, every blade of grass and tree has its affections. You have your family, your freedom. I cannot keep you in. All things are sacred in their creation, every blade of grass and tree has its affections. You have your family, your freedom. I cannot keep you any longer, go now. He released the golden carp into the river and the fish circled around a few times but did not leave. Do you also have feelings? I acknowledge it, go now. Xuanzang said. The little white dragon suddenly felt like crying. She had not spoken a word these days, only listening to the monk watching him read, sweeping the ground, observing the frown on his face when he was deep in thought and the peaceful expression on his face while sleeping. She felt she could not live without these. In the dragon palace there was no one like him. Across the vast East Sea there was no one like him. In the boundless world there was only one such person. Was she truly going to part with him like this? Every encounter is a connection, when the connection ends, do not force it. I am going to the edge of the sky and you cannot follow me, go now. The monk urged her. The little white dragon suddenly felt an impulse, she wanted to reveal her true form and tell the monk everything, then accompany him to wander the world. But in the end she still did not. She flicked her head and swam towards the sea exit. In the water a lustrous pearl slowly sank to the riverbed. Everything will fade away, what can remain is only memory. But is memory real or illusory? It cannot be touched or seen, yet it weighs heavily on the heart. Perhaps it was the little white dragon thinking this, or Zhu Bajie, or a Yao, or every person. When the little white dragon felt the water flowing silently and slowly at the bottom of Eagle Cry Gorge, she knew that time was passing. Yet her memories remained forever vivid, as if everything had happened a long time ago. The sea is red, the dragon palace is dark. I have abandoned my body, forsaken flesh and blood, so the heavenly emperor can gain nothing. Everything he desires I have cast aside, leaving only my pure soul for the one I love. Strangely, at that moment when the sword glided across her neck, her thoughts became exceptionally clear, recalled by memory. The little white dragon watched as her blood spread beautifully in the sea, seeing her father's trembling face, tears streaming down. There was no sound, no pain, only that fleeting thought, so life is so short, when you discover what you love you should pursue it regardless of everything, because life can end at any moment. Destiny is like the sea. When you can swim freely you must swim joyfully towards your love, for you do not know what turbulent waves may come and sweep away all hopes and dreams. The little white dragon, clutching the Ding Yen pearl, swam against the current towards the distant shimmering light on the ocean surface, swimming. 10 years later in the heavenly palace. Sun Wukong arrived at the heavenly court in a flash. The scenery here felt strangely familiar, but Sun Wukong thought it must be an illusion, as he could not recall ever having been to the heavenly palace. Yet it seemed he recognized the path, instinctively turning down corridors, crossing rainbow bridges and stepping onto jade stairs until he reached a certain place. Where have I arrived? There are actually peach trees here. A cloud floated over, winding around him like a little girl. Sun Wukong slowed his pace, feeling lost. He had never lost his way on the journey westward, for he never knew where he was meant to go. Now he was lost as he began to feel that the things before him were somewhat familiar. I've never been here, but perhaps I've dreamt of it. That girl standing on the edge of the cloud, could it be that I've seen her in a dream? Little girl. Oh no, goddess, may I ask how to get to the Lingxiao treasure hall? The girl was taken aback, turning to look at him, suddenly speechless. She had a pair of beautiful eyes with a very peculiar gaze. You. After a long pause she spoke. The goddess does not recognize me. I am Sun Wukong, here for the first time, unfamiliar with the paths. You don't recognize. The girl lowered her head, murmuring, then suddenly raised her face as if filled with hope, smiling and asking, who am I? Watching her smile, Sun Wukong recalled the feeling of lying on a tree as the warm spring breeze blew over him. It was strange that he had not reminisced about the past for a long time, having always thought that his memories were merely words devoid of feeling. Who are you to ask me? Sun Wukong smiled, and in the sky his temperament seemed to have improved. The girl withdrew her smile and stared blankly at Wukong. After a while she said, I am Zixia. Sun Wukong felt a jolt in his heart as if a door had been opened, yet there was nothing inside. Is that so? He smiled. The girl suddenly smiled again. Yes. Yes. Sun Wukong also smiled. She suddenly turned to gaze at the horizon, and after a long moment she turned back, her expression now solemn. Who are you? I am Sun Wukong. Nonsense. You are not. The girl suddenly became angry, her eyes filled with resentment. You are not him. Why have you come? You should never have returned. Sun Wukong had fought countless monsters, but at this moment he felt that this girl was stranger than all the monsters, leaving him at a loss. What's wrong with you? Why are you so flustered? Look at me. The fairy named Zixia shouted. As soon as Sun Wukong looked up, she immediately turned her head away. Fairy Sun Wukong said, somewhat impatient, I don't care what you cough illness you have. I just need you to tell me where the Lingxiao treasure hall is. Why do you want to go? Don't go, I told you not to go 500 years ago. The fairy lowered her head, murmuring to herself as if her heart was in turmoil. Hey! Sun Wukong called, you know, if this were in the mortal realm I would have beaten you to death 200 times by now. Is being a fairy so great? I'm just asking for directions and you act like this. Where do you want to go? Where? She still kept her head down, her body trembling as if struggling against something. Ling Xiao Bao Dian. He shouted loudly into her ear. She still did not look up at Wukong, pointing towards the distance. The clouds parted, and only then did Sun Wukong see the enormous palace with countless levels and many rare spirit beasts flying around the palace, stirring up auspicious clouds. They were massive, yet they appeared like dragonflies before the palace. The clouds and mist around the palace were constantly shifting, emitting various auspicious lights. What a nice place. I, Sun Wukong, would really like to live here. The girl gazed at the clouds below her, saying, so many years have passed. Are all the women in the heavenly palace like this? Sun Wukong stood up to leave, but then stopped again. What are you doing alone at the edge of the sky? Why do you want to ask me what I am doing? The girl suddenly lifted her head, staring at Wukong. It was now Sun Wukong's turn to turn his head away. But I actually want to know what you are doing. He looked at the distant clouds, thinking to himself, why am I so afraid to look at her? Why do they not want to know yet? You do? The fairy asked, her eyes seemingly expecting some answer. They? Who are they? The girl sighed, you should leave, I am waiting for someone. Oh. Sun Wukong turned and left, flying into the cloud layers. The girl looked out at the vast sea of clouds, saying, he will definitely come back, definitely. A loud voice from the Lingxiao treasure hall called out, Sun Wukong, since you have come here, why not enter the hall to pay your respects? Upon entering the hall, the Jade Emperor couldn't help but feel a bit nervous. Don't be afraid, stay calm. I have arranged for 100,000 heavenly soldiers and masters behind the hall. Besides, he doesn't remember anything now. The Supreme Lord whispered in his ear. The Jade Emperor then gathered his spirits and shouted, Sun Wukong, what brings you here? Are you the Jade Emperor? Back in that darkness you sent someone to tell me that I needed to complete 3 tasks in order to atone for my sins, right? Yes. Yes. The Jade Emperor replied, glancing at the Supreme Lord angrily, thinking it was all his idea. The Supreme Lord pretended not to see. Sun Wukong continued, but now the monk has been killed. I want to retrieve that bald-headed soul, but the underworld says there is none, so I came here to ask if he has come for tea. Sun Wukong. The Supreme Lord said sternly, Tang Sanzang was clearly killed by you. Nonsense. What proof do you have? The witness is here. Trans witness, come forward. Suddenly a man walked out from behind the pillar. Upon seeing him, Sun Wukong's eyes widened in shock. Xiao Wujing. You have the nerve to falsely accuse me. What do you mean, falsely accuse? I clearly saw you kill the master. Are you daring to deny it? Nonsense. Why would I kill him? You colluded with the female demon from the forest of 10,000 spirits to harm the master. Shuang. That ugly monster. How could you even think of that? Xiao Wujing was sent to monitor you all to prevent a wretched person like you from becoming wild again. I believe what he says. The Supreme Lord stated. You believe him. Just because you believe it means I killed the monk. That's ridiculous. And that's not all, you attacked the underworld, injured the king of hell and killed 141000 ghost soldiers. Moments later you sneaked into the dragon palace and killed Aoguang, the dragon king of the East Sea. Sun Wukong was left speechless. I have been to all those places, but I have never done any of those things. Still dare to deny it. Someone take Sun Wukong down. The Supreme Lord ordered. Who dares to take me? Sun Wukong shouted with his staff in hand. Among the heavenly soldiers none dared to step forward to show off their skills. But then a voice called out, I will take you. Xiao Wujing jumped to the center of the hall. Just right, I was just thinking of killing you. Wukong replied. The two engaged in a fierce battle. Sun Wukong had never seen Xiao Wujing fight before and had never regarded him highly. But after just 20 exchanges, Wukong realized this person was much more formidable than he thought. Just as he dodged Xiao Wujing's attack, he found himself to the right, swinging his staff to strike at his back. Xiao Wujing, off balance in midair, hurriedly swung his Zen staff behind him. The golden cudgel struck the staff, bending it and hit Xiao Wujing's back, sending him flying. Wukong was about to charge forward again when he suddenly felt a tightness in his head. Not good, he cried out. A surge of pain shot into his brain and he fell straight to the ground. Xiao Wujing got up, leaping back and kicking Wukong, sending him flying. Sun Wukong crashed into a huge pillar, causing the hall to tremble. The deities standing around the pillar hurriedly scattered. Sun Wukong landed and performed a roll, managing to rise again, but a wave of intense pain threatened to tear him apart. He knelt on one knee, using the golden cudgel to support himself, driving it a foot into the ground of the hall. You hit hard. Sun Wukong gritted his teeth. What of hitting you? You've grown murderous, haven't you? As long as you aren't killing demons or monsters, your restraint will always bind you. How can you fight me? Xiao Wujing swung his Zen staff again, but Sun Wukong rolled on the ground, sweeping his staff horizontally. However, the pain slowed him down significantly and Xiao Wujing leaped into the air, striking down with his staff. Boom! The hall exploded in a burst of flames, shards of jade bricks flying into the sky. Under this heavy blow, Sun Wukong could have perished if he were anyone else. As the dust settled, what emerged was Sun Wukong's undying eyes filled with fury. The heavenly soldiers rushed in, surrounding Sun Wukong at the core. Sun Wukong seemed to have gone mad, charging left and right, shouting loudly, but his strikes with the staff were entirely chaotic, completely random swings. In the end, the heavenly soldiers retreated far away, forming a circle, while Sun Wukong continued to wildly swing the golden cudgel alone. He could not stop. That would mean defeat, a humiliating defeat. Xiao Wujing, the Jade Emperor, the Supreme Lord, the Giant Spirit God, and all the celestial generals quietly watched from outside the circle. They were like a pack of cold-blooded hunters waiting for the beast within the circle to bleed out. Xiao Wujing, the Jade Emperor, the Supreme Lord, the Giant Spirit God, and all the celestial generals quietly watched from outside the circle. They were like a pack of cold-blooded hunters waiting for the beast within the circle to bleed out. Pain, such pain. It tightened around your skull, around your soul. Chains pierced through the bones. So what? So what? I can still stand, ha ha ha. Thunder shattered flesh and blood. So what? So what? I can still laugh madly, ha ha ha. But this pain, it penetrated my body, it tugged at my veins. I cannot smile, I cannot stand up, I have lost my body, I cannot have that. You cannot pry it open, you cannot break it, because it is not an object, it is your own bondage. Tang Sanzang said, I cannot help you untie it, I cannot find its location. Someone has planted the bondage in your heart. I assure you, I have not chanted anything. Do you still want to kill us? You dead monk, you don't need to lie to me. Why is it that every time I think of killing you, my head hurts? I can't even think about it. I can't even think about it. Let go of your desires and you will immediately find peace. You must struggle against your own selfish thoughts, do not doubt, never doubt. Tang Sanzang thought for a moment. Only belief can save you. No. No. I must kill you all. I want. I must want. Then he knew nothing, remembered nothing. Upon waking, I was like a fool, quiet and silent. Master, I've brought back the fruit. Whom? The bald man looked at me with a strange expression, and Zhu Bajie was also smiling at me with a big swollen cheek. Who did that? Sha Monk trembled with anger on the side. He had spent months on a broken bowl which was smashed again. Who did that? Who was so bored as to break this peaceful life? Master, I'll go see if there are any houses ahead. Whom? Next time, I don't know when that will be. Zhu Bajie said cheerfully. I must kill him, kill him. Sha Monk said through gritted teeth. Who does he want to kill? I don't know. I don't want anything, don't want anything. But awareness revived little by little each night. When I opened my eyes, everyone was gathered around me looking at me. Did I talk in my sleep again? Yes, Shu said. You said, demon monkey, you cannot escape from my 5-finger mountain. Ha ha ha. Tang Sanzang glared at Bajie angrily, not knowing why he was mad, but the pig still laughed to himself. I knew I was saying something entirely different, but they never spoke the truth. I could only think in dreams, yet upon waking I would forget everything. I would never know what I thought. Once I pondered while awake, it would be the beginning of pain. Sha Monk was trembling again. What made him so afraid? Next time I don't know when, Shu said. Ha ha ha. The heavenly palace was surrounded by hundreds of thousands of heavenly soldiers swirling like countless locusts outside the palace. The great battle stirred the gods of the 9 heavens, who stood far away in the clouds discussing among themselves. It's been many years since the heavenly palace has caused such a ruckus. Yes, ever since the last great disturbance in the heavenly palace. Who is causing this commotion this time? It seems to be Sun Wukong again. Sun Wukong. No way, Sun Wukong is not so easily defeated. The cause. 500 years ago. Did you know? The sky is just a desert, said Zixia. It is adorned with exquisite things, but when they become part of the heavenly palace they have already been stripped of their souls. Did you know? No one answered, for there was no one beside her. If someone were present she wouldn't be saying these things. She always smiled, looking around and speaking to them, continuously smiling. Until the rich colors of the evening glow gradually faded, the heavenly realm no longer transparent, the black sky separating her gaze from the world below. At that moment all the gods returned to their palaces and she alone stood at the increasingly cold edge of the clouds, with no one calling her back, no one caring for her. At this time she began to speak to herself. Did you know? They call me Zixia, who always smiles, but no one can smile forever except for statues and fools. Did you know? She said seriously, her eyes fixed on the boundless darkness. Had she ever thought about telling these words to another person? Was she always waiting for a day when someone would stand beside her and listen to everything she had to say? Just listen, don't interrupt me. I will tell you everything. Don't laugh impatiently like Erlangshan, and don't rebut me like Tianping with heavy-heartedness. They would definitely do so, so I only tell you, for only you would listen silently. In this world only you would. She kept insisting, surrounded by the infinite void condensed by the cold of the cosmic night. That day Zixia stood at the edge of the heavens for a long time. As she turned to walk back she felt that cold desolation had already attached itself to her. Therefore she quickened her pace, wanting to return to the warmth of the furnace by the Laxia Palace. In the Pan Tao garden there were originally no stars shining, yet how could it be so bright? Was there still a sound so late? It sounded like a girl was crying. Didn't A Yao and the others go to the Pan Tao garden? Zixia flew closer and saw a few large stars hanging in the garden above, the most beautiful kind in the heavenly realm. However, stars cannot be moved casually. Who is so daring? In the garden a girl was crying. What was that thing jumping around her? A monkey. Little girl, how long are you going to cry? I was just joking with you. Woo woo. No. You ate all our peaches and used a binding spell on me. Woo woo. I want to tell the Queen Mother on you. Go ahead and tell. I, old son, am not afraid. I'm afraid you won't go. You've been crying for several hours. Ah. The water is rising, help. Little friend, old son is very tired and wants to close the garden. Please come back tomorrow if you want to visit. Go cry outside, doing this will disturb old son's rest. Woo woo. I want. Woo woo. You owe me peaches. Greedy. It's just a few peaches. If you come back with old son to Huagua Mountain I can give you 10 baskets. Woo woo. You ate more than just 10 baskets. All right. 20 baskets. 100 baskets. 1,000 baskets. Are you trying to extort me? Woo woo. I don't want your broken peaches from the mortal world. If I don't bring back the Pan Tao, will definitely be beaten to death by the Queen Mother. Wah! A Yao became increasingly sad and simply began to cry loudly. If she beats you, won't you beat her back? If you can't win, you can always bite. What's there to cry about? A Yao's face turned pale with anger. Who are you? How dare you say such things? I am Sun Wukong. A Yao stopped crying, staring blankly at him. Sun Wukong, the nightmare of the heavenly realm. This name often appears in those bloody tales. In the years of war between the divine realm and the demon realm, the scent of blood surged into the sky, and the name Sun Wukong was always associated with the heavy defeats of the heavenly court, like a shadow looming over the divine generals. Because no one has ever defeated him. Because the only ones who came back alive after facing him were a few outstanding figures of the heavenly realm, like the third prince. It is said that he eats 10,000 people every day. It is said that he has a mountain as tall as this. It is said that nothing can survive in the places he passes. He now stood right in front of a Yao. A Yao was stunned for a moment, then screamed and vanished without a trace. Sun Wukong said, "What happened to that little girl? Is my name so unpleasant?" Zixia walked out from the woods and smiled. Who does not know the name of the great sage equal to heaven? Sun Wukong turned to look at her. You seem to not be afraid of me. Why should I be afraid of you? Sun Wukong thought for a long time. Yes, why should I be afraid of myself? If all the gods in the heavenly realm thought like you, old Sun wouldn't have to spend all day planting trees in the garden. These trees are growing quite well, aren't they? You must understand gardening. Bah! Gardening. What kind of nonsense is that? I only know that there are not many things with spiritual energy in the heavens. One is the trees in the Pan Tao garden and the other is the horses in the Royal Horse Bureau, which need to be treated as friends. Trees and horses are your friends, but all the gods and Buddhas in the sky have no spirit. Ha ha! If they had spirit, they wouldn't be able to comprehend this Tao and wouldn't be able to become this immortal. This is the first time I have heard of it. My master told me that to ascend to immortality and become a Buddha, one must first be free of desires. I think that isn't much different from being dead. The realm of immortals is without sorrow or joy. How would you understand? Who is your master? He told me not to mention his name. To have a disciple like you who possesses great powers but is indifferent to the Tao, I suppose there are not many such people. Oh, you can give it a try. In the current three realms, the ones with the highest powers and skills are all in the heavenly realm, with the most prominent being the Tathagata of the Western blissful world. You obviously can't be his disciple. If he accepted me, I wouldn't even care. The second most powerful is the Tathagata's second disciple, Jin Chanzi. However, he questioned the Tathagata's teachings and practiced a method on his own, attempting to surpass the Tathagata. He was cursed by the Tathagata and fell into the mortal world, not knowing where he is. You must not be his disciple either. I don't even know him. The third is the wandering celestial Bodhi Patriarch. By the way, he is also one of the founders of Buddhism, but his teachings differ from the Tathagata's. The Tathagata focuses on the afterlife while he focuses on the present life. In seclusion overseas, he accepts disciples based solely on talent, disregarding moral character. He takes very few, and even fewer can graduate. Unlike the Tathagata's disciples who fill the halls. Besides these three, there is no one else who could teach you. So who is your master? Do I still need to say it? Sigh. Zixia sighed deeply. It's a pity that Bodhi taught you spells but didn't lead you to comprehend the Tao. I suppose the Tao that cannot be named is meant for you to realize on your own. He just fears that you might fall into the wrong path, which is why he instructed you not to speak his name. That is not the case. Sun Wukong said, it's just that my master said that the path I want to learn, the path of eternal non-escape, he didn't teach me, so I have not received his true transmission. Therefore I am not allowed to say I am his disciple. He also said that the true master who can teach me is in the mortal world and told me to find him myself. I think that old man probably can't teach me anymore, so he used these words to fool me. Little girl, you should go. Your parents will scold you. I have no parents. I was transformed from the purple haze of the West. Oh. Sun Wukong took a big bite of a peach. Pitiful child without a mother. Who are you talking about? I am talking about myself, is that okay? Sun Wukong flipped over to another tree and lay down. Hurry and go, I don't have time to play with you. Can I come back to play with you later? No. What's fun about playing with a girl? You come here, aren't you afraid I might eat you? Zixia smiled and disappeared into the white clouds. Sun Wukong yawned 100 times on the tree but still couldn't fall asleep. It's too stuffy, too stuffy. I want to find someone to fight. He leaped out of the Pan Tao garden but saw Zixia still sitting at the edge of the clouds, staring blankly into the distance. Little girl, can't you find your way home? If you're going to cry, don't squat at my door, others will think I have a purple dog guarding me. Zixia slowly stood up and looked back at him. In the past I sat here for 10,000 years and no one would care about me. Is that so? Consider it my fault I'm leaving. Sun Wukong leaped away and disappeared. Oh, this place is quite nice, shining brightly like the East Sea in front of Huagua Mountain. Sun Wukong said, by the Milky Way. Let me catch some to take home for the kids to play with. So he began to scoop around in the galaxy, making the silver stars of the Milky Way scatter all over the place. Stop it, a loud voice shouted. Sun Wukong looked up and saw a tall young man standing before him, handsome with a pair of wings behind him. I thought the heavenly realm was all about old men with white beards, Sun Wukong said. The appearances of the gods in the heavenly palace are determined by their hearts. If they do not like old age, they will not appear old. I am Tian Peng, the guardian of the Milky Way. The silver stars in this river were arranged with great care over thousands of years. I hope the immortals don't disturb them. Ha ha. Old Sun hates nothing more than rules. The more something cannot be touched, the more I want to touch it. Not only did Sun Wukong ignore Tian Peng's words, but upon hearing them he waved his staff, stirring the silver stars into chaos. Stop! Tian Peng shouted, leaping in front of Sun Wukong and actually grabbing the golden staff. There are not many who can seize old Sun's weapon in this world. Hee, my hands are itching. Even if you don't want to fight today, I won't let you go. After saying this, Sun Wukong shook his staff and the two began to battle. In this fight, a vortex appeared in the Milky Way, growing larger and larger as if it were about to turn the entire galaxy upside down. Seeing the entire Milky Way thrown into chaos, Tian Ping grew anxious and angry, fearing that further fighting would ruin the stars. In his state of confusion, he was swept down by Sun Wukong's kick, and when he tried to rise again, the golden staff was already pointed at his head. Do you surrender? Sun Wukong said with a grin. Do you know what you've done? You've scattered them, and this took years of effort to create. Tian Ping roared with rage. What nonsense, a few silver sands and you care so much? You sound like a woman. I'll fight you. Tian Ping pushed the golden staff away and lunged at him. He was filled with rage, lacking any strategy, and after a few moves he was again knocked to the ground by Sun Wukong. Are you still going to fight? Of course. Thus it went on for 27 rounds. I've never seen anyone who can take such a beating, Sun Wukong panted. If you can get up this time, old Sun will admire you. I will stand even if I die. Tian Ping gritted his teeth and tried to push himself up. Sigh, why bother? We are just competing, admitting defeat is enough. Why act like enemies? You ruined my most beloved thing and destroyed my home, I will not let you off. What, can't we stay here anymore? Although it's a bit messy, it's better than my water curtain cave, which I don't even remember anymore. You're being so petty. You don't understand. Without love in your heart, how would you know the meaning of cherishing? What nonsense. Hurry up, old Sun is starving while waiting for you to get up. At that moment a woman in white descended from the Milky Way, gasping in shock, rushing to Tian Ping and hugging him tightly. What happened to you? Why have you become like this? The woman said, heartbroken, tears falling from her eyes. It's okay, you. Tian Ping's mouth bled as he forced a smile. He then looked at Sun Wukong. He messed up the stars you created, I will never let him go. Fool, what does it matter if the stars are chaotic? But that took you many years of effort, you've spent your whole life on this, but in just one day. I am useless. Tian Ping felt so miserable that he wanted to bang his head against the ground. You supported his head and said, I told you you were foolish. I spent so much time making the stars in the Milky Way just for you to appreciate. I arranged them piece by piece just because you were happy to see them. What I truly care about in my heart, do you not understand? Tian Ping smiled this time, truly smiling. He leaned against you like a child and she stroked his head with tears dropping onto his hair. Sun Wukong suddenly felt something strange in his heart. Hey, are you treating me as if I don't exist? No one paid him any mind. Wherever he went, others either feared him to death or treated him with utmost respect. It was the first time he had seen such a scene before him. They actually don't care about me. They actually only saw themselves. Perhaps everyone thinks this world exists solely for them at birth. When they realize they were wrong, they begin to grow up. Monkey, you may leave, I no longer hate you, Tian Ping said. Oof. I don't believe it. When old Sun hates someone, I remember them for a lifetime. How can you say you don't hate me and change so quickly? You don't understand. Tian Ping said. You say another word that old Sun doesn't understand. I am proficient in 72 transformations and all kinds of spells, how could I not understand? You must be the great sage equal to heaven, you said. I heard you were born from a stone and human emotions probably differ from yours. Are you insulting old Sun for being heartless? You and we are different. Humans are born lacking. From the moment they are born they feel uneasy, so they spend their whole lives seeking fulfillment. Gods are also lacking, they just erase the desire for seeking and thus feel complete in their hearts. I don't want to deceive myself, but you seem to really lack such unease since you were born of heavenly essence. Perhaps one day you will understand when you see. Another shadow has emerged in your soul. Tian Ping said, I don't understand. I hate riddles. My master used to enjoy doing this too, always toying with old Sun. Sun Wukong muttered to himself as he turned and walked out of the Milky Way. This time he did not fly, he walked out slowly. You looked at Sun Wukong's retreating figure and said, this person seems. What? Tian Ping asked. I don't know. Let's not worry about him. Sun Wukong returned to the Pan Tao garden and saw Zixia still standing at the edge of the clouds. You've been standing here all day, what are you looking at? Sun Wukong couldn't help but ask. Why do you ask me? Zixia asked. How would I know why I asked you? Today I'm really unlucky, running into strange people and hearing strange things. It seems like today is not a good day to go out. Why does everyone else not ask me what I'm looking at? Only you ask me what I'm looking at. I can't stand it. I was born with a quick tongue, okay? Do you care about me? Why would I care about you? When I was in Huagua Mountain I would greet any dog I saw by the roadside. You really are different from them. Did you just notice? I have fur. I like to stand here over the past tens of thousands of years, only you have asked me what I was doing. But I really want to know what you are doing. Why do they not want to know while you do? Why do you ask why? If I knew why I wouldn't tell you, why would I? Because you have thoughts, you have a soul, Zixia said. Sun Wukong was stunned again. What is it that is supreme under heaven and on earth, asked Tang Sanzang. The monkey, said Sun Wukong. No. It's the pig. Zhu Bajie cried out. You're all wrong. It's me, said Tang Sanzang. When the Tathagata was born, he pointed one hand to the sky and one to the ground, saying so. The Buddha said it's you, said Bajie. No. The Buddha said it's me. Then that's the Buddha. Not the Buddha, it's me. That monk is mad. Don't mind him, said Sun Wukong. I understand. It's the Buddha, it's you, it's me. It's, said the pig. It's a pig. Great, another one gone mad, said Sun Wukong. If I had been there, then I would have smashed them with my staff to stop such nonsense. So annoying, grumbled Sha Wujing. The three of them stared at him, but he yawned and went back to sleep. Another morning in the heavenly court. Zixia arrived at the peach garden. She saw Sun Wukong lying asleep in a tree. His hand was trembling slightly. Zixia approached, wondering whether to wake him. Suddenly Sun Wukong leaped up with a somersault. Before Zixia could even cry out, her wrist was seized and the golden cudgel was already descending upon her head. The staff stopped the instant it touched Zixia's hair. The immense pressure almost seemed to crush her into the ground. Sun Wukong glared at her. What are you doing here? Don't ever come near me without a sound when I'm asleep. You seem tense. Did you have a nightmare? No. I had a dream too when I was asleep just now. But it was a beautiful dream. None of my business. Sun Wukong leaped back into the tree. I really want to tell someone about it, but none of the immortals want to listen. I don't want to either. Sun Wukong leaned on a branch and closed his eyes to sleep again. Sun Wukong, tell me, what is Huagua Mountain like, asked Zixia. Sun Wukong opened his eyes. He looked at the sky and thought for a long time. Huagua Mountain. Beautiful. Yes, beautiful. How is it beautiful, asked Zixia. Does it bloom all over with purple muxiao flowers every summer? They are red. Yes, yes. And in autumn fallen leaves carpet the ground soft as a cushion, yet the woods remain green. Deer leap joyfully across the meadows below the hills. You look up and golden sunlight bathes your face. Against the sky blue like translucent jade the shadows of cranes and wild geese glide by. And when winter comes, white snow covers the mountains and forests serene and pristine. Crystal icicles hang from the trees, each one carved like jade. Squirrels nestled in the hollows of great trees listen to the howling wind and the whisper of falling snow, dreaming a dream of the coming year. You even heard the sound of snow falling. As if you'd lived there. That's the dream I had. I always have such a dream. I dream of a boundless beautiful garden, and I am a squirrel in that garden. Zixia was thrilled by her own imagination. A squirrel. Ha! Can you climb a tree? Show me. Maybe that was my past life. Whenever I wake up from such a dream, I think there must be such a place in the world. I never imagined it truly exists. Sun Wukong, if Huagua Mountain is so beautiful, why did you come to the heavens? I think the heavens are pretty good. There are stars and the moon, no wild beasts, and you don't have to search for food every day. But don't you find the heavens too lonely, too lifeless? Don't you ever want to go back to Huagua Mountain? What are you trying to say? Take me with you when you go back so I can see it too, said Zixia. Ha! Take you back to Huagua Mountain. I just want to see it to fulfill my wish, and then I'll return to the heavenly court. You really want to go? Zixia nodded vigorously. Sun Wukong said, you'll have your chance. Then he turned and left. Weirdo. Zixia turned and walked back disheartened. But remembering her dream, she smiled again. The sea shimmered with 10,000 points of silver light under the moon. On a high cliff by the shore stood a stone monkey staring blankly at the ocean. Was this what the world was like? As far as the eye could see, boundless and infinite, yet he could not advance another step. Sun Wukong. Suddenly someone called out. Who is it? Who calls me? Strange, I was just born, how do I have a name? This must be a dream. The stone monkey turned and looked back. Behind him was nothing but vast pitch-black darkness. Who calls me? Is it me they call? Who is it? On this moonlit isolated island the monkey was shouting hoarsely. Sun Wukong opened his eyes. He immediately remembered who he was, where he was, and that the golden cudgel was still in his ear. This reassured him. The night in the heavenly court was too quiet, stirring a vague unease in his heart. Huagua Mountain, would I really want to return to that place? He thought. Zixia, why have you been spending so much time with that demon monkey lately? Erlangshan said, he is a murderous demon. I think aside from being a bit unfriendly, he's not as terrifying as the legends say. That's because you haven't seen his ferocity. The heavenly court and the demon tribes have been at war for years. Countless heavenly soldiers and generals have died by his hand. I have fought him many times myself. This demon is extremely dangerous. No one usually dares to go to the peach garden, yet you go there often. I just want him to take me to see Huagua Mountain. Huagua Mountain. Why would you go there? I just want to see it. Sun Wukong says it's very beautiful. You really want to go to Huagua Mountain? Erlangshan pondered. Very well, let you see it then. Wonderful. Zixia exclaimed with joy. The great chariot of the gods rumbled towards the earth. Why build a chariot like this? Such a thick shell covered in tentacles like a monster, Zixia asked. You'll see soon enough. Erlangshan looked ahead, his expression cold and stern. Zixia suddenly felt that his expression was too similar to Sun Wukong's when he had woken from his dream that day. They were both afraid of something in their hearts. Piercing through the thick black layers of cloud, they could see the green earth below. Come down. We've arrived. Erlangshan said when the chariot finally stopped. Zixia stepped out of the chariot and was greeted by a foul rancid stench. Before her was a range of black mountains covered in scorched soil. The charred trees on the slopes looked like twisted dancing claws reaching out from the earth. A thick heavy black mist shrouded the area, blocking out the sun and sky. The graveyard-like mountains were utterly lifeless, with only strange birds shrieking piercingly like the wailing of ghosts. This is Huagua Mountain, Erlangshan said. The place you longed for. I don't believe it. This isn't it. How could Huagua Mountain be like this? Zixia cried out. Why can't Huagua Mountain be like this? Erlangshan kicked a stone on the ground. It flipped over and Zixia saw words inscribed on it: Blessed Land of Huagua Mountain, Cave Heaven of Water Curtain Cave. That monkey lied to you, huh? A place where demons breed, how could it possibly be scenic? How could monsters live in a garden? Only the divine realms and heavenly courts can be as picturesque as a painting. Zixia stood in stunned silence. Now that your wish is fulfilled, can we go back? I want to stay a little longer. Demons roam this place. I advise you to leave soon. This is no place for a celestial maiden. I have never left the heavenly court. I never imagined the earth could be like this. Not all places are like this. Those lands that revere the heavens and honor the gods enjoy favorable weather and the happiness of all creatures. You can visit those places sometime. When you return, stay away from that demon monkey. So what I dreamed of was not Huagua Mountain. Zixia murmured. Very well, I'll take you around so you can see clearly. Erlangshan and Zixia flew over Huagua Mountain. What are those strange birds? I've never seen them before, Zixia said. Those. They are the lingering spirits of demons killed in the war between the demon tribes and the gods. They cannot enter the underworld and can never be reborn. They gather into these birds, wailing for eternity. So, are there no living creatures here at all? Erlangshan smiled. Of course there are. He vanished for a moment, then returned holding a wild goose in his hand. There are wild geese here. Zixia said. I caught this elsewhere to use as bait. Watch. Erlangshan squeezed the goose and its blood dripped down onto the ground. Immediately the earth began to churn. Countless demons emerged from it, looking up at them, howling strangely. Erlangshan threw the dead goose to the ground. The countless demons lunged at it, piling into a writhing mound that rose like a small hill. Some demons started tearing at each other over the food. Those bitten down were swarmed and ripped apart by others. Zixia was stunned. A few days later, in the peach garden of the heavenly court. I went to Huagua Mountain, Zixia said. Oh. How was it? Fun. Sun Wukong said, but there was no smile on his face. I saw everything. Oh. Why did you lie to me? If you say I lied, then I lied. Fine. Sun Wukong said. I won't come here anymore. Very good. Do you really like this kind of life, alone in the garden talking to the trees? It's still better than before. Then what was the point of your war with the heavenly court back then? I thought some things could be changed by force. But later I realized that resistance only brings more pain, so I accepted the title of God. But in the eyes of the gods you are still a demon. Gods. Demons, what is the difference? Gods do not have the vile greed of demons. Is that so? If gods are not greedy, why can't they tolerate the slightest disrespect? If gods are not evil, why do they hold the fate of countless earthly beings in their hands? Why did I become a god? Because I thought at least then my own fate would not be in the hands of others. Sun Wukong's voice grew louder. But those demons on earth, you abandoned them. I was wrong from the start. Demons never needed anyone to save them. I tried to turn them into something else and it only ended up harming them. I don't understand what you mean. Now I only want to save myself, Sun Wukong said. A strange smile appeared on his face. I once thought you were different from those gods and Buddhas. I was different once. Now you're no different from them. You drift around expressionlessly and aimlessly in the clouds. I once envied you for having a soul, but now you've thrown it away just to become a god. Zixia said with a cold smile. This way there is no pain, Sun Wukong said. He knocked his head against a tree beside him. See, I can barely feel pain anymore. Isn't that wonderful? What is pain? Are you so afraid of it? Sun Wukong suddenly flashed a ferocious look. He grabbed Zixia and said viciously, when you dream you were a squirrel in that great forest deep in the night, have you ever heard that howl? The howl when you see your own leg being torn off. What are you saying? Let me go. Zixia cried out in terror. Are you then have you ever heard a certain crunching sound? It's your natural enemy gnawing on bones. The thing in its mouth is not dead yet, you can still hear it struggling, and the next thing to be chewed could be you. This sound seeps into your dreams at night and you still manage to have a beautiful dream about the coming year. You could have no tomorrow at any moment. Let me go, you look terrifying. You are in the tree, never daring to sleep soundly for a moment, always alert for any unusual sound. You worry that when you open your eyes you'll see a bloody maw. Your body is ready to spring up and flee or fight at any moment. Every night is so long until the first light of dawn touches your eyelids and you think, thank heavens I've survived another night. For the day you've earned, you leap and screech wildly, stuffing everything edible you can find into your mouth. But night falls again quickly before you've even had time to find a friend. You think you've had enough. But you have no choice but to live. You fear life, yet you fear death. You don't know why you live each day. Oh. Now you understand why I wanted to become a god. Sun Wukong finished all this in one breath, then released Zixia as if relieved of a great burden. But you are all-powerful now. It's useless. When I was little, my greatest wish was to beat the male monkey on the opposite tree who always stole my food and hit me. When I finally could beat him, I found he was already old. But I still gave him a thorough beating because that's how this world works. After I defeated all the monkeys in the tribe and became the Monkey King, I found my daily task was to stand on the treetop watching for tigers, bears and leopards and then yell. Do you know what it's like to be chased by a leopard? I ran until my breath almost gave out. Cough cough. Sun Wukong grabbed his own throat, looking pained. Damn it, I thought I had forgotten all this. Go on, I really want to hear. Zixia grabbed Sun Wukong's clothes and shook him. I didn't want this. I saw my own kind revel in joy only to die. I didn't want the sun to set, but I watched the evening glow fade bit by bit. I didn't understand how other creatures could be so at peace. Then one day a thought struck me, can anyone escape this? Is there anyone? So I went across the seas to learn magic. I mastered the 72 transformations. I asked my master if I would never be afraid again. That old bastard just shook his head and laughed, laughing so much I wanted to punch him. When I returned, I found that nothing could hurt me anymore. I was so happy I thought I'd go mad. But the good times didn't last. Then one day, Sun Wukong stopped abruptly, his eyes staring straight ahead. Zixia saw a strange light in them, something like terror or like hatred. Why? Why must there be gods in this world? Why must they control the life and death of all things under heaven? Sun Wukong gritted his teeth. Because all things in the world were created by them. But I wasn't. I was born from a stone. My parents are heaven and earth. No one has the right to control old Sun's life and death, be it the king of hell or the Jade Emperor. So you smashed the underworld. Ha 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 ha. Sun Wukong let out a cold laugh that sounded more like crying. I crossed out the book of life and death and erased the names of all beings in the 9 netherworlds and 10 categories. From then on, all spiritual beings under heaven would be immortal and the world was full of life. I thought we would be free from worry forever. I never expected. What? It turns out that everything the gods can't control has a name, called demon. Zixia felt a shock in her heart. She had always heard the gods speak of demons as evil monsters, but she never imagined this was the true meaning. Sun Wukong continued, it turns out the gods cannot tolerate any independent spirit in this world. He stopped their thought for a moment and turned to leave. Zixia grabbed him. Then, the century-long war between gods and demons. The heavenly court couldn't kill you, so they made you a god. But the demon hordes. You saw it too. The heavenly court promised not to kill them, but Huagua Mountain was long destroyed by the war, barren of even a blade of grass. Now it is nothing but a hell on earth. So you just abandoned them. I made one mistake, I made them immortal. I cannot save them. I think you saw those strange birds over Huagua Mountain. If Old Sun had kept fighting, I think one day I would have ended up the same. Zixia lowered her head and said nothing. When she looked up again, Sun Wukong was gone. Sun Wukong leaped out of the peach garden and arrived at the square in front of the heavenly palace, thinking, finally shaken off that little girl, what a nuisance. Why is she so bothersome? Sun Wukong, aren't you Sun Wukong? A voice called out. Who? Who's calling me? Sun Wukong focused his gaze and saw a head hanging from a stone pillar. Who are you? I was an old demon from Chisong Mountain. I was beheaded for rebelling against the Heavenly Emperor and now I hang here. I didn't expect to meet the great sage. I've long heard of your illustrious name and how you often defeated the heavenly soldiers. That's amazing. I want to be like you. So now you are just ahead. What does it matter? I'm not afraid. You're not afraid, so I won't be afraid. I can still glare at them with my eyes. Your eyes can be gouged out. Then I'll just curse them with my mouth. Your mouth can be sealed. Well, that's a bit troublesome, but I can still think. As long as I'm alive, they can't stop me from thinking about anything. Yes. No one can stop me from thinking. Sun Wukong pondered. Great Monkey King. I am not the Great Monkey King, I am the Great Sage equal to heaven. Anything is fine. Hero, are you here to smash this heavenly palace? The head said, its eyes gleaming. Unfortunately, I no longer have hands or feet. Otherwise, I would definitely help you. Don't call me hero. I am the Great Sage equal to heaven. You talk too much, just die quickly. Sun Wukong tossed the demon's head aside and walked away. Returning to the peach garden, he heard someone talking. Zixia, you stay here every day, hurry back. It was the voice of the giant spirit. What right do you have to tell me where to stay? What good can you do here? Being with a demon monkey. Shut up, how dare you say that about him? He is just a monkey, but he is much stronger than you. Ha. Ha. Ha, cough cough, what did you say? Say it again. You must be in love with that monkey, ha 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 ha. Zixia was furious, her face flushed, breathing heavily. Suddenly she smiled again. Yes, I like him, so what? You fall in love with a monkey. Ha 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 ha. Cough. The giant spirit suddenly stopped as he saw Sun Wukong walking over. What are you waiting for? Keep talking. Sun Wukong said, playing with his golden staff. I want to go see the moon. The giant spirit turned to leave. I'll take you. Sun Wukong said, swinging his staff and striking the giant spirit's backside, sending him flying. Ouch. The giant spirit's voice echoed from afar. Another smack on the backside. Ha 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 ha. Sun Wukong laughed uproariously. After laughing, he noticed Zixia was watching him. What are you looking at? I've long heard of the Great Monkey King Sun Wukong's name, and this is the first time I've seen you. I'm truly happy, really. Don't call me the Great Monkey King, I am the Great Sage equal to heaven. How strange, it's not like this is the first time we've met. I hope to see you often, Great Monkey King. I've always heard your stories, you are a hero in my heart, truly. Zixia said with a happy smile. She took a few steps away, then turned back and said, how wonderful to have someone like you. Zixia walked away and Sun Wukong stood there in a daze. The night in the peach garden sparkled with stars. Tell me more about your story about Huagua Mountain, about your travels, Zixia said, gazing at the leaves at the top of the peach tree. Can't you dream it? Sun Wukong leaned against a tree branch, looking up at the sky. It's too ethereal, I can't touch them. Such beautiful things, once touched break apart, once touched I wake up, and when I wake up there's nothing. That's good. Real things are bad. They are painful things. I've never seen anything real. The heavenly palace is all created by magic. Tell me a story. Your story. What story do I have? Nothing. But what are you thinking? Thinking about the past. Nothing. I have no past. No, what are you thinking? You're not allowed to think alone, I want to think with you. Cough. Does thinking about one's concerns have to be done alone? You can think whatever you like. Sun Wukong turned over, ignoring her, but closed his eyes and saw the silver sea from his dreams. I thought of the boundless sea. What did you think of? It was Zixia who spoke. Drowning. I also thought of drifting on the sea under the starry sky. Cold and hungry. I made it to shore. Wow, a world I've never seen before, so many things I've never encountered. Just don't get caught. I arrived at a mountain. Bodhi Mountain. Is there such a mountain? I don't care anyway, it's a mountain with withered vines, old trees, rare flowers, and the sounds of birds and springs mingling together. Deep valleys, the wind blows from the mountain, bringing fresh coolness and faint singing. Zixia's eyes sparkled as she immersed herself in her imagination. Are you starting to dream? You can fall asleep with your eyes open. I see you. Little girl, do you sit here every day to annoy me? Sun Wukong suddenly jumped up and shouted. Zixia fell silent, and after a long while. Can you listen to me? Zixia suddenly said. I've always been listening to you. Do you know? This sky is a desert. Zixia said, it is inlaid with exquisite things, but when they become part of the heavenly palace they are stripped of their souls. Do you know? What? Do you know? They call me Zixia, who always smiles, but no one can smile forever except for statues and fools. Do you know? I know. Just listen, don't interrupt me. I'll tell you everything, don't laugh impatiently like Erlangshin and don't rebut like Tianping with heavy words, they will surely do that, so I only speak to you, only you will listen quietly in this world, only you will. Don't keep jumping around, okay? I can't help it, Sun Wukong will fall asleep if I don't jump, it's how I was born. You're angry, then I won't talk. Zixia tossed her head and started to walk away. Alright, Sun Wukong won't jump anymore, you talk. Sun Wukong grabbed her. Thus Zixia began to speak again. Perhaps in everyone's heart there is a heavenly palace, a darkness. In the depths of that darkness there is a water surface reflecting the shadow of his heart, and the soul resides there. But when a person decides to become a god, he must abandon these. He must make that water surface empty so that nothing can be seen, and in that emptiness he becomes an immortal. But what is it like when the heart is empty? Do you know? You. She suddenly stopped speaking. Sun Wukong had already fallen asleep in midair. She watched the sleeping Sun Wukong and continued, you wouldn't understand, you must never understand, but now in my heart it is no longer empty. Thank you. Sun Wukong was sound asleep, dreaming. He walked in a boundless darkness, walking and walking, the darkness was endless. Suddenly a lake appeared, so he walked to the edge of the lake where the water began to ripple, reflecting a beautiful countryside. Something flashed across the water. Stone, why are you dazed over there? He. Zixia hadn't come to the peach garden for many days, she couldn't be found anywhere in the heavens. Sun Wukong wandered around, causing quite a stir. Finally he sighed and returned to the peach garden. There's not a single fun person. That little girl can stand alone on the edge of the clouds for a year. Will I, old son, turn out like that in the future? Will there be such a day? Great Monkey King, where are you? Zixia's cheerful voice resounded in the peach garden. Sun Wukong sprang out, don't call me Great Monkey King. I am the great sage equal to heaven. Zixia looked at him, great sage equal to heaven. Do you like this name? She took out a silk-wrapped package, this is for you. Is it something good to eat? Sun Wukong snatched it, shook it open and suddenly froze. Golden battle armor, red battle robes, purple golden crown. That was the attire he wore when he fought against the heavenly soldiers at Huagua Mountain as the Monkey King. I traveled across the 4 seas, refining gold from the reflection of the sun in the East Sea, extracting crimson from the sweat of the Kunlun dragon, taking the light of the sun and moon for thousands of miles as thread, using the multicolored clouds of the heavens as brocade and woven it. Look, doesn't it resemble your attire from back then? Zixia held it up, gazing at Sun Wukong. Put it on, let me see how you looked back then. Come. Sun Wukong gently stroked the battle robe with his hand, fell silent for a moment, then suddenly waved his hand, sending the robe and armor Zixia held flying away. What do you bring these to me for? Sun Wukong shouted, I no longer need them, I am already the great sage equal to heaven, I do not need them anymore, and besides they are so terrible. This cape is actually purple, don't tell me you made it from the evening glow of the western heaven, it's so ugly. After Sun Wukong finished speaking he turned away and stopped looking at her. Zixia stood there in a daze for a long while, then squatted down silently, picking up the robes and armor from the ground, folding them neatly and holding them tightly against her chest. She walked step by step out of the peach garden. As she reached the edge of the clouds holding the armor tightly, tears streamed down her face. She shook her hand and let them fall from the sky. The red cloak fluttered, becoming a brilliant point in the white clouds until it finally faded away. That day Sun Wukong turned around the heavenly palace 17 or 18 times, not seeing a single shadow. Where did everyone go? He shouted. A little boy timidly walked out from the clouds. Today is the day of the Heavenly Palace Peach Conference. All the gods have gone to the Lingsha Treasure Hall for a banquet. How could I, old son, not know? People like us, the lower immortals, are not allowed to attend. Lower immortals. Sun Wukong sneered, they actually forgot about old son. They actually forgot. The little boy, seeing his fierce appearance, hurriedly hid back into the clouds. Sun Wukong headed straight for the Lingsha Treasure Hall. This day has finally come. He flew past the falling sunset palace and saw Zixia leaning against the railing outside the palace. Did they not invite you either? Sun Wukong asked, let's go drink. Zixia shook her head, why must there be a competition? I like watching the sunset here at this time, nothing else matters to me. You might as well stay and watch with me. Wait for me, I can't hold back any longer. Before Sun Wukong finished speaking he had already flown away. Zixia sighed, why do you have to hurry so much? She looked in the direction he had gone. The splendor of the sunset will not last long, after the brilliance darkness will come. But you said to wait, so I will definitely wait. She said. 9,000 years is but a moment, the day of the Peach Conference has finally returned. 9,000 years is but a fleeting moment, and the day of the Peach Banquet has finally arrived again. In the Lingsha Palace someone shouted, Who picked this peach, so small? The Queen Mother exclaimed. Ah, Yao was pulled up. The Queen Mother smiled slightly, then suddenly dashed down from her throne, thrusting the peach into Yao's face, roaring, Are you afraid of me losing face, because it's not big enough? Ah. Is it? Ah, no, your majesty, spare me. Is it did you eat it first? No I didn't I swear. I hate liars the most. Take her out and cast her down to the mortal realm. No please. Ah Yao cried desperately bowing her head until it bled staining the jade bricks red. Guanyin frowned. The Queen Mother immediately noticed her voice becoming incredibly gentle. Guanyin Bodhisattva, am I being a bit too? Actually. I'm a very amiable person. No the ground is dirty. Guanyin said. Why haven't you taken this little wench out to feed the dogs? The Queen Mother shrieked hysterically. Snap. The wine cup on Taishan Liajan's table shattered. All the deities showed expressions of pain but no one dared to cover their ears. Ah you frowned again. The Queen Mother noticed her. She walked up to the moon goddess and smiled saying, what question do you have? Her smile reminded Ayu of a wrinkled orange peel and so Ayu smiled back. The Queen Mother proudly raised her head. But at that moment Ayu stood up kneeling as she said, please your majesty spare Ayao. The Queen Mother's expression turned a deep shade of iron blue, not as a metaphor but truly iron blue. She turned to the deities and said, did you hear what she just said? No one spoke. Taishan Laojun said the moon goddess is saying. The Queen Mother glared fiercely at him and Taishan Laojun noticed his cap was beginning to emit smoke. I heard the moon goddess say your majesty is wise, may your majesty retain her youthful beauty. Taishan quickly finished in one breath. The Queen Mother smiled, everyone drink up. Taishan Laojun hurried to extinguish the fire on his cap. All the deities laughed. Ayao had been dragged out and the gods resumed their revelry while Ayu alone knelt in the center. No one allowed her to rise. Ayu was on the verge of tears. At that moment someone stood up. He walked into the hall and helped Ayu up. The laughter in the hall suddenly halted as if a duck's neck had been suddenly choked. It was Tianpeng. He smiled at Ayu helping her and Ayu gazed at Tianpeng. They exchanged knowing smiles lingering in each other's presence as they walked step by step toward the hall's exit as if there were no one else there. Dare you take a step out of the hall today? The Queen Mother roared. The two seemed not to hear her furious shout and walked out of the great hall leaning against each other. At that moment a buzzing sound suddenly echoed through the tranquil heavenly palace. Where did this fly come from? The giant spirit god asked as the heavenly king Wangmu hurriedly stuffed a peach into his mouth. But that sound came from the Queen Mother trembling with rage. Just as the great hall's door closed it was suddenly slammed open with a bang. This time it was Ayao who entered. The Queen Mother stood there in shock. The deities looked at the door and behind Ayao a figure emerged. Sun Wukong. I ate the peach so what? Can't I? Sun Wukong said, get me a chair. Then kill your dog and feed her. The muscles on the Queen Mother's face began to twitch. Get him a chair, she said through clenched teeth. A small stool was brought up and placed in a corner of the great hall. Sun Wukong kicked the stool away with one leg. Sun Wukong. Do you want to rebel? Actually I just want a suitable seat since you refuse to give me one. Sun Wukong waved his hand. The deities instinctively shrank back under the table. Suddenly the Queen Mother's throne flew into the air soaring over the deities and landing before Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong swaggered as if to sit but suddenly stood up again. No, it should be given to the injured girl to sit on. He moved the throne in front of Ayao. Ayao turned pale as if it were an electric chair. Ayao, sit down, why don't you sit? The Queen Mother smiled revealing 2 rows of teeth. Where did that bird come from? Sun Wukong looked around. The Queen Mother's face turned pale, then red, then black. Oh, what's that color-changing thing over there? Sun Wukong said. Looks like a big white potato. Ha, Ayao finally couldn't help but laugh. Once she started laughing she couldn't stop. Big white potato, color-changing big white potato, ha ha ha, color-changing big white potato, ha ha ha, Queen Mother is a color-changing big white potato. She laughed so hard she fell to the ground, pounding the ground with her hands, tears streaming down her face until finally she couldn't be understood, only seen burying her head in the ground wailing continuously. Even Sun Wukong was stunned by her laughter. Be careful not to pass out, he said. Sun Wukong. The Queen Mother finally exploded like a balloon bursting. You monkey demon. What did you say? Monkey demon. I'm the great sage equal to heaven. Standing shoulder to shoulder with the Jade Emperor, joking with you, yet you dare to call me a monkey demon. Aren't you? You are, aren't you? Do you really think you are the great sage equal to heaven? Pa. You are merely an untamed wild monkey raised in our garden. Old white potato, do you dare say that again? What did you call me? Monkey demon. Old white potato. Monkey demon. Ha ha ha. Old white potato. Ha ha ha. Monkey demon. Ayao was still laughing uncontrollably on the ground. Sun Wukong laughed wildly, suddenly shouting, raising his staff towards the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother was caught off guard watching the thick staff fly toward her, forgetting to dodge. Sun Wukong moved too quickly and no one could intervene to save the Queen Mother. At that moment something flew straight towards him. Sun Wukong swung his staff horizontally. Bang! The object shattered, glittering fragments splattering everywhere. It was a glass cup. The golden cudgel changed direction and the heavenly generals seized the opportunity. The four great heavenly kings rushed up to confront Wukong while Guangmu Duowen dragged the stunned queen mother away. Sun Wukong fought 2 against 1 as if he were playing. The 28 constellations, 9 luminaries, 12 Yuan Shan and the 5 directions of the revealer overturned the table, shouting, "Chop him." They charged forward. Sun Wukong shouted, "Good. Let's have a good fight." Revitalized, he swung his staff emitting golden light while nearly 100 celestial soldiers couldn't even get close. Occasionally someone would cry out and fly out from the formation, crashing into the wall of the Great Hall. The giant spirit god, being large, couldn't squeeze into the formation and looked from outside, but he spotted Ah Yao at a glance. At that moment she had finished laughing and was trying to get up. The giant spirit god jumped over, reaching out his huge hand and grabbing Ah Yao as if she were a chick. But he suddenly felt something flash before his eyes. Sun Wukong was already in front of him. The heavenly generals were still huddled together, shouting up, "Attack his left side, attack his lower region." The giant spirit god chuckled awkwardly. "Hey Ah Yao, you have a blade of grass in your hair, let me help you get it off." "Oh. Why can't I find it?" Sun Wukong pressed down on the giant spirit's head, spun him around with one hand, then leaped up and kicked the giant spirit god in the rear. The giant spirit god let out a loud scream as he shot into the air, heading straight for the ceiling, quickly letting go of Ah Yao, covering his head with both hands. Sun Wukong leaped up and caught Ah Yao in midair. As they landed, the giant spirit god crashed through the ceiling with a bang. Looking at Ah Yao, she was still smiling broadly in Sun Wukong's embrace. Sun Wukong tossed Ah Yao to the ground. "This little girl must be scared silly. Is there a doctor around?" Ah, the giant spirit god crashed through the ceiling again from the other side. He wasn't unable to fly, he was simply too frightened to remember. It wasn't until he crashed among the celestial soldiers that they realized Sun Wukong had disappeared. "Where's the monkey demon? Come out and die." They looked around thinking, "Please don't come out." Ah Yao was also missing. Someone reported seeing a golden light heading down to the mortal realm. Oh, the celestial soldiers all breathed a sigh of relief. Suddenly realizing that this posture was wrong, they immediately began to curse. The Queen Mother returned to the Great Hall, looking at the wreckage of the peach banquet, her nose turning red with anger. She stepped into the center and with a crunch the Queen Mother looked down to see the glass shards on the ground. Who threw my treasure, my glass cup? On the desolate, dark and burnt slope of Huaguo Mountain, Sun Wukong and Ah Yao sat there. What's wrong with me? Why can't I help myself at that moment? Why did I say those things? Why did I forget everything as soon as I acted? I thought I had turned myself into a celestial being. Sun Wukong said, patting his head. Are you regretting it? Ah Yao asked. Maybe I am destined not to become a celestial being. The Jade Emperor might not know about this. Perhaps he will invite me back. Should I go back? Sun Wukong pondered. Do you want to go back? No, I won't go back, Ah Yao stated. It's strange how I was so scared when the Queen Mother said she would cast me down to the mortal realm, as if the heavens were collapsing, but thinking back on it now, it was nothing. She stood up and jumped twice. Here I can jump whenever I want, say whatever I want, no one cares. She shouted into the distance. Oh. Really? No one cares. Her face was filled with joyful radiance. You won't be so happy in a moment. Sun Wukong grabbed a handful of ash as if recalling something troubling. A long rumble echoed from the dark sky, rolling from the east to the west. Is it thunder? Ah Yao asked. If it rains, little grass will grow here, right? That's the sound of the heavenly war chariots gathering. Sun Wukong continued to stare at the soil in his hand, sprinkling the dust little by little onto the ground. They are coming, little girl, you should leave. No. I want to be with you. Roll. Sun Wukong shouted, don't get in the way of my business. You've caused me to become a demon again. I don't want to see you anymore. Is it bad to be a demon? I'll be a demon with you. Sun Wukong tapped the ground and a few demons emerged from the earth. My king, you finally returned. We've been waiting for your orders for so long. The king has returned. The king has returned. The ground began to shake, a rumbling sound echoed from below and thousands of demons crawled out from the ground. Ah Yao was stunned. Look who it is. Sun Wukong, the beautiful monkey king, he's back. We are saved, an old demon shouted, raising his arms. Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong, Sun Wukong. Millions of demons chanted, their voices reaching the skies. The sky was filled with countless rumbling thunders colliding with the shouts from below with not a whisper of wind, yet the air trembled. Ah Yao was too scared to move. You all disperse, Sun Wukong said. What? The demon horde asked. Disperse. My king, how many years have we waited for this battle? I said disperse. This is my personal grudge with the heavenly court, a matter between celestial beings. It has nothing to do with you demons. Sun Wukong looked up at the sky. Ha! Is it? Is it? Is it your business as celestial beings? Sun Wukong, did you actually say that? Are you really Sun Wukong? The old demon asked. I am the great sage equal to heaven Sun Wukong, not the demon king Sun Wukong. The old demon took 2 steps back. Great sage equal to heaven Sun Wukong. Yes, the first celestial demon war killed 100,000 demons. You became a stable horseman Sun Wukong. The second celestial demon war killed 1,000,000 demons. You became the great sage equal to heaven Sun Wukong. That's right. I old Sun am a natural stone monkey but unfortunately born among demons. I have disliked your kind since I was young. Becoming immortal is my lifelong wish. How could I associate with you demons and ruin my reputation? If it weren't for your grace in allowing me to erase my name from the death book, I would want to kill you right now, the old demon shouted. Oof. That's the thing I regret the most, acting on a whim and bringing out these old undead creatures. The old demon jumped into the horde of demons. Did you hear what this monkey said? He is now a celestial being. Let's not recognize the wrong person. Everyone, let's go. Don't make it difficult for us who are still waiting for him in Huagua Mountain. Everyone should find their own way to survival. The demons began to murmur, their voices buzzing throughout Huagua Mountain, and then the demon horde gradually dispersed, countless demons scattering like an ant swarm in all directions. The buzzing noise lessened, eventually disappearing. Take this little girl away. Throw her far away. Sun Wukong grabbed Ah Yao and placed her on a demon's back. If you dare eat her, I'll take your life. No, I don't want to go. Ah Yao struggled on the demon's back as she was taken away. A few hours later, the 1,000,000 demons had vanished without a trace, like a cloud blown away by the wind. Sun Wukong watched the demons leave, sighing in relief. Huagua Mountain, when will it be able to grow flowers and fruits again? But the seeds have already been scattered across the world. He grabbed a handful of the black soil, a childlike smile appearing on his face. The thunder from the horizon was drawing nearer. Sun Wukong leaned against a scorched tree, quietly waiting. At that moment, the dark sky was suddenly split open by a huge flash of lightning. Sun Wukong leaped up, pointing the golden cudgel at the sky. Come on. In that moment, illuminated by the electric light, his figure remained frozen in legend for thousands of years. When the heroes grow in the iron cradle, their brave hearts shall like before visit the omnipotent deities. Yet before that, I often feel that rather than wandering alone, it is better to sleep peacefully. After the great battle in the heavenly palace. Tianping, do you know your crime? The Jade Emperor asked. I know, for I supported the one I love, hence I am guilty. No. You conspired with the demon. Someone saw you secretly meeting with Sun Wukong in the galaxy. Ha ha ha, Tianping laughed. If you want to kill me, go ahead. It's very boring to bring up such nonsense. Conspiring with demons, what crime is that according to the law? The Jade Emperor avoided Tianping's gaze to look at the civil and military deities below. Tai Bai Jinxing stepped forward. Old man, you decide what crime it should be. Nonsense. Am I the heavenly emperor who does not follow the law? I understand now. This conspiracy with demons can be light or serious, punishable by promotion, amnesty, exile, or even the death penalty. Can I still get promoted? How would I not know? Didn't Sun Wukong get promoted? And you say that I nearly forgot to settle the score with you over this matter. I deserve to die 1,000 deaths. I humbly request to be thrown into a vat of wine to drown to have fun wine. Pa quit pretending. Quickly say what punishment Tianping should receive according to the law. This person's situation is particularly severe and the impact is extremely bad, therefore death penalty. The Jade Emperor shook his head. Ah. How about exile? The Jade Emperor shook his head. After all, he is a high official in the heavenly palace, blessed by heaven. Let's grant him amnesty. The Jade Emperor shook his head. This. Tianping infiltrated the enemy ranks, obtained important intelligence, and suggested being promoted to the Grand Marshal of the Heavenly Army. The Jade Emperor still shook his head. Old man, is your neck itchy? Let this old minister scratch it for you. The pitiful Tai Bai Jinxing was nearly on the verge of collapse, starting to talk nonsense. Nonsense. The Jade Emperor shouted angrily. Fool, must I personally state it? The death penalty is too lenient for this brat. It doesn't sit well. But is there anything harsher? I do think. The Jade Emperor beckoned and Tai Bai Jinxing leaned in closer. Tianping watched as they snickered while glancing at him, clenching his teeth tightly. Tianping, the grace of heaven is vast. We will not kill you but only cast you down to the mortal realm. You should be grateful. Tai Bai Jinxing said with a smile. Bring you up here, let them say their goodbyes. The Jade Emperor said with a cold smile. The moon goddess walked slowly in a white gauze dress, her expression reminiscent of the chilly moonlit sky. Whenever you are always so beautiful. Tianping said with a smile. You choked, saying, I want you to remember my most beautiful appearance. I promise you, as long as I do not die, I will surely come to see you. You will go to the lower realms and forget everything. You will no longer remember me. I will not forget. I will never forget. You must forget me, that way you will be much happier. Yu stepped forward and kissed him gently on the forehead. Her hand, however, placed a red pill into Tianping's mouth. Swallow it and you will forget everything. She retreated. Forget me, forever forget me, and turned to flee. Tianping watched her disappear into the mist. A celestial general brought a girl forward who turned out to be a Yao. Reporting to the Jade Emperor while patrolling Flower Fruit Mountain, I found her alone on the mountain not knowing what she was searching for. Isn't this a Yao? The Jade Emperor said, a hint of a smile at the corner of his mouth. You little girl, why do you want to become a demon? If you tell me where those remaining demons have fled, I will grant you a return to the heavenly realm. A Yao surprisingly remained calm, the fear disappearing from her face. Just now I was with a group of demons. They spoke all sorts of foul language. I have never heard those words before, and there was one phrase I also have never heard. They asked me what I wanted to do in the future. It was the first time I heard someone ask me what I wanted to do. At that moment I understood why those demons were willing to starve on the ground, for no one said the word bestow to them, nor did they rely on bestow to survive. Hey, a day on the ground, the heavenly realm is but a moment. What on earth did Sun Wukong use to entice a pure and innocent fairy into the sinful earth? A Yao, how innocent and lovely you once were. Now that you have become like this, my heart truly aches. The Jade Emperor feigned a sorrowful expression. What was that phrase they said? A Yao pondered with her finger on her chin for a long time. Oh, shut your bird mouth. No, there was no please in it. I can't learn it well. Who is it? Who laughed? The Jade Emperor shouted, regardless of decorum. Of course no one spoke. Every celestial being was earnestly pretending to be in mourning. What are these? Suddenly someone said. It was Tianping, who was about to be thrown into the punishment well. A Yao turned to see him, startled. Tears welled up in her eyes. These are celestial beings, she replied with tears in her eyes. Oh, celestial beings. As Tianping fell down, he laughed to the sky. In midair he saw another person falling down from the heavenly realm, resembling a Yao. She was like a falling leaf blown by the wind toward the distant sky. As the clouds and mist cleared, Tianping saw the scenery of the mortal realm. It was a peaceful little mountain village. Closer. A day later, a mother pig in the village pen looked in astonishment at the newly born piglet, while the other piglets nestled inside her. Only that one swayed unsteadily and tried to squeeze out. Suddenly, with a puff, the piglet forcefully spat something out of its mouth. It was a red pill. The Heavenly Palace's demon-subduing pillar asked what happened to that demon monkey. Reporting to the Jade Emperor after enduring 50,000 lightning strikes, that monkey is still not dead. Ling Qi. Reporting. After 3,000 cuts, the demon monkey is still alive. Burn it. Reporting. He is still alive. Send 300 heavenly wolves to bite him. 300 heavenly eagles to peck him. Is the monkey still not dead? Reporting. That monkey has been torn apart. Very good. But what? He is still not dead. Ah. The Jade Emperor stood up in shock. Why can't he die? Guanyin, who was beside him, smiled slightly. This is the spirit monkey created by the heavens and earth. As long as his heart does not die, he cannot be killed. I don't believe that there is something in this world that I, the Heavenly Emperor, cannot kill. I will keep torturing him until he dies. Perhaps there is a way to make him die. Guanyin said. Zixia was brought before the Jade Emperor. Guanyin has already spoken to you. Do you know what you should do? Zixia remained silent. Guanyin said from behind her, when you see his appearance you will understand that you cannot let him live. Go. The Jade Emperor said. Zixia walked forward step by step. She did not dare to look up, counting her steps carefully. 100 steps, and she was close to him. She saw blood flowing down to her feet. She heard a familiar voice say to her, "Hi, you have come." Zixia suddenly looked up and saw, in front of her was a copper cast high platform with a huge pillar reaching the sky. At the foot of the pillar there was a half-bloody and half-charred corpse. The bones and flesh had separated, no longer human in form. Only in one place were two bright beads remaining, radiating a familiar joyful light. I knew you would definitely come. The corpse said. Zixia just stared at him for a long time, then she said, "Were you waiting for me?" Waiting for you? No, I just thought you would come. The monkey was a little flustered. He said, "That day I promised you that when the peach tree returned I would watch the sunset with you. I really like the sea of Flower Fruit Mountain. I often look there, at the sun, as the sun sets, actually. I was thinking to say, wait for you, and tell you Flower Fruit Mountain, the sunset there, is very..." Blood flowed down from his head, dripping into his moving mouth, yet each of his words was so clear, his eyes shining with hope. "You're holding on just to tell me this?" Zixia said. "Actually, there's more I always wanted to tell you. Your dream is real. I've seen such a squirrel that loves to watch the sunset on tree branches. I'm not a squirrel, I am transformed from the clouds of the west heaven. That was just a dream." Zixia said while looking at. She suddenly raised her voice. "Sun Wukong, what do you think you are? Look at what you are now. You're like a pile of mud. I don't like you like this. I hate you. That day I said I liked you, it was merely to anger the great spirit god. I am a celestial being of the heavenly palace. I cannot be with a monkey. You are a demon. You are not a celestial being. You are not. Do you remember? We are forever different." "What are you talking about?" I didn't mean that," the corpse said. "Are you still dreaming? Are you still thinking about the sunset in the sky? You have already lost your life, lost everything. Wake up before you die. Always remember your name. You are Sun Wukong, the Monkey King. Sun Wukong. Do not fantasize about being with a fairy, for Sun Wukong cannot achieve fruition. She leaned toward Sun Wukong, looking into his bleeding eyes. You must remember, the sky of Flower Fruit Mountain is actually a darkness where the sunset cannot be seen. The monkey fell silent. The entire sky held its breath to watch. So it turns out it is like this, the Monkey King Sun Wukong said. Do you understand? Have you really understood? Zixia asked. It is like this, like this. The lights in those eyes began to slowly dim. Ultimately they completely disappeared and the corpse truly turned into a lifeless shell. The Demon King is dead. All the celestial beings in the heavenly realm cheered. Take his remains to my alchemy furnace, that is a gathering of spiritual energy. I will use it to refine an elixir. Taishan Laojun shouted. Several celestial generals pushed past Zixia and went to move Sun Wukong's remains. What are you holding on to? Even in this state you still won't let go. I can't pry it open. Don't worry about it, just take it to be refined. The celestial generals carried the remains past Zixia. Zixia saw clearly that on the withered hand something was tightly grasped. It was a purple scarf. In the darkness a familiar figure seemed to emerge, faintly hearing a familiar voice igniting a flame in the darkness. On the ancient pottery jar, legends about us had long been told. Yet you still keep asking if this is worth it. Certainly the fire will extinguish in the wind, the peaks will collapse at dawn, merging into the river of night that embraces the funeral. The bitter fruit of love will fall when it ripens. Here and now, as long as there is a sunset to crown us, what follows is of little consequence, that long night, the turning in silent moments. 500 years later. A white figure gracefully swept through the black night like a silver streak in the deep sea. In the forest of all spirits in the human realm. Little White, have you gone back home? Been gone for so long. Zhu Bajie said, I have turned down hundreds of beautiful girls' invitations waiting for you. They all thought I was waiting for some peerless beauty, but it turned out to be a little dirty horse. Keep dreaming. What about masters? Body. Xiao Bailong asked. Master. Oh. You mean the bald head? It's. Where did it go? Yesterday it still had 2 legs here. Zhu Bajie, you bastard. How could you? Oh, what a decline in morals, even a horse can curse. Ha! Can a horse cry too? I ask you, what do you want the bald head's body for? Just a stinky skin attracting flies to buzz around me all day. Those little beauties all think I old pig don't bathe, it's so unfair. I travel day and night, never resting for a moment, hoping to return as soon as possible, but Xiao Bailong couldn't continue. Even if you are a 1,000-mile horse you can't catch up with his soul. Why bother? You must want to use the bald head's body as a souvenir, right? Let me tell you a major secret I discovered. After a person dies they don't look as good as when they were alive. When he was alive you didn't want him, now that he's dead you cry. They're even more straightforward than those female demons. I don't believe he just died like that. He must be able to come back. Didn't Sun Wukong go look for his soul? Sun Wukong. If he could come back he would have done so long ago. He must have run into a female monkey somewhere and is living a happy life. I, old pig, also want to find my happy life. You never think of anything else, just beauties or female pigs. Then what do you think about all day in that little horse's head? Letting a lover ride on you is also preferable, right? Zhu Bajie, you know I was punished to become a white horse for not marrying into the heavenly court. It wasn't my choice. Then how coincidental that day the bald head said he needed a horse and you came running. Sorry, I shouldn't curse in front of a girl. I always forget your gender in horse form. None of your business. Don't come at me with that. Being with you 3 rascals has made me learn all sorts of dirty words. Don't do that, if your father sees you like this he will be heartbroken. Wah! Zhu Bajie, don't do this, your sudden gentleness scares me. Sigh, back in the day I, old pig, was also once gentle. Ha ha ha. Xiao Bailong suddenly laughed through tears. Pig. Even pig was gentle. Ha ha ha. Is this joke funny? This is old pig's signature joke, no girl can resist laughing. He couldn't help but look up at the sky above. A dark shadow loomed with no moon in sight. We've caught the demon monkey. Cheers echoed in the heavenly palace as the gods celebrated a festive occasion. Zixia stood on a cloud looking at the surrounded heavenly palace, her face calm, revealing no hint of her emotions. What do you want this for? I am already the great sage equal to heaven, I no longer need them. In those days Sun Wukong roared, this scarf is actually purple. Don't tell me you made it from the rosy clouds of the west. Why, having lost 500 years ago, must I still lose 500 years later? When have I ever escaped the grasp of heaven? Zixia left the gathering of the gods, walking alone to a corner of the heavenly realm. She arrived at that edge of the clouds again. You wait here, old son, we'll be right back. She heard that voice again. I waited 500 years, but he no longer needed me to wait. She thought, when I turn around there will no longer be him in this world. She gazed at the sea of clouds for a long time, finally making up her mind to turn around. Little girl crying here again. A familiar voice said, a pair of eyes smiling at her. Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong stood there as if he had never left for 500 years. He was still holding a peach to nibble on, his smile unchanged since 500 years ago, untouched by the trials of time. Sun Wukong. Zixia stared at him for a while and asked. You know I'm asking this on purpose. You remember who I am. Aren't you a Yao? Haha, are you angry? Is it that important to call the wrong name? Is who you are that important? Didn't you go to the Western Heaven? Western Heaven. Haha, where is the Western Heaven? Old Sun got so happy that he turned heaven upside down and this became the Western Heaven. Didn't you cause a ruckus in Lingxiao Palace and get captured? Ha, Old Sun hasn't been caught since being reborn from the alchemy furnace 500 years ago. Zixia suddenly felt her heart in turmoil. The memories of 500 years were now a complete mess. Which ones were real and which were not? Did Sun Wukong really die? Were the words he said to her true or just her imagination? That skeletal hand really held that purple scarf. Yet Sun Wukong looked around the heavenly realm. Haven't been here for 500 years. It's still so gloomy and stifling. I'm bored. I want to open a skylight to let in some fresh air. He stretched out his hand and the golden staff transformed into a beam of golden light piercing the heavens. Boom! The heavenly court shook. A large hole was broken in the heavenly dome and fire flowed down from there, igniting the sky. Zixia was stunned since Nuwa patched up the sky. It had never cracked before. Fresh air, such fresh air like the sea breeze by Huagua Mountain. Haha, Zixia, can you smell it? Sun Wukong laughed wildly. Sun Wukong, you've gone mad. This will cause great disasters for the three realms. Ha ha ha. Let this broken heaven and earth burn. Sun Wukong roared, fire. What a big fire. Suddenly he began to sob, covering his head. Fire. Don't burn my Huagua Mountain. He seemed to be going insane. When he raised his head again, Zixia saw the firelight reflecting red in Sun Wukong's eyes, his expression exceedingly fierce. On the other side, the gods in the heavenly palace were already shouting in chaos. What happened? Tai Bai Jingxing shouted. It must be that Taishan Lao Jun finished with the furnace and didn't pay attention. See, it's burning. When that monkey was resurrected 500 years ago, it was this big of a fire. Julie God shouted. It's not me. Taishan shouted, this fire. This fire. Ah. Ah. Look up in the sky. The gods looked up and suddenly there was a chorus of screams. The Queen Mother fainted on the spot. Sun Wukong smiled cheerfully. He turned to Zixia and said, fun, isn't it? The fire shot into the sky, but Zixia felt a chill run through her. Sun Wukong looked at her. Do you know what's beyond the heavens? Zixia hugged herself and shook her head. Sun Wukong said, I don't know either. It's strange why no one thought to open it up and take a look before. The fire grew larger, yet the heavenly palace grew colder. In the forest of all spirits in the human realm. What's happening? Xiao Bai Long looked up at the sky. Zhu Bajie raised his head to look. The eastern sky was a deep red, flowing like fresh blood across the heavens. The ever-expanding dome was stained, so cold. Xiao Bai Long said. In the fiery sky, snow began to fall. I've only seen such a scene once before, Zhu Bajie said, 500 years ago. Ah, countless demons' howls echoed in the forest of all spirits. In the heavenly palace. Quick, summon Buddha Tathagata. The Jade Emperor leaned out from beneath the Lingxiao Palace, shouting hoarsely. Old man. The monkey jumped over and grabbed his collar. Why do you only know this one phrase? 500 years and you still haven't improved at all. I'm so disappointed in you. With a flick of his hand, the Jade Emperor was tossed into the air. Everything was just like 500 years ago. But someone jumped out to catch the Jade Emperor. That was Sha Wujing. You're something good. The Jade Emperor said, what were you doing? I must reward you. Sha Wujing repeatedly bowed and said, Your Majesty, I have only one wish, to return to the heavenly realm. Oh. So you broke the heavenly law. The Jade Emperor sneered. But have you atoned for your sins? Sha Wujing trembled as he took out the cracked glazed lamp from his bosom. To save the Queen Mother back then, in a moment of desperation, I lost the glazed lamp and was punished to descend to the mortal realm. I searched day and night for the scattered glazed shards in the world and finally repaired it. Only one piece is missing. Oh. You managed to find that back and piece the broken lamp together. That's impressive. I searched for 500 years in the mortal realm. If it weren't for my task to monitor the journey to the West travelers, I could have. What did you just say? You said I. I was wrong, I meant I. No. Sha Seng dashed up to catch the lamp fuse just in time. A group of heavenly soldiers rushed to fight with Sun Wukong trampling over Sha Seng, blood flowing. Sun Wukong is coming, quickly stop him. Sha Wujing raised his staff to block but was knocked away by the monkey's stick, sending the glazed lamp flying into the air. No. Sha Seng dashed up to catch the lamp fuse just in time. A group of heavenly soldiers rushed to fight with Sun Wukong trampling over Sha Seng, blood flowing from the corner of Sha Seng's mouth, yet he tightly protected the lamp in his arms. Only one piece left after 500 years. Heavenly Realm's prison tower. A massive chain stirred slightly. Pain. Headache. You cannot pry it open nor can you break it, for it is not an object, it is your own bondage. Tang Sang's voice: I cannot help you remove it, it is rooted in your heart in a place I cannot find. I assure you I have not recited anything. Do you still wish to kill us in the future? You dead monk need not deceive me. Why whenever I think of hitting you it hurts. I can't even think about it. Can't I even think about it? Abandon the desires in your heart and you will find peace immediately. You must struggle against your own selfish thoughts, do not doubt, never doubt. Tang Sang pondered. The only thing that can save you is belief. Put it on and you will be free. Put it on. You will be free. Guanyin said, do you not wish to escape from Wuxing Mountain? Do you not want to believe anymore? Believe one more time. Is he Sun Wukong? Many voices asked. Yes, the Sun Wukong who caused chaos in heaven 500 years ago. Is this really Sun Wukong? Is he behaving now? Look at that foolish look, what are you staring at? Sun Wukong, someone called, holding up his purple gold gourd. I am not Sun Wukong. I am. Is the traveler's son also absorbing? As long as a person cannot let go of themselves they will be bound by my magic. Jin Zhao said with a smile. But how can I forget who I am? Sun Wukong. Who called me? Sun Wukong responded. He was fully awake. Before him was a vast dark space illuminated only by a few flames. He saw Wan Yen entangled in the enormous chains throughout the space, twisted and tangled with no beginning or end. A surge of pain shot through him as something pierced his ribcage, making it impossible to channel energy or breathe. Gradually his vision cleared and a long-nosed celestial being stood before him. Are you really Sun Wukong? He asked. That should be correct. What do you mean that should be correct? The person became angry. If you are Sun Wukong, then what is that outside? At this moment a voice rang out, Muin, you may step back. Guanyin emerged from the darkness. Sun Wukong, long time no see, how is your body? Guanyin. Just in time, please remove the crown from my head. You have yet to atone for your past sins and you have broken heavenly laws, yet you wish to remove the golden hoop. You can say whatever you want, you can cut off my head, but remember to remove the crown from my head as well. Back then you also died, yet you were resurrected in the alchemy furnace, weren't you? If it were not for Tathagata. What are you talking about? I don't understand. What alchemy furnace? What Tathagata? Yes, I misspoke. Sun Wukong, heaven has bestowed upon you the grace of transformation. Your heart still holds Buddha nature, thus heaven grants you the opportunity to ensure Tang Sang achieves enlightenment. Why did you kill Tang Sang and rebel against heaven? I told you it wasn't me who killed the bald monk. If you don't believe me, there's nothing I can do. Is there anything else? No, old son wants to sleep. Please remember to close the door when you leave. Sun Wukong, heaven see that you still have a hint of Buddha nature in your heart, so they give you another chance. Go. Are you annoying, playing tricks on me? Sun Wukong. Guanyin looked at him. Do you really not want to attain enlightenment again? No. Do you really not want to know who killed Tang Sang and framed you? No. Do you really not want to remove the golden hoop? The massive chains began to tremble slightly. Sun Wukong saw the purple gold crown and golden armor once more. This outfit suits me well, he said. That is the attire of the great sage equal to heaven from back then, said the fairy holding the battle boots and jade belt. Who is the great sage equal to heaven? That's you. That's the one you are going to kill. A guy who dared to stir chaos in heaven, he must die. The Supreme Lord spoke from the side. Sun Wukong donned the battle boots woven from lightning captured in the dark clouds. Sun Wukong fastened the cloak dyed red from the rising sun. What else? He extended his hand. Nothing more, the fairy replied. Nothing more. Oddly, he felt that this outfit was missing something. Sun Wukong thought. He waved the Rui Jingu Bang in his hand and walked out of the great hall. When he looked up, he saw a face in the distance identical to his own, laughing wildly as a storm swirled behind him and the sky sweeping the blood-red flames in all directions. Before that, Sun Wukong, various celestial beings waved their weapons yet only shouted and dared not approach. The scene seemed familiar. A faint cold smile also appeared on Sun Wukong's face. The clamor of the celestial beings suddenly quieted down. They looked forward and then backward. On either side of the god stood two stone monkeys with identical postures and expressions, as if the sky had been split in two, reflecting one half in the other. The giant spirit god carefully searched among the group of divine generals for himself. He did not transform into two, thus believing there was no giant mirror raised in the sky. Who are you? Sun Wukong shouted. This voice was swept into the swirling wind from outside the heavens, spiraling in the air several times, tearing apart and then merging again at high altitude, rolling from one side to the other. Thus voices arose from all directions. Who are you? Sun Wukong suddenly felt he was speaking to a shadow. Perhaps he should not question but rather shatter that mirror if it existed. Why do you want to take on my old son's appearance? Sun Wukong questioned again. There was no answer from the opposite side as the biting wind swept a large mass of white feathers which turned out to be snow. For a moment the figure opposite had become blurry, but Sun Wukong distinctly sensed the cold mockery on the face identical to his own. "Ah!" he shouted, charging toward the shadow in the blizzard. The celestial beings hurried to gather and watch, but as the blizzard engulfed them it swallowed the two figures. The sound of metal clashing resounded in the sky, shaking the heart and resonating between heaven and earth. In the forest of 10,000 spirits in the human realm, the little white dragon knelt on the ground watching the heavy snow cover Tang Sanzang's grave into a white mound, blending it into the white expanse of earth. The sky is about to collapse and the world is likely to perish. If heaven and earth cease to exist, where will we go? John Lu, will there be a place where you wait for me? John Lu, that's a nice name. Who is he? By the name he seems better than the bald guy you like now, Zhu Bajie said. John Lu is the master, the Xianzang, the bald guy you refer to. Is that so? Alas, why must a person have so many names? Just like me, old pig, you can't find me, just shop pig. Who wants to be the only pig that knows what a pig is? A pig is just a pig, but people are different. The John Lu I saw before is not the same as the Tang Sang now. The former was like a free-flowing stream, but now it resembles an unfathomable lake. It's more like a stagnant mire that cannot flow anymore. Always wearing a bad expression as if everyone owed him 800 taels of silver. The most annoying is that they named me Zhu Ba. It's Zhu Bajie. He never says Jia. He seems to dislike the name given by Guanyin, and he always calls me useless. But he doesn't even like the name he gave himself. I don't know what he really likes. He seems to not even like himself. You are better off just call me pig directly. He was not like this before. He used to look at everything with a smile as if looking at a friend. Perhaps the road to the west is too bitter and you all have trouble getting along with him. We are merely responsible for completing the task, just like a constable delivering a prisoner to their destination. We just hand over the task and leave. Is there any need to develop feelings with the prisoner? But you are prisoners too. Besides, the master who among us is not sent by heaven. So we cannot bear to see him. Although he hasn't been commanded by heaven to atone for his sins, I see that his heart seems heavier than each of ours. The little white dragon sighed deeply. Alas, they say upon reaching the west one achieves complete merit, but no one tells us where the west is. When I was born, my mother didn't tell me the meaning of a pig's life. I was pondering deeply when I looked and saw that the other brothers had already rushed to occupy the Tita and understood what true foolishness was. Zhu Bajie, you. Zhu Bajie stretched out his hand to cover her mouth and looked up at the sky. Look, the snow is burning. The dragon must go to the sea and the pig must ascend to heaven. What the devil is this place? Asked Sun Wukong. He had been about to strike the impostor with all his might when he burst through the wind and snow and everything before his eyes changed. Where was the heavenly palace, the gods, the vile-robed fairies? And the impostor? Before him lay a beautiful towering mountain. 1,000 peaks stood like raised halberds, 10,000 cliffs spread like a painted screen. The sunlight gently veiled the mountain's verdant hues and mist. The rain-washed slopes held a cool dark green. Withered vines clung to ancient trees. An old fairy marked the boundary of a secluded path. Strange flowers and auspicious herbs grew alongside tall bamboos and lofty pines. These towering pines and bamboos, evergreen for millennia, rivaled the blessed lands. The exotic flowers and herbs blooming through all seasons surpassed the immortal isles. The calls of hidden birds drew near. The sound of a clear spring trickled close. Layer upon layer of valleys and ravines were entwined with orchids and iris. Every steep cliff was covered in moss. Where have I seen this scenery before? Sun Wukong wondered. The wind blew down from the mountain carrying a fresh coolness and the faint sound of singing. Watching the chess game where the axe handle rots, chopping wood with a ding-ding, strolling slowly by the cloud-shrouded valley mouth, selling firewood to buy wine, laughing wildly, lost in my own joy. On the cool path in the deep autumn I pillow my head on a pine root facing the moon and sleep until dawn. Recognizing my old forest I climb cliffs and cross ridges, wielding my axe to cut withered vines. Gathering them into a single load I walk and sing through the market, trading them for 3 pints of rice. I have no trace of contention, the market prices are always fair. I scheme not nor calculate. Free from honor or disgrace I live a simple prolonged life. Wherever I meet someone they are either an immortal or a sage. We sit quietly and discuss the Yellow Court Classic. Sun Wukong felt as if the wind had blown right through his body, sweeping away the stifling anger of his long arduous years. He had just been ready to fight to the death with someone, but now he couldn't even remember why. Sun Wukong, who is Sun Wukong? Who is Sun Wukong? What does it matter? I am simply myself. As he looked at this green mountain he felt as if he were once again the little monkey leaping through the wild hills. Seized by a sudden impulse he broke into a run, whooping and waving his arms, dashing towards the mountain. He left his golden cudgel forgotten on the ground. He roamed through the forest, but the singer was nowhere to be seen. The song lingered in the emerald woods, echoing among every leaf as if it were the mountain itself singing. The grass gave off a damp, refreshing scent. Sun Wukong found the fragrance familiar as if it reminded him of something, but the feeling was like the scent itself. You knew it existed, yet it was nowhere to be found. Sun Wukong walked through the forest, his feet on soft fallen leaves and creeping vines. After a moment's thought he kicked off his boots and walked barefoot on the damp earth. A cool sensation rose from the soles of his feet. The ground beneath him seemed alive, the tiny blades of grass tickling his feet. A smile appeared on Sun Wukong's face. He suddenly turned a somersault, landing on his hands, feeling the warmth of the soil. The tender grass felt like the soft fur of a little monkey. He turned another somersault, this time landing flat on his back. But the earth caught him gently. The floors of the heavenly court were all cold hard brick, while the road to the western paradise was nothing but mud. Why had he always been in places like those? Sun Wukong lay on the ground, the scent of grass filling his every sense. He began to feel an itch all over. He leaped up, tore off his clothes and ran naked through the forest, shouting and jumping in wild abandon. He kept going until he was exhausted and fell to the ground, feeling his body merging with the grass. Why am I like this? He muttered to himself. Because you were always a monkey. Suddenly a pair of large eyes appeared above him, blinking twice. Sun Wukong flipped backward and jumped up, staring at the creature. The large eyes, startled, leaped away. It was a squirrel. Sun Wukong felt for his golden cudgel but found it missing. A great panic seized him and he grew angry. What are you looking for? The squirrel asked, blinking its big eyes. Scram! I've lost something very important. All your parts are still here, aren't they? I don't see anything missing, the squirrel said, scratching its head with a tiny paw. What do you know? Old Sun has never been without it. Were you born with it? Well, I can't remember. Maybe. What's it for? Nothing much. Just for killing people. Do you kill squirrels too? If I felt like it. Why would you want to kill me? For instance, because you talk too much. But if you killed me, you'd have no one to talk to. You'd be bored. Ha! You're quite considerate of me. I was locked in the dark Five-Peak Mountain for 500 years with no one to talk to. I stopped caring about it long ago. 500 years with no one to talk to. How awful. If I had known, I would have come to keep you company. If I could live for 500 years. Keep me company. Ha! Why? Why? Does keeping someone company need a reason? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? Oh, I'm just discussing it with you, don't be mad. I'm only 1 year old and I really want to discuss things with people. There are so many things in this world that we can happily talk about, aren't there? Yes, 1,000 times yes. I'm actually discussing this kind of thing with a 1-year-old squirrel. If anyone finds out, they'll laugh their teeth out. I'm the monkey who's going to achieve the true fruit and make heaven and earth tremble. Why do you want to make heaven and earth tremble? Because I like it. What's it to you? But I like jumping in the trees and on the ground. And if I look up and see the blue sky, I'm even happier. Don't you? Jumping in the trees. Sun Wukong leaped to a treetop. And on the ground. He jumped down and bounced a few times. And then look up at the sky. How come I always feel like some kind of idiot bird when I do that? Yes. I have a good friend named Idiot Bird. He's always cheerful. He was supposed to fly south for the winter, but I hoped he'd stay and play with me, so he decided not to go. He'll freeze to death. Poof. No, he won't. He'll let him use my burrow. Then you'll freeze to death instead. It's the same. Why? Why must one freeze? Can't I just not die? No. You think you can just decide not to die? On what grounds? Then what have I been struggling for all these years? The squirrel drooped her large eyelids, looking a little dejected. But then a glint of light shone in her eyes again. I heard that all things have a soul. When they get tired of one form, they die and become another. Is that right? If that's the case, I want to become. That's not for you to decide. You might become a bird or a stone. Maybe you'll become a colorful cloud on the horizon. Maybe you'll become a broken clay pot. Can't I become whatever I want? Only in your dream. But someone can. Who? Subhuti. Subhuti. Sounds like a fruit that grows on a tree. Hey, sometimes he really is. He can turn into anything to talk to you. Or rather, he is something like that exists. I'd like to see him. If he's a demon, you'll smash him with one blow and earn some merit points. Merit? What's that? How would you understand? Becoming an immortal or a Buddha all depends on it. I want to become an immortal or a Buddha too. How do I earn merit points? There are many ways. Releasing captured animals earns points and killing demons earns points too. Aren't demons living beings? But demons weren't created by the gods. They were born from nature. Then who created the gods? The gods. Maybe they've existed since heaven and earth began. And who created heaven and earth? You're very annoying. Heaven and earth were created by Pangu. Then who created Pangu? Pangu was born from an egg. Then who laid that egg? You're asking me, but who am I supposed to ask? When old Sun was born from a rock, how was I supposed to know which damn person put that rock there? Well, I want to ask who laid the egg. I want to ask if Panga wasn't created by the gods, then was he a demon? So were the gods all created by demons? Ha! This! Ha 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 ha! How did I never think of that? The gods were created by demons. Ha 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 ha! The squirrel scratched its head. Are you laughing at me? Oh, I know. When the squirrel thinks, the monkey laughs. But I still can't help thinking about it. Damn it, what squirrel and monkey? Who told you all this nonsense? Subhuti did. I want to see him more and more. Where is he? I can't really say. He says the path to meet him is different for different people. Pa. I bet he's got enemies and is hiding out with a bunch of escape tunnels dug under his house. So how do you see him? Sometimes he turns into a fruit on a tree and talks to me. Other times when I want to find him, I just burrow down from the hole in my tree. That fellow really is a rabbit, just as I guessed. Take me there now. But the path I take might not be the one you take. Less of your nonsense. Lead the way. It's right here. The squirrel pointed at the dark gaping tree hole. Sun Wukong shook his body, transformed into a beam of light, and shot straight into the hole, disappearing into the darkness. The squirrel scratched its head again. Why was he in such a hurry? She leaned into the hole and shouted, "Remember to come back here and talk to me later. I'll be waiting for you." Once inside the hole, Sun Wukong found that he had suddenly vanished. Yes, he could no longer feel his body, nor could he use any of his magical powers. The darkness had no boundaries, and neither did he. His sense of touch stretched out endlessly, but it touched only nothing. Suddenly a voice came, sounding like the squirrel's. "Monkey, you must come back, and not a monkey in the great sage heavens equals Sun Wukong." He shouted, but his voice only echoed in his own mind. Yet the squirrel's voice also rang clearly in his head. "Who did you say you are? You're just a monkey." "No, I'm not. I am. Who am I?" he thought. He fell deeper and deeper into the darkness until his consciousness faded completely. It was like the tinkling sound of celestial music or dewdrops falling from a leaf into a mountain pool. Leaves shifting in color fluttered lightly through the air, crossing the boundary between sky and water. They became a fish, then transformed into a human figure, misty as a shadow with hair flowing like the wind. In a blink it vanished, leaving only a lingering song singing of the vastness of the world. From the depths of time and space came the faint sound of myriad voices in harmony, which then turned into the wild laughter of spirits. The sky has no edge, no boundary. The heart is a garden, yet also a wilderness. Time vanishes in the blooming of flowers. The dance never stops. I offer you a cloud-like gauze. Dare you, are you willing to fly across the endless sky together? He saw it, the world within a grain of sand. Rosy clouds scattered like the sun, and moon swayed with brilliance. 1,000 ancient cypresses, 10,000 tall bamboos. The 1,000 ancient cypresses green and misty in the rain, the 10,000 tall bamboos dark and lush in the haze. Outside the gate strange flowers formed a brocade by the bridge, jade grass gave off a fragrant scent. The rugged stone cliffs were moist with green moss, the overhanging walls were covered with long emerald lichen. The cranes cried out from time to time, and the phoenixes were often seen soaring. When the cranes cried, their voices reached the highest heavens. When the phoenixes soared, their feathers shone with 5-colored clouds. Black apes and white deer appeared and disappeared, while golden lions and jade elephants roamed freely. "Where is this?" asked Sun Wukong. "Where is this?" another voice suddenly asked. Sun Wukong turned his head. Ah! Wasn't that the impostor Sun Wukong? He was without his golden crown or armor, wearing only a grass-woven skirt around his waist, and was barefoot. His expression had also changed greatly. Gone was the arrogant ferocity, his face was full of childishness. Good. He's walked right into old Sun's cudgel. Hey, where's the cudgel? Damn. Without the golden cudgel, how can I fight him? Sun Wukong quickly hid himself to one side. The impostor, however, seemed not to see Sun Wukong at all. He muttered to himself, "The woodcutter said it was here, but I don't see any monastery." "What do you want with a monastery?" asked a voice from the ground. The monkey looked down and saw it was a talking wine pot. "I want to take a master. I'm looking for Patriarch Subhuti." Subhuti. Patriarch. No such thing. There's only a pot of wine here. Want some? What use would you be? Ha 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 ha. The wine pot laughed heartily and sang a song. What use is heaven and earth? They cannot be a mat or a quilt. What use is the wind and moon? They cannot be food or drink. What use is a speck of dust? All things are within it. What use is change? The Tao is self-fulfilling. What use is facing a wall in meditation? You see no torrent. What use is the hitting stick? It only raises a big bump. The wine pot sang faster and faster, growing happier and happier. It bounced up from the ground, transforming into a big-bellied fat bear in midair. It beat its own belly with a thumping sound for joy and sang, "What use is being born? You cannot laugh. What use is dying? It does not diminish your pride. In an instant the whole world responded to his drumming. Birds in the sky, trees and grass on the ground, even stones all jumped and danced in harmony. Where do we come from? We are born together in this world. Let us sing together in joy and walk the great path. For 10,000 miles, 1,000 leagues, I can never find it. Better to meet me and share a smile. Straw, sandals and bamboo had a journey of 1,000 years, a single morning's journey through the eternal void. He who walks and sings between self and the world forgets all. He. Carefree and at ease. The gods and old man can't control me. The monkey heard this overjoyed and couldn't help but dance and shout. Monkey, what did you hear that makes you so happy? The fat bear flashed and turned into a big mouth in the sky, asking. I don't know what I heard, but my heart is filled with joy. I like it very much. Ha 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 ha. The mouth transformed again, this time into an old man in yellow robes with white hair and a childlike face. Many have come seeking me, but you are the only one who wasn't scared away and could still smile. I'll take you on. The monkey was overjoyed and bowed his head, saying, Master, please accept my bow. What is your name? The old man asked. Sun Wukong hid to the side, thinking that if that fellow dared to say he was Sun Wukong he would jump out and strangle him. But the monkey said, I have no nature. If someone scolds me I don't get angry, if someone hits me I don't get mad. I just apologize and let it go. I've been without a nature my whole life. Subhuti laughed. What a well-behaved monkey. That's not the nature I meant. I meant. What surname do your parents have? The monkey said, I have no parents either. When I was born there was a great sea before me and mountains behind. I stood alone and no one answered when I called. When I entered the mountains everyone else had parents and siblings, but I was alone. So from then on heaven and earth became my home and all living beings my brothers. Oh, said Subhuti. You weren't born from a rock, were you? The monkey looked up. Hey, how did you know? Ahem. Well. Subhuti was secretly delighted. Where could one find such a naturally gifted student? So you've come to me. What do you wish to learn? I only want to learn the Tao. But I don't know what the Tao is. Learn the Tao. That doesn't seem to be in my department. Ha, but no matter. I do have some arts. Would you like to learn them? Sun Wukong watched from the side. This scene felt strangely familiar, yet he knew it couldn't be possible. Hey, you want learn alchemy or meditation? You want learn this, you want learn that. What do you want to learn then? Subhuti said to the monkey, feigning anger. The monkey said, it seems that what I want to learn is something you cannot teach me. What? Then tell me, what is it you want to learn? The monkey looked up. I have a dream. I dream that when I fly the sky itself clears a path, when I dive into the sea the waters part. All the immortals and gods will call me brother when they see me. I will be free of worry and care, and there will be nothing in the world that can confine me, no one who can control me, no place I cannot reach, no deed I cannot accomplish, and no. Stop. Subhuti said, leave quickly now. I cannot teach you. If I could I wouldn't be here amusing myself by turning into a wine pot. Subhuti turned and walked away. The monkey grabbed the corner of his robe, but Subhuti suddenly transformed into a wooden mallet and struck the monkey on the head 3 times. The mallet sprouted a pair of wings and flew into the mountains. The monkey chased after it but saw it fly into a high-walled monastery. The monastery's gates were tightly shut. The monkey thought, if the master won't come out then I want leave. So he knelt outside the gate. Several cranes flew in, dragging a huge black curtain, and night fell instantly. All the fireflies in the grass flew up into the sky, shifting and changing into various constellations. The monkey knelt there. But Sun Wukong, watching from the side, grew weary of waiting. He thought that might not be the imposter after all. Maybe all monkeys look alike. He flew directly over the wall from the other side to find Subhuti. When he crossed the wall he was stunned. On this side of the wall was a vast white expanse of land completely empty. Sun Wukong began to race across this land. He ran for tens of thousands of miles without seeing anything. I don't believe this land has no end. Sun Wukong turned a somersault. When he landed he was still on the same empty plain. Sun Wukong grew anxious. He leaped up and turned a dozen somersaults in a row. Surely he had traveled millions of miles this time. Still there was only emptiness. Sun Wukong was somewhat surprised. I will find the end of this place today if it kills me. He leaped off again and disappeared into the distant horizon. The monkey has been kneeling at the temple gate for 6 days. A leaf fell from a tree, landing on his head, yet he remained motionless. A ladybug approached, looked up at him and then crawled away. I have traveled tens of thousands of miles, enduring countless hardships. I cannot stop at the threshold of enlightenment. Yet I heard someone sigh, threshold. At that moment a figure in white appeared from the other side of the mountain, walking lightly as if his feet barely touched the ground. He approached the monkey from behind. He was a young man, smiling with the wind lifting the corners of his garment. He stood there still as if one with heaven and earth. You just came from that side, how did I hear you speaking beside me? The monkey asked. Though my body is not there, my thoughts can reach you. Oh, said the monkey. Oh. Don't tell me you understood that. The figure in white made a face. I do not know what you said, but I guess you mean to speak to others without needing to be present, just tell their hearts directly with yours. The figure in white smiled in astonishment. Monkey, did someone teach you this? No, I have tried it before. Cough. Cough what? You have tried. When I was in Flower and Fruit Mountain, having been born from a stone without parents, others bullied me. So I often spoke alone in the cave at night, not expecting someone could hear. Oh, that person has good hearing. No, it said it heard with its heart. Who is it? It is an old tree. Do trees have hearts? Originally it did not have a heart. Later a squirrel was born on it. It shared its body with her and she became its heart, helping it think. Oh. The figure in white laughed happily. Interesting, tell me more. The stories of Flower and Fruit Mountain could go on for 7 days and nights without end. I should write a book about it someday. Strangely, what was I saying? Ah. Ha ha. The figure in white looked up at the starry sky. Do you know? The world we live in is now being watched by them. Sometimes they borrow our voices to say what they want to say. Everything in this world can be changed at will. If you wish not to be changed, you must first know who you are. What do you mean by change and unchange? Hey, do you know what Om Mani Padme Hum means? What is Om Mani Padme Hum? Om Mani Padme Hum means. The figure in white sang Buddha is the heart and the heart is Buddha. The mind and Buddha always require things. If you know there is no thing and no heart, then you are the true heart and Dharma body of Buddha. The Dharma body of Buddha has no form around light encompassing all phenomena. The formlessness of the body is the true body, the formlessness of the form is the reality. Neither form nor emptiness nor non-emptiness, not coming, not going, not returning. Neither different nor the same, neither existing nor non-existing, hard to let go, hard to take, hard to hear or see. The inner and outer spiritual light is everywhere the same, one Buddha realm in a single grain of sand. A single grain of sand contains the vast world, one body and mind comprises countless laws. The cycle of countless lives is but a moment of eternity. The myriad of transformations does not stray from the root. To know it, one must understand the heart's unifying secret, and that is Om Mani Padme Hum. Suddenly it started to rain. The figure in white turned and the droplets of water that had been scattered in the sky gathered towards him, transforming into a silver ribbon that coiled around him, ultimately stacking into a vertical silver pillar in his palm. The rain stopped instantly and the stars resumed their dance. On the ground countless green grasses suddenly sprouted, transforming into millions of blooming flowers. The figure in white smiled at the monkey. Do you now understand what is the ever-changing that does not stray from its root? I want to learn this transformation. The monkey exclaimed. The figure in white smiled. Why not let that one inside teach you? I angered him and he hid inside the door, not wanting to see me, and before entering he even knocked 3 times on my head. That stubborn Bodhi likes to play tricks like this, leading future generations astray. He won't come out. Why are you here? I have been kneeling here for 7 days, but he refuses to come out and see me. Ha ha, he is waiting for the snow to fall. Are you seeking the Tao while waiting for the Tao to come meet you? Sun Wukong plopped down on the ground panting. Damn it, I have walked for 7 days, traveled countless miles and not seen a speck of dust. That's because you are on the wrong path. It would be in vain even if you were to die of exhaustion. A voice suddenly replied. Ha! Finally something that speaks. Where are you? I am here, where else could I be? Stop playing these games with me. If you don't come out, do you believe I will smash your temple? Ha! There is no temple, go ahead and smash it. Sun Wukong, I have heard you are unbeatable in the world. Indeed. Sun Wukong straightened his back, but in his heart he recalled that false Wukong. How do you know my name? Ha ha ha. Who gave you that name? This. I have been called this since I was born. Then how were you born? How was I born? Sun Wukong pondered. How was I born? How was I born? In an instant he felt his heart collapse as countless memories and thoughts plunged into an abyss, just like the feeling he had when he entered the squirrel's tree hole. Ah. I don't know. He covered his head and shouted, it hurts, it hurts. Alas, the tightening spell. Kuan Yin, you are cruel. The voice murmured, then suddenly shouted, Sun Wukong, remember what you said to me back then. You said, I want there to be no one in the world that I cannot defeat. That was Sun Wukong's voice proclaiming loudly. Bodhi felt joy in his heart appearing. Are you awake? Are you awake? Yet Sun Wukong was still struggling on the ground. The voice came from behind Bodhi. Bodhi turned and saw the monkey barefooted, surrounded by grass leaves, with a youthful face. At that moment there was a flicker in Bodhi's eyes, a mix of emotions surged up. But it was only for an instant. He quickly turned cold. How did you get in? I kicked the door open, said the monkey. Bodhi's eyes revealed a hint of barely noticeable surprise. That doesn't make sense. History is not like this, he thought. How could you have the courage to kick the door? Did someone teach you? Yes. How do you know? Ha ha ha. Someone laughed. This monkey really can't lie. Zhu Bajie, hasn't it been well? Zhu Bajie, upon seeing him, exclaimed Jin Shanzi. The figure in white laughed. Zhu Bajie, it's been thousands of years since we last met. You still like to show off and play tricks. I have not mocked him. I truly dare not teach him. Bajie leaned closer to Jin Shan. Do you still not see what he is destined to do? You think you have foreseen it, but it has already changed. If you know the laws of how all things operate, then you will know that the future is eternally unknowable. Bajie laughed. Brother, you never give anyone face. I am after all a figure of the ancestor level. Being mocked in front of a monkey is rather embarrassing. Ha ha ha. Jin Shanzi laughed. If I cared about your face, I wouldn't be Jin Shan. If you truly had a face, you wouldn't be Zhu Bajie. The two laughed heartily while the two monkeys looked at each other utterly confused. Isn't Jin Shan always secluded in Ling Mountain? How come he has the leisure to come here? Yes, the junior brothers and sisters are all diligently meditating, preparing for the fourth gathering of Ling Mountain to revise and recite the Tripitaka. But I felt that wandering the mountains and rivers of the world, getting some dust and experiencing life is even better. So I sneakily slipped out. After saying this, Jin Shanzi pulled something from his pocket. I found this on the road. I don't know who dropped it. Sun Wukong almost fell down. Wasn't that his golden staff? He reached out to grab it but couldn't take it back. Jin Shanzi gently held one end of the golden staff and said with a smile, if you want it, just say so. If you don't, say. Bajie coughed repeatedly. Jin Shanzi laughed heartily. In Ling Mountain I have been facing the wall and pondering for years and haven't spoken a word to anyone for thousands of years. Now I want to talk more. He turned to the monkey in the grass skirt and asked, is this yours? I can't give it to him. Sun Wukong thought anxiously. The monkey pouted. What use do I have for this thing? Sun Wukong fell to the ground. Jin Shanzi said, good. We are on the same wavelength. I like you, this natural monkey. Why don't we become friends and play together when we have time? The monkey rolled his eyes at Jin Shanzi and said, can you do a somersault? Jin Shanzi was taken aback. Huh? I can't do that. Bajie said, I can. I can somersault very far. Brother, your knowledge and skills are superior to mine in every aspect, but when it comes to these worldly tricks you can't compare to me. The monkey said, I still want you to be my master. Being a master is out of the question. I can teach you the 72 transformations, but you must not call me master lest I feel heartache. Jin Shanzi said, you cause trouble. He can push it off. Jin Shanzi. Bajie called out, if you keep speaking the truth like this, I won't play with you. The monkey looked at them and smiled. All right, I will make you two friends. The three laughed heartily, joining hands together. Sun Wukong, left out to the side, suddenly felt a pang of sadness, not knowing why. What a pity I cannot stay here for long. Jin Shanzi said, the assembly for discussing the Dharma is about to be held. I must hurry back to Ling Mountain. Zhu Bajie, are you still not returning? Zhu Bajie smiled faintly. You know why I would rather stay here, singing to the sky, talking with the flowers and squirrels, thinking about the principles of life. As for those Buddhist scriptures, I have already forgotten. If I go back I won't be able to recite them. I fear my master will be angry again. Jin Shanzi said solemnly, people only seek their own liberation, but that cannot be counted as an achievement. On this journey I saw many beings, their hearts clouded by desires and attachments, unable to let go, suffering from it and enjoying it, yet unable to discard a single desire. I advise people to clear their hearts and forget their desires, but life arises from emptiness, and teaching them to go towards emptiness is merely leading them back to where they came from. Beings in this world are like falling leaves, continuously returning to the earth, surviving without guidance. Perhaps there is another profound meaning. I thought of many things, but the teachings of my master cannot resolve the doubts in my heart. My return to Ling Mountain is not only to recite scriptures but also to seek my master's guidance on my inner questions. Brother. You can ask, but do not debate with the master. I do not debate. How can I resolve the doubts in my heart? But the master cannot be wrong. If you cannot understand, it must be your own mistake. Then I must ask for clarity. But what? But if you are wrong, that is fine. What I fear is if. Jin Shanzi stared at Zhu Bajie for a long while, then suddenly laughed. What is Tathagata? It is the truth as it is. In the beginning of chaos there were no surnames. To break the stubborn ignorance one must awaken. Jin Shanzi laughed towards the sky. I am Tathagata, what is there to fear? He waved his hand. Catch it. He tossed the golden staff towards Sun Wukong. Sun Wukong jumped up to catch it, but Jin Shan asked, do you know what it is used for? Sun Wukong looked at the golden staff. Jin Shanzi laughed. In the future if someone is thick-headed you can use it to wake them up. After saying this he turned and laughed as he left. The wind was strong. Dust and sand flew up, yet not a single grain of sand could touch him. His figure receded into the distance with the winds and clouds in the sky swirling closely behind him. Who is that person? What do you call him? Asked the monkey in the grass skirt. If I could have his kind of demeanor in the future it would not be in vain. Alas, he is an extraordinary figure. With your two characters you would be suitable as master and disciple. But it is a pity he is obsessed with the great Tao, always saying he has not comprehended it. How could he teach others? Bajie said, you don't need to know his name. Perhaps this name will soon be forgotten by people. If it is destined, one day you will meet. The monkey stared at Jin Shanzi's departing figure, nodding slightly. By the way, Bodhi said you once said you had no name. Yes, I was born from a stone. I ask you, Master, oh no Bodhi, to grant me a name. Bodhi sighed deeply, clearly enunciating each word. You resemble a monkey, you might as well take the surname Sun. In the beginning of chaos there were no surnames to break the stubborn ignorance one must awaken. You shall be called Sun Wukong. Good. Good. From now on I will be called Sun Wukong. At that moment Sun Wukong was looking at the golden staff, pondering Jin Shanzi's words. Upon hearing the name Sun Wukong he suddenly felt as if something cracked open in his heart. A bright beam of light shone upon him as if it fell from the heavens or emerged from within his heart, illuminating him. Ha, I have a name. I have a name. The monkey joyfully leaped around in the heavens and earth. Sun Wukong approached Zhu Bajie and knelt down. I pay my respects to Master. Zhu Bajie looked at him and said, did I not tell you not to call me Master? Yes. Master. Sun Wukong's voice suddenly became sorrowful. Zhu Bajie could not hold back any longer, kneeling down and hugging him tightly. Have you finally remembered who you are? Master. Disciple has suffered greatly these years without your guidance. Sun Wukong's heart surged with countless thoughts. Zhu Bajie stroked his head and said, I know your aspirations. I am well aware I cannot guide you on the path you seek, which is why I would not let you call me your disciple. Master, this tightening spell has caused me great suffering. Please help me remove it. Bodhi's expression gradually turned somber. I cannot do that. This tightening spell binds a person's thoughts, turning the suffering of desires into the suffering of the body. If you can reach the state of selflessness like the gods and Buddhas, you will naturally not suffer from the tightening spell. What must I do to attain the state of selflessness? Forget yourself, let go of your loves and hates. Sun Wukong stood up, remaining silent for a long time. Suddenly he raised his head and said, I can forget myself. Zhu Bajie looked at him with mixed feelings. But Sun Wukong said, I cannot forget the waters of the East Sea, I cannot forget Flower and Fruit Mountain, I cannot forget the road to the West, I cannot forget the people along the way. He suddenly became joyful and said to Bodhi, Master, look, I have so many things to remember. How wonderful. He turned around and said, now I want to return to the heavenly realm and defeat the false Wukong, then I can break the tightening spell. Zhu Bajie shook his head, smiling sadly. Did Kuan Yin tell you this? But can you win? No, you cannot. The outcome has already been arranged. It is better to stay in this carefree place, isn't it, as comfortable and blissful as the Flower and Fruit Mountain of old. Forget who you are, forget the road to the west. If you go back you will not escape the path that Tathagata and Kuan Yin have designed for you. Master, I understand your intentions, but my life is to fight battle and win. If you go back you will not escape the path that Tathagata and Kuan Yin have designed for you. Master, I understand your intentions, but my life is to fight. Zhu Bajie looked up at the light streaking across the starry river and sighed. I cannot change that beginning, why not forget that ending? Heavenly Palace. Gigantic snowflakes illuminated by the fiery glow emerging from the heavens resembled blood-like ice crystals. The entire celestial realm was suffused with this swirling crimson as the ice and snow refracted, the flames sparkling like rubies in the air. These bright red stardust danced through the cosmos, demolishing everything in its path with an unstoppable momentum and exquisite grace, while the palaces of the gods shattered and fell apart amidst this tempest. In this destructive dance the gods hid in panic, clearly hearing the maniacal laughter resounding through the heavens, a sound that even the hurricane could not drown out. At the pinnacle of the Lingxiao Palace stood a figure framed by the burning sky, his enormous shadow shifting with the rising flames, casting its presence over the entire heavenly court. In another part of the heavenly palace, Zhu Bajie. Fly a bit slower. In a corner of the celestial realm the white dragon exclaimed, having transformed into human form. The swirling ice and snow struck her sharply, tearing at her garments and cheeks, forcing her to dodge and shield herself. Before her Zhu Bajie recklessly soared forward, ignoring the countless cuts blooming on his face and body. There's nothing to eat in the sky and no Gao Laozhuang, why are you in such a rush as if to meet your wife? Go back to your East Sea, I never asked you to follow me. Oh, learning to be cool, huh? Let me tell you, Zhu Bajie, with Sun Wukong absent I won't let you escape again. Until Master's soul is found you can forget about slipping away. Oh no, the heavenly palace has turned into this. The stars have all been swept away by the hurricane and I can't find the Milky Way. This is bad, this is bad. What time is it? You still have the leisure to gaze at the stars. You and Sun Wukong both have this strange habit, one must eat dinner facing west while the other can't sleep at night watching the stars. That Sha monk isn't normal either, always sighing over broken pieces of bowls. Zhu Bajie ignored her, busy searching around. The white dragon had never seen him so anxious, watching him bump around clumsily, his large ears flapping comically, causing her to want to laugh. Suddenly Zhu Bajie stopped, his eyes fixed on a spot ahead. The white dragon looked and saw a faint silver star shining in the distance amidst the swirling snow and wind. Zhu Bajie flew straight towards it while the white dragon hurried to follow. As they drew near, Zhu Bajie landed on a cloud, entranced by what lay before him. The white dragon rushed forward to see that it was a osmanthus tree, now bare amidst the wind and snow. On a high branch a lantern held a bright silver star. There were faint carvings on the tree trunk. Zhu Bajie rushed forward to wipe away the snow covering the tree. On it were inscribed several characters, Tianping home is ahead of you. Zhu Bajie stood there staring blankly at the characters. Suddenly he charged into the wind and snow ahead. The white dragon, puzzled, could only follow him. The wind and snow nearly disoriented her. Finally she reached Zhu Bajie, calling out Zhu. She paused. Zhu Bajie was gazing ahead with an expression she had never seen before, one as chaotic as the storm, yet within it something shone as clearly as the stars. That was the figure reflected in his eyes, a woman clad in white. The storm has destroyed the Milky Way, our home built over hundreds of thousands of years. Tianping is back, but he may not find home anymore. But it's alright, I will wait here for him. As long as I'm here he will never be without a home. The flames are coming, Jade Bunny, you should go down to the mortal realm where many wonders not seen in the celestial realm await. If one day you meet Tianping, please tell him you is waiting here for him and let him come home. She tore off a piece of her garment and wrapped the Jade Bunny in it. As she released her grip, the fabric transformed into a white cloud carrying the Jade Bunny down to the mortal realm. The Jade Bunny jumped in the cloud trying to return but could not escape. She watched the Jade Bunny disappear, suddenly laughing, how foolish of me. Tianping has likely changed beyond recognition. How would you recognize him? He has probably long forgotten you by now. But I believe that one day he will awaken and return here. For this day I draw pictures with the stars, each day pictures only Tianping, and I understand, hoping he can see them, remember me and come back. But now the strong winds have blown everything away, memories, love, hope, everything. I will not leave, I will wait for him here. The strong winds and flames cannot make me leave this place. Hidden in the wind and snow, Zhu Bajie's body began to tremble. Suddenly his plump body knelt to the ground. He bit his hand and cried silently. The white dragon looked at Zhu Bajie, and it seemed she suddenly understood something, understood Zhu Bajie's feelings when he gazed at the starry sky every night after others fell asleep. She understood why he became so irritable and fragile on nights without starlight. Zhu Bajie, she leaned close to his ear, go to her. Zhu Bajie shook his head. She is waiting for you there, go to her. Zhu Bajie suddenly jumped up and the white dragon thought she was about to witness a heartwarming scene, but instead Zhu Bajie ran desperately in the opposite direction. The white dragon hurried after him, shouting, why? Zhu Bajie, why? Isn't this the day you've been waiting for? Isn't she right in front of you? Zhu Bajie dashed through the sky desperately zigzagging. Forget the path, forget the way home, he shouted. Knowing it's impossible to meet, why remember? He stumbled as he ran and the white dragon easily caught up to him. She kicked him from behind, sending him tumbling to the... Why? Are you too afraid to even see him? She has waited for you all these years and is prepared to wait even longer. No, Zhu Bajie said, she will soon end her long wait. The fire will come soon and she will die in expectation, taking her beautiful dreams with her, far better than discovering that what she waited for was a pig. What's wrong with pigs? What's wrong with pigs? The white dragon exclaimed. I think pigs are quite adorable. Pigs are wonderful. Pigs can laugh, can cry better than many gods in the heavens. But I cannot accept it. I can be a pig, but I cannot let her. Why don't you tell Tang Sanzang who you are? The white dragon was stunned, and after a moment she raised her hand and struck Zhu Bajie hard across the face. Zhu Bajie, why? Why do you have to say everything you shouldn't? She also knelt on the ground, sobbing softly. This is fate. A wonderfully magical fate. Zhu Bajie shouted, how much wisdom is required to conceive such exquisite arrangements? Great heavens, all beings tremble under your authority. He laughed maniacally. When he turned back he saw flames already engulfing a youth's palace. Zhu Bajie suddenly turned around and charged back. The flames had caught a youth's skirt, but she was still on the ground, slowly tracing her silver sand with her fingers. Suddenly a pig rushed in, forcefully stepping on the flames, licking at her skirt. Ayu looked at the pig in astonishment, but the pig dared not meet her gaze. As the flames retreated they surged forward again. Zhu Bajie let out a furious roar, lunging at the flames with his stout body. Suddenly Ayu embraced him from behind. Tianping. Tianping, hello. Zhu Bajie felt tears dripping onto his back and he smiled. The flames suddenly swirled, engulfing Zhu Bajie's smile before it could fully bloom. The white dragon stood at a distance watching the flames surge through the Milky Way. Zhu Bajie, you are well finally with your beloved. Only I am left. I must find him, I do not wish to die alone. No. She turned and vanished into the vast storm. Sun Wukong returned to the celestial realm. It was I who tore apart the ledger of life and death, it was I who shattered the order of heaven and earth. Ha ha ha. Tremble before me. It turns out fear is so wonderful and death is such happiness. Ha ha ha. The demon monkey at the peak of the Lingxiao palace continued to roar. Beg for mercy and I shall show you no forgiveness. Ha ha ha. Sun Wukong looked at the laughing monkey atop the Lingxiao palace. He's gone mad, he must die right. I want nothing in this world that I cannot defeat. Suddenly he felt very tired. Was that weak yet hopeful little monkey from Mount Fangsuan really him? Now he possessed terrifying power yet felt even more powerless. Why let someone who no longer has strength revisit his youthful ideals? Another voice of Sun Wukong was still shouting wildly, you cannot kill me. You cannot defeat me. What else could he conquer? He could do nothing but annihilate. With each step forward, Sun Wukong felt himself aging a little more, yet he tried to hold his head high and steady his steps. In the fire no one could be seen, only himself and that insane laughter. Upon arriving at the Lingxiao Palace, that voice continued to shout, "I am invincible. Invincible, no one can defeat me, no one." Sun Wukong took a deep breath and leapt into the air. He raised his golden staff high, soaring upwards through the heavy smoke. Finally he caught sight of the monkey standing atop the Lingxiao Palace Bear and brandishing a golden staff, cursing at the world. He struck down with all his might. What he saw was the astonished gaze. Zixia gazed at the sky where flames intertwined with snowflakes, pondering whether she should trust the victor who might leap back to her side. The Sun Wukong who laughed maniacally amidst the pain and terror of the celestial beings. The Sun Wukong who was deeply troubled on the journey to the west. The Sun Wukong who awakened from nightmares, unable to conceal the fear within. The Sun Wukong whose eyes dimmed on the demon ceiling pillar. She suddenly realized that she had never truly known what Sun Wukong was supposed to be like. She only had the image of the Sun Wukong in her heart, the hero clad in golden armor, unfazed by the celestial beings. But why was that demon who pierced the heavens, that tortured monkey, shouting, "Don't burn my Huagua mountain," also Sun Wukong? A thought flashed through her mind, whom did she truly wish to see return to her? But she immediately stopped herself from pondering this question. In the wind and snow, Sun Wukong realized he was facing an unprecedented opponent. If every move he made was predicted by the other, there would be no way to fight. Sun Wukong felt as if he was battling a mirage. Every time he thought he was about to strike, his opponent miraculously evaded. He unleashed all his skill, shifting positions dozens of times in an instant, launching hundreds of strikes. He was almost attacking from all directions simultaneously, yet every time his golden staff struck down it only hit air. His strength radiated in all directions. Even if his opponent matched his speed, there was no way to avoid being struck unless they leaped out of range. Because the attack was like the rays of the sun with no blind spots. It seemed there was only one possibility: his opponent did not exist. Yet sometimes his instinctive swing would collide with his opponent's golden staff. The other party was clearly countering, but his staff techniques were impenetrable and his opponent was unable to penetrate each time. Yet he was also unable to discern the origins of his opponent's moves. This seemed impossible had the opponent's speed reached a point where he could not see. No, Sun Wukong suddenly thought the reason he could not see the other's moves was that the opponent was also attacking in all directions just as he was. It turned out that the opponent, like him, was unable to hit the target. And his inability to see the opponent's moves and avoid deliberately was akin to sunlight that could only be blocked but not avoided. And yet the opponent was also unable to hit him, which seemed equally incomprehensible. Clang! The two staffs collided once more and Sun Wukong felt as if he had struck hard against steel, the golden staff buzzing as vibrations traveled from his palm to his heart. Yet steel should also be smashed. Was there anything in this world that the golden staff could not destroy? Perhaps only the staff itself. Sun Wukong's heart sank. Could it be that every time he could strike the opponent, it was also when the opponent could strike him? Hence their staffs clashed, their powers negating each other. What exactly was he fighting against? If this continued, the battle might never yield a victor. You kill him and the tightening spell will naturally be lifted. Guan Yan's words still echoed in his ears. I cannot lose, I must win. Sun Wukong fought, letting out a loud roar, his staff movements growing faster and more urgent. I refuse to believe I can't hit you. The gods could only hear the sound of weapons clashing amidst the wind and snow, growing increasingly dense, eventually merging into a piercing cacophony. The battle seemed endless. They did not know how long they had been fighting continuously. Everything around them had lost its significance, flames, wind, shouts, all had vanished. Only one will remain: the determination never to let the shadow of failure appear in his mind. Thus Sun Wukong could not stop, even though he felt the strangeness of the battle. Even though he still could not capture the shadow of his opponent. Even though he sometimes doubted he was the only one in the world madly swinging the golden staff. When both Sun Wukongs were about to exhaust their last bit of strength, Buddha appeared. Buddha, which of the two Sun Wukongs is the real one? The giant spirit god asked. Buddha smiled, saying, let me Sun Wukong, he addressed the two combatants. Both jumped apart. What do you want from me, old son? Sun Wukong, if you can leap out of my palm, I will cede the heavenly palace to you. If you cannot, you must obediently descend to the mortal realm and cultivate for a few tribulations, then return to argue. Buddha said. Who are you talking to? Sun Wukong asked. Suddenly the monkey without the golden headband laughed maniacally. He stood there with his staff, the wind billowing his red cloak, and said, Bah! What? Am I not already outside your palm? The monkey laughed madly. Who wants to gamble with you? Old Sun is busy, there are many places to demolish, no time to play with you. This scene felt so familiar, yet he could not recall where he had seen it before. He saw Zixia, who was gazing intently at the center of the flames, focusing on that figure. Don't you want to return to Huagua Mountain? Buddha waved his hand and the clouds parted, revealing a verdant range of mountains. Huagua Mountain. Yes, Huagua Mountain, with flowers and fruits everywhere, with friends all around. Return to Huagua Mountain. Return home. The monkey gazed into the distance, revealing a look of yearning. But Huagua Mountain has been destroyed, it is gone, no flowers, no fruits, no living beings. The monkey continued to murmur, suddenly turning to glare at the gods. You destroyed them. I have lost everything. You will have nothing too. Ah. He let out a loud cry and charged at the gods. Buddha smiled and extended his 5 fingers. A tremendous force knocked the monkey to the ground. He leapt up again only to be struck down once more, rising again. Why aren't you moving? What are you waiting for? That voice said. Sun Wukong trembled. Was it calling him? He had almost thought that the one struggling was himself. That was not me, thank goodness it was not me. I am Sun Wukong. How could Sun Wukong endure such failure? How could he accept a battle with no hope of victory? He felt something was about to happen. Indeed, the fallen demon monkey suddenly leapt up again. I will not give in. He let out a beast-like roar, blood spraying from his eyes. Sun Wukong knew this was his final leap. He was like a poised hunter waiting for such an opportunity. Sun Wukong crouched, coiled his legs and jumped. In that instant the staff was already in hand. A pure golden light, a perfect arc, an unparalleled strike. No, came a desperate cry. It was Zixia. Sun Wukong recognized that voice. He couldn't help but turn his head. His swinging hand slowed. It was just a moment within a moment. Another Wukong had struck. Sun Wukong stood there looking at the defeated one beneath his feet. He had once again triumphed. Just like every battle against demons, he was always the ultimate victor. Wait, the gods were whispering and debating, wondering who had died and who had lived. Did the demon monkey truly die? Or was the one lying on the ground really him? He touched his head. Thankfully the golden headband was still there. That was the only mark proving he was Sun Wukong. That was the crown of victory. But why did that monkey also suffer such pain? Zixia walked over step by step. Was she here to embrace the victor? She approached him but knelt down. Kneeling beside the fallen monkey. She cried. She held the hand of that demon monkey. It was the hand that should have struck him with the golden staff but reached out to Zixia instead. She gently pried that hand open. In that hand was a purple scarf. Sun Wukong suddenly felt something within him crack open as if a stone had shattered. That one over there is the 6-eared macaque, said the Tathagata. Sun Wukong looked up in astonishment at the Tathagata. Why don't you reveal your true form? You have killed Tang Sanzang the Dragon King and Sun Wukong, your sins are boundless. The Buddha has compassion for all living beings. Kneel and convert, acknowledge that you are the 6-eared macaque and follow me to the spirit mountain to attain enlightenment. Suddenly Sun Wukong understood something. He burst into wild laughter. 6-eared macaque. Ha ha ha. Am I the 6-eared macaque? Blood began to flow from his 7 orifices, the consequence of long battles that had shaken his internal organs. Perhaps it was the intensity of his laughter that caused him to leap up, charging directly at the Tathagata. Heaven and earth gave birth to me, Sun Wukong. Look at my staff. He shouted with such loudness, exerting all his remaining strength. That figure charged toward the supreme will of heaven and earth at an unparalleled speed. However, he missed. It was merely an illusion. By the time he landed on the ground he could barely lift his golden staff. Yet he still struggled to stand. Tathagata. Come out. Let us engage in a battle face to face for 300 rounds. Ha ha ha. That voice laughed in the void. You cannot defeat me because I am formless and rootless, relying on the void, while you are a physical manifestation of desire. Tathagata. Come out and fight me. Ha ha ha. The voice continued to laugh in the void. Tathagata. Come out. And fight me. Amidst the laughter Sun Wukong suddenly found his consciousness fading. He began to blur, sometimes sitting with Zixia, sometimes facing the most formidable enemy. Who am I? he asked Zixia. You are someone who refuses to give up on dreams, Zixia said with tears in her eyes. Then. Who is it that is to battle the Tathagata? He is someone who has lost everything, having nothing left but himself. Is that one any better? I don't care, I just need someone to be with me. But I will forget everything. I will lose everything. Because I refuse to give up. Tathagata. Sun Wukong suddenly widened his eyes and shouted with his last bit of strength. All illusions vanished. Everyone saw clearly that there had never been 2 Sun Wukongs. Sun Wukong died. Perhaps he had never truly come back to life. The figure that jumped out of the alchemical furnace was merely an overwhelming desire. Sun Wukong had died 500 years ago during the havoc in heaven. This was the conclusion of historians. Can you guess this ending? The Tathagata asked. The disciple could not guess. Guan Yin replied. What about you? I could not either, Taishan Laojun said. The wisdom of the Buddha truly astounds me. I never expected such a method to kill Sun Wukong. But I did not guess either, the Tathagata said. I lost. It turns out there are indeed things in this world that I cannot predict, said the Tathagata. But everything is within your grasp, Taishan said. No, he has already jumped out. The Tathagata said, I bound the truth and goodness within his heart with the tightening hoop forcing out his evil and hatred. As long as he still harbors hope for life he cannot help but struggle with his own power. But he cannot conquer himself. When the time comes he will have to seek me to differentiate right from wrong. At that time I will say how Sun Wukong is, and that is how it will be. But I still could not foresee. He would rather die than concede. Zixia looked at Sun Wukong holding his hand. Did he really die this time? No, he seemed like he could jump up at any moment, startling you with a smile, that mischievous monkey. Sun Wukong teased me a little more. She placed her hand on her face. But that hand gradually grew cold. I want you to remember that you are a monkey, for you need not learn to become an immortal. Your true nature is nobler than all the deities. Tears slid down that hand. The fire in the heavenly realm continued to burn. Tathagata, please extinguish the fire quickly, said the Jade Emperor. This is the fire from beyond the heavens, emerging from nowhere, yet its source lies in the desires of the mortal realm. Once the inner demon departs the fire will extinguish itself, said the Tathagata. This fire cannot be extinguished, Zixia said, we will become its fuel. She cradled Sun Wukong's corpse and walked toward the flames. The gods parted a path, still wary of that body. The heavenly fire blazed fiercely. From the mortal realm the sky was transforming into rich colors, the burning clouds resembling a grand mural of a vast dome. Look, that is a phoenix spreading its wings. An old man said. No. That is a person wielding a weapon leaping up and roaring, a young man said. Beside them a girl in blue looked up at the reddened night sky, unnoticed by people with an extremely ugly face and crystal clear tears. When the history of the journey to the west does not exist, why do the characters in the void of time suffer and rejoice? Has everything ended? The Queen Mother asked from nowhere. Wait. The one shouting was Sha Wujing. He rushed to Taishan Liajan's feet. Please lift your foot. He held up a tiny object that no one could see clearly. I found it. I finally found it. Ha ha ha, the last piece. Where is the last piece? Ha ha ha. He trembled as he presented the glazed cup before the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother took the cup, tilted her head to look at it. What use is this to me? She let go and the cup fell shattering back into powder. No. Shasang stared as the cup, which had taken 500 years to repair, beautifully shattered again in an instant. He stood there in a daze. Gradually a change appeared on his face. I will slaughter you. I will slaughter you, rabbit offspring. Come on, I will kill you. He screamed hysterically, but all the gods looked at him and laughed. They were all laughing. Ha ha ha. When 500 years of time is merely a hoax, why do the characters in the void of time suffer and rejoice? The great fire of heaven burned for another 7 days. Finally extinguished. The gods searched through the ruins and ashes, and they saw 2 things. A charred stone and a broken golden hoop. Some said they heard singing and laughter coming from the fire. Others said they once saw a golden light and a purple aura intertwined rising from the fire toward the sky. Of course many said nothing at all. Guan Yin obtained the golden hoop. Our goal has been achieved. Can the journey to the west come to an end? The Tathagata held the stone. Guan Yin asked. He was defeated, but was he really defeated? He has finally escaped from my grasp. Jin Shanzi, he has won. The Tathagata pondered, holding the broken golden hoop. He waved his hand and the stone fell back to the mortal realm. A Yao found that stone, burying it in a scorched flower fruit mountain. That scene from so many years ago reappeared. Flower fruit mountain, when will it grow flowers and fruits again? However, the seeds have spread throughout the world. Sun Wukong grabbed a handful of the black soil on the ground, his face revealing a childlike smile. The thunder in the sky was getting closer. Sun Wukong leaned against a charred tree, quietly waiting. At that moment the dark sky was suddenly split by a massive flash of lightning. Sun Wukong leaped up, pointing the golden staff towards the heavens. Come on. At that moment his figure, illuminated by the lightning, became frozen in legends for thousands of years. If it rains, flowers and grasses will grow here. I have no seeds. If heaven knows my sincerity, let the stone bloom as— A Yao cut open her wrist, letting her blood fall to the ground. Suddenly a thunderclap erupted in the sky, rumbling. A Yao lifted her head. At that moment the first drop of rain fell on her head. It's raining. Sun Wukong, look. It's raining. It's raining. Flowers will definitely grow. A Yao cried, tears of joy shouting to the sky. In the sky behind the dark clouds a white dragon twisted and turned. In the distance the chariots of heavenly soldiers rumbled closer, and the calls of the celestial generals could be heard. Who dares to defy heavenly law and bring rain to Flower Fruit Mountain? Tang Sang, Sun Wukong, Zhu Bajie, this is the last thing I can do for you, thought the little white dragon. Farewell for good. Leaves fell one after another to the earth. Snow covered the seeds in slumber. A flower bloomed and withered rapidly in the shadows of the flowing light. The star map continuously changed. Mountains rose from the sea, and the flora and fauna endured cycles of flourishing and withering, yet there were always patches standing bravely in the wind, resembling their ancestors. How could one forget the journey to the west? Outside the story, Flower Fruit Mountain. A long time ago there were no mountains, no trees, nothing at all, only a vast sea, an endless sea. Was there not even an old grandfather? Asked the squirrel. Haha, no, not even the grandfather of the grandfather. The old tree said, when I first grew out of the ground, oh, that was a long, long time ago. That day is now 300 zhang long for me. I was once a seed, once a small sprout, not even half the height of a leaf. The old tree fell into a long memory. What year was that? I have 900 rings on my trunk. Who was around me when I was born? Was I there? The squirrel asked excitedly. Little dear, don't interrupt, you were also just a seed back then, said the fruit bear. Was I also grown from the ground? Oh, why don't I have leaves? The squirrel spread open her little paws, looking very sad. But you can escape the murky earth, you can run freely, I envy you. The old tree said. But I don't want to go anywhere, I only want to hear Grandpa Tree tell stories. But what I have seen is also limited. For so many years I have grown to see more, but what is beyond my sight is always infinite. One day I will be tired and unable to grow any longer. By then, little squirrel, you will have been to many places and seen many sights I can never see. Will you come back then to tell me what you have seen? I will. I will for sure. The squirrel jumped and said, I will travel every day and then come back to tell you what I have seen. Haha, you will grow up and go farther and farther away, and eventually you won't be able to come back every day. The old tree pondered again. How I long to see the sea. Every year feathers from sea birds fall, bringing the scent of the ocean. The sea. Where is it? I heard that if you climb to the highest place of this land you can know what the world is like. I will go right away. Little dear, wait for me. The bagged kangaroo and the flying pig shouted, but the squirrel had already disappeared among the enormous branches. Thus the squirrel began her long run, descending from the giant green tree. In the shade of the great green tree she ran. She had never run out of there, for that was their kingdom. Under the shade of the trees lived a family of starry grass, a family of orchids, a family of wild greens, and countless flowers, grasses, and little insects. They were always busy. The butterflies were busy talking, flitting up and down, chatting with every flower endlessly. The snail was busy climbing the tree as well, but he always lacked persistence. Every time he climbed to the height of a sword orchid he would stop to excitedly talk to her, then unknowingly slide back down. When he reached the bottom, a day would pass and the next day he would climb back up again. The sword orchid always raised her proud head, saying he was very annoying. But every morning she would still raise her head to wait for the snail to come and talk to her. When the squirrel swiftly leaped over his head, the snail was so frightened he closed his eyes and sighed, oh, when will I be able to practice like little squirrel and little deer, jumping 20 back and forth on the big green tree in a day? Then I could chat with sister sword orchid 20 times in a day. The squirrel ran out of the shadow of the big green tree. She discovered that the world was made up of countless shadows, and between shadows were shining boundaries. She leaped amid the shadows, feeling both joy and panic in the unfamiliar sight, her heart intertwining like light and shadow. Above the forest countless bright lights dazzled and swayed, making one feel dizzy. She chose a direction and ran down. The squirrel felt she had run thousands of miles today. She ran more than she had in her entire life, even though she was only 11 months old. I should be nearing the end of the world. I have run so far, but where is the boundary? She stopped to ask the slender red fruit by the roadside, where is the boundary of the world? Boundary. I am at the center of the world. Where did you come from? What? My place is the center of the world. I came from the big green tree and ran such a long way. Big green tree. Is it that big green tree? The squirrel turned around and saw the old tree of 900 years standing atop the layers of tree crowns as if she were still beneath its feet. The squirrel had already seen it, that peculiar stone peak which also seemed to grow out of the earth like a tree, but it was so tall. How many years had it grown? Standing on top of it I should be able to see the boundary of the world. She dashed toward the base of the mountain, gradually becoming a tiny dot next to the towering stone peak. The squirrel finally ascended the high peak, coming to the edge of the cliff. The blue clouds parted, the giant trees turned into small grass, and beyond the forest was a golden ribbon encircling. She raised her head higher, gazing into the distance, when suddenly that boundless blue began to surge toward her. That was the sea. I heard its voice. Whoosh whoosh, like the sound of the wind at night. It is breathing. She cheered, bouncing, suddenly realizing she was standing alone. Has no one ever come here? Has no one seen the scenery I have seen? Who can I tell my happiness to? Who knows? Her voice echoed from the peak, dissipating in the mist. The mountaintop was an expanse with only a single stone standing in the middle of the flat ground, disconnected from the mountain as if it were not a part of the great mountain. Who would have placed it here? Stone, why do you stand alone here? Are you listening to the sound of the sea? How long have you been here? Don't you feel bored without anyone to talk to? The squirrel circled the stone, but the stone remained silent. The squirrel pressed her face against the stone as if listening closely to something. After a long time she slowly backed away, tiptoeing as if afraid to disturb something. Who am I? On that day they sat in the shade of the big green tree and the stone spoke. You are a stone, the squirrel said, scratching her paws. Am I not a monkey? Yes. But there are many monkeys in this world, are they all me? The squirrel thought seriously, I only know there are many squirrels in the world, but they are not me. I am not clear about monkeys. Yes, I am not like them, they are all together, and yet I am here. The stone monkey lowered it. Don't they play with you? Why not? Because I am different from them. But even though I came out of the stone I am still a monkey, right? For a while I wanted to be the flower under the big green tree, but she would not trade with me. Later I wanted to be a deer, but I could not learn to jump far. For now I can only be a squirrel. I have found myself, but often I inexplicably stop realizing they are running while I remain still, and that fills me with terror. A voice spoke. The monkey and the squirrel looked up. It was a leaf smiling amicably. I am a leaf. I know you are a leaf. But do you know my name is a leaf? I mean, I am this particular leaf, not any other. It looks almost the same to me. But in the world there is only this one leaf of mine. The leaf grew a bit anxious, curling its edges trying to gesture, but then gave up, saying, when I close my eyes the world consists only of myself, and that frightens me. Yet when I open my eyes and see so many of myself I feel at ease. When the wind blows we rustle, and amidst those sounds I realize my existence and fall asleep contentedly. But many leaves are gone. When I wake up they are no longer here, and I don't know where they went, yet new leaves appear in my sight. As they leave I'm unaware there are too many leaves here, and am afraid I will forget myself. Am afraid others won't know I exist, so. The leaf timidly said, I hope someone will call my name, and then I'll respond knowing that I am still here and I can happily fall asleep. Then I will call you every day. When I wake up I'll call you, and when I come back I'll call you too, said the squirrel. Do you want me to call you too, Stone? No, that's fine, said the stone monkey. I want to sleep in. The squirrel woke up early and called out. Then she laughed. A leaf. Hey, someone responded. The squirrel happily prepared to leave, but the leaf said, why are you calling me? Aren't you the one who wanted me to call you? What? The leaf replied. Oh no, I forgot which leaf you are. The squirrel exclaimed, huh. If I change branches will I not be able to find her? She looked up at the giant blue tree where countless leaves were shaking like a green sea, boundless and infinite. Spring brings the sound of flapping wings as thousands of birds with broad wings land on the giant blue tree, their backs reflecting the blue of the sea and their bellies the pure white of clouds. Where do you come from? I've never seen you before. Ha ha ha, this is our home. I've never seen you either, little one, said a large bird, her wings spread like a cloud. Oh dear, so many big flowers have bloomed on the tree. The stone exclaimed in surprise as he came back from playing outside. Hee hee, so silly, the squirrel laughed at him. Am I sillier than you? A timid voice asked. Silly little bird, do you really think you're that silly? The large bird laughed, pushing a small bird that had been hiding behind her. This is a bun, he was born this year and it's his first time back home, he's a bit shy. The squirrel looked up at the two little birds as tall as herself. Ah, you're so handsome. What do you mean? No one has ever said that to me before. Exactly, you are so beautiful. This is a phrase that the wombat said about me, and now I give it to you. Thank you. A bun stretched his wings and made a grabbing motion, but I'm uglier than my mom and dad. I don't have wings as big as theirs nor feathers as beautiful. I felt sad about this several times, yet they always laugh at me for being silly. You will grow up, you will become the biggest and most beautiful bird here. Really? A bun joyfully flapped his wings and shouted, I will grow up, I will grow up. The stone sat on the side watching, feeling inexplicably melancholic. What a great body of water. Whoever can go in and come out, we will admire him. The monkeys shouted. Yes, haha. Do you dare? Do you dare? I'll go. A monkey jumped out, but just as he reached the edge of the pool he turned back laughing. Who dares to go? I. A weak voice said, but the monkeys jumped and shouted, pushing each other, creating chaos, and no one heard that voice. The stone stood alone with no monkeys daring to ask him. He looked up at the massive waterfall ahead, and as the wind blew the mist hit his face, making it hard to breathe. As night fell the forest became quiet under the blue moonlight, only the waterfall continued to roar, shattering the moonlight in the pool into silver flakes. A small figure approached the edge of the pool. He gazed at the waterfall for a long time, suddenly jumping out. Thud, he landed far from the curtain of water, nearly drowning before he climbed up. He looked for a long time before jumping out again. Thud. The result was the same this time. He floundered even longer before he climbed up. He knelt by the pool, resting his hands on the stone, watching the water drip down from his head, wetting the stone surface. I can't do it. There are many things in this world that are inherently impossible to achieve. Who? The monkey looked around and then up. Is it you, Moon? Hee hee, silly monkey. The squirrel jumped down from the tree, coming to the large stone pool under the moonlight, putting her big tail against her face. Do I look like the moon? A bit, but you don't shine. Why did you jump into the pool? Are you learning to swim? I want to jump into that waterfall. Ha ha, how strange you are. Is there anything to eat in the waterfall? No. Maybe there is. Maybe. Is that why you keep nearly drowning yourself? No, not for food, it's... I don't know, I just want to know if I can do it. What if you succeed? If I do, I'll be happy. How strange that you can be happy about something that isn't for eating. Hee hee, yes, the monkey laughed. I don't know why either. But the squirrel lowered her eyelids, saying with some sadness, there are so many things in this world that cannot be achieved. Wouldn't that mean you can never be happy? I often think in this world there is the sun, the moon, distant mountains, clouds, and so many things we can see but cannot touch. Can they be touched? If they cannot be touched, how can I know if they truly exist? Ha! The squirrel tilted her head to look at the moon. What are you saying? I can't understand. The monkey stood up looking at the sky. Since they are there, can they be touched? Is it truly unreachable forever? If a place is forever unreachable, does that place still exist? We come to this world only to know that there are things we can never touch, things we can never achieve, and thinking of this makes me sad. It's possible you can touch them. The squirrel lazily lifted her little paw. Look, isn't the moon holding my hand right now? The monkey turned around and saw the blue moonlight on the squirrel's paw as if it flowed in her small palm. He was stunned. May I eat you? One day a tiger came over gently, timidly asking, is this your first time hunting? The squirrel tilted her head and asked. The other monkeys had already scurried up the tree. The tiger nodded, blushing. What did you eat before? What? Drinking milk. Many monkeys laughed and fell from the tree, unable to climb back up. I don't want to be a man-eating tiger, but my mother is gone. I must survive. But if you eat us, we will die too. I really wish I could eat fruits like you. Sometimes you have no choice, a voice said. The squirrel turned in surprise, saying, Stone. I often fantasize about a place where there is no danger, where one can live happily without doing what they don't want to do. But it seems no one can achieve that. You can. The tiger Ming thought for a moment and said, you can choose not to do what you don't want to do. I think that's possible. He glanced at the animals present and turned to leave. How can he do that? Everyone said. In the days that followed, some saw Ming the tiger quietly lying on the grass watching butterflies, and sometimes a little bird would perch on him. Once he even helped a duck who couldn't swim across the river. Isn't he living happily? Everyone said. In the autumn days, Ming the tiger quietly died while watching the butterflies dance. The little bird still perched on him. He no longer mischievously teased it with his tail. Why must such happy days end in death? Everyone wondered. The stone grew increasingly silent. Suddenly one day he began to play wildly, his voice echoing throughout the forest. Everyone wondered. The stone grew increasingly silent. Suddenly, where are you going? The stone asked from the darkness. The old monkey looked at this lone monkey, surprised. I'm going to where I should go. You know where you should go. But I never do. Every creature will go to that place. It is very quiet, suitable for an old fellow like me. While you are different, you are so young, you should be dancing and shouting under the moonlight, leaving your voice in the world. But sound eventually fades away, said the stone. No, it doesn't stop. Listen. On a massive stone platform not far away, the monkey's joyful cries merged into one. Moved by this sound, various voices in the forest echoed back. The great forest trembled, unsure whether the wind raised this roar or whether the sound stirred the wind. How I wish to merge into the sound, but I can no longer shout. I can't let my low tone disrupt this harmony. In the past I was so powerful. You must have sprung from stone. You always worry because for tens of thousands of years you have been silent, still fearing the swift leaps in the forest, the millions of things rushing at you, yet you know that the time you can freely grasp your own time is fleeting. You can feel your freedom to think for only a short time, and for that brief moment you must strive to seize everything you encounter. Know that what appears in your life comes from the long passage of time. Cherish them, child. Can I hold on to them tightly and never lose them? In the sea beyond the mountains there are legends of immortal dragons, but most of them are lonely, sunk at the bottom of the sea. Even if you can retain yourself, you cannot hold on to the things around you. Watching everything around you change while you remain that unbearable weight is time. No one can bear that kind of weight. I will become very strong enough to bear everything. Is there really such a tenacious life? Even if he can bear everything, in the end he will be overwhelmed by the weight of his own burden. For how can he be stronger than himself? He am confused. I can't discern these truths. Maybe it is possible. Here, try this. The old monkey handed over a coconut shell. What is this? This is getting it is what remains after the fruit has disappeared from its form. It can make you forget yourself, thus merging you into this world. Once you drink it you will feel that you are the forest, the moon, the river. The stone gulped it down, and after a while he stood up laughing joyfully. Who are you? Asked the old monkey. I am the sky, I am everything. I am the greatest. The stone's face turned red as he belched and began dancing wildly, suddenly stretching out his arms and howling. The monkeys on the stone responded, and he leaped up 3 times to join the frenzy among the monkeys. Look, haven't you already obtained everything? The old monkey gazed at the shadow on the stone platform and after a long time turned silently to walk deeper into the mountains. As autumn deepened, the migratory birds prepared to depart. Little silly, don't go, I will be sad, the squirrel said. I will come back next year. Little silly said. But you stayed too short a time, you haven't found more friends. Why must we part for so long? I don't know either. Why does the sun sometimes move away and sometimes come close? We have to chase the sun and cannot stray too far, which means our lives will be spent in wandering. The days when we can truly settle down and live are few. However, I will always think of that moment of gathering while on the road. I will strive to fly for that moment. You say that every year many birds cannot reach their destination. That won't be me, I'm still young, but my parents. I will follow them. When they can no longer fly, they will fall into the sea. I know that one day no migratory bird dies in a nest, we will soar over the ocean until we finally plunge into it just like that. A bun, why did you suddenly understand so much? Since the day I knew I would grow up. A bun grasped the squirrel's hand, we will all grow up, then we will be even more beautiful. Although in that long journey we will age, we will not regret chasing that moment for the most brilliant years of our lives. Really? The squirrel scratched her head. She seemed not to understand, but she felt both sad and hopeful. I must go now, finally, that day, the stone monkey said. The squirrel's big eyes gazed at him silent. She found it strange that she seemed to have known this day would come. I don't understand why one should feel sorrow for loss, why worry about the fleeting nature of time. I want to find that power to let all life transcend its limits, to let all flowers bloom simultaneously on the earth. Let those who wish to fly soar freely, and let everyone be with their loved ones forever. But the ones I care for are all leaving me, said the squirrel. The stone monkey had already boarded the raft. The squirrel watched him turn into a small dot on the sea from the high mountain where she first met him. Is this what growing up is? Why must one go so urgently? The squirrel hugged her tail and cried. That day the squirrel woke up. The world suddenly became quiet without the flapping of migratory birds or the noise of the monkeys. She looked up and the sea had turned golden. Many leaves floated down, falling toward the distant earth. At that moment she heard a voice softly saying goodbye. Who are you? Where are you? I am a leaf, do you see me? I am here. The squirrel turned around, looking all around as countless leaves floated past her. Where are you? I am here. I am here, countless voices said. I am here, remember me, I once was here. The squirrel suddenly jumped up quickly, chasing down through the branches. A leaf, she shouted. Thank you, she heard the delicate voice again. I know I am here next year, call my name again when you are on the branch. Goodbye. The squirrel finally could not catch them. She jumped to the branch, waving her hand down. Goodbye. Goodbye.